After 100,000 years of imprisonment in hell, this young man's power had long reached the realm of divinity. Although he held the whole world in his hands, he still harbored a single unique ambition. That ambition was to return to Earth, a desire so intense that he was willing to sacrifice all his divine power. His real name was Kang Wu, who had accidentally strayed into hell on a fateful day. The only thing he carried with him was a tenacious will to survive, and it was this very will that helped the solitary young man fight from the first 1,000th floor of hell to the 9,000th. Over the years, hundreds of thousands of demons were devoured by Kang Wu. Even the 7 great archdukes had to bow in submission. Yet now, possessing everything, including eternity, Kang Wu decided to cast it all aside to return to his homeland. What is the reason? Because in hell, the food is terrible and the women look like nightmares. Ignoring the pleas of the crowd, Kang Wu resolutely stepped forward to claim the reward he deserved. Kang Wu's eyes exuded an undeniable command. "Balak, prepare that thing." Balak asked again with hesitation, "Prepare that thing, my king?" Kang Wu closed his eyes slightly, then suddenly opened them wide, staring coldly at him. Behind him appeared the image of a monster. "Do you want me to repeat myself?" Balak was terrified out of his wits and hurriedly bowed his head repeatedly.
"I apologize. I will prepare it immediately." It then turned to order the remaining demons. "All of you, hurry and summon Amon. Prepare the instruments for the 7 great wonders." Their voices rang out in unison. "Understood." At a distant location, a monster with an incredibly terrifying appearance was whispering incantations. Surrounding it were statues holding strange objects. Suddenly, a bright light glowed from a statue shaped like an octopus tentacle. He bowed to perform the ritual and reported, "Demon King, the preparation process is complete." Cao replied indifferently. Tears blurred, eyes reluctant to look away. It was not just her. Balit was also teary-eyed, calling out sorrowfully, "Demon King." Cao removed his majestic armor, revealing a muscular and alluring physique. He briskly walked up the highest steps, where Amon was waiting, and spoke in a gentle tone. "Demon King, if we transfer a large amount of magic power into the instruments of the 7 great wonders, then bend the boundaries of time and space, we will be able to forcibly open a space-time rift." This old monster was none other than the dark wizard Amon. Cao nodded in satisfaction and ordered, "Very well, begin." He secretly rejoiced in delight. "Finally, I can go home."
His entire body was enveloped in a stream of mystical purple water. This phenomenon is called the 10,000 Demon Core. The moment this water sphere shatters is also when the power is unleashed. Surging streams of water rose into the air, submerging Kango's entire body in the mystical purple light. Even though he had retreated far away, Amon still could not resist that heaven-defying, terrifying pressure. The old man had to struggle to support himself and secretly marveled. "Ah, it really is the 10,000 Demon Core. The magic power is truly overwhelming. Just looking at it is enchanting." Amidst the raging energy pouring out, the 4 surrounding statues stood tall, completely unmoved. Suddenly, the eyes of the 4 giant statues glowed, emitting a blinding light that encompassed the entire space. Amon cried out in astonishment, "My Demon King, all 7 fragments of the artifact have reacted. The door will open soon." Meanwhile, his mind was vaguely invaded by another worry. If I return, what if my family, my friends, and even my lover are not there? Kango tried to calm himself down, but at least that place is not like this damn place, so that's good enough. Suddenly, a crack appeared in midair. Kango hurriedly threw on his cloth robe and waved goodbye. "I'm going." Lilith called out after him in anguish, "My Demon King!" Realizing she might lose control and chase after him, Balak decided to reach out and stop her. Kango was startled as he slightly opened his eyes. Lilith's tear-stained face was right behind him. "My lord, really, are you really abandoning your servant like this?" He lowered his head, calmly turning away to offer words of comfort. "Don't cry." Yet his inner mind was in turmoil. So scary. She didn't stop talking. "The words you speak to your servant are so gentle. Little Lilith feels like her heart is about to explode. The king's love." Suddenly, white bubbles swelled up on the hem of her dress, then instantly burst, splashing water everywhere. Her affected voice still echoed. Congo's distress clearly visible. "Ah, little Lilith wants to go with the king." Fear compelled him to jump straight into the crack without thinking. "Damn it!" From behind, Lilith's voice still tried to hold him back. "My Demon King, no matter what happens, Lilith will follow you." The fissure gradually closed, and the corners of Kang Wu's mouth curled up slightly. He flashed a deeply satisfied smile, raised his middle finger and swore in his mind, "I don't ever want to see you again. I have been in hell for over 10,000 years. I don't want to change the past or go to any specific future. I just want to see the Earth that I used to know." Kang Wu had set foot somewhere. "Now I will truly return to Earth. Finally."
His joyful expression suddenly froze as he felt the presence of abnormal electric currents. What is this? A system panel appeared with a notification. Rift core detected. The Gaia system's rift protection mechanism has been activated. Around him, red lightning bolts densely covered the area. Kang Wu remained standing there, bewildered and confused. What is happening? What kind of situation is this? A series of notifications appeared one after another in midair. Warning, core energy exceeds the limit, activating all-dimensional defense mechanism. He whispered in total confusion. What the hell is this? The system panel continued to announce. Gaia system is overloading. Electromagnetic waves are beginning to form. They rushed straight into Kang Wu, causing him to scream in pain. The system kept displaying strange notifications. Failure, failure.
Unable to completely eliminate the nucleus of the fissure, blue veins bulged on his face from the agony. The ceiling limit had begun. Kang Wu struggled to reach out, but moments later, unable to resist any longer, he fainted. Don't try so hard. Damn it, screw this. He frowned as he woke up, realizing the surrounding scenery had completely changed. Sunlight, a forest filled with greenery. Is this Earth? Filled with doubt, Kang Wu told himself, first, I need to check my body's condition. A new notification suddenly appeared. Initializing status window. Confused, he sat up, rubbing his throbbing temples. O Kang Wu, Level 1, First Stage Awakening. Attribute of First Stage Awakener. Power of Predation. Rank. Most of the attribute's power has been sealed. Attribute of Second Stage Awakener. Revealed at Level 10. Innate Class. Strength 8. Constitution 7. Intelligence 8. Agility 9. Innate Magic Power Stat 12. Wisdom 7. A sense of panic overwhelmed him. What is this? What? My powers are sealed? Suddenly, a shrill scream rang out, startling Kang Wu into looking back. Before him were goblins with grotesque forms. These damn things. They were rushing straight at him, while his mind was flooded with chaotic thoughts. The Earth I know doesn't have creatures like this. Without hesitation, Kang Wu intended to channel his power to fight back. Let's just kill them all first. But before he could make a move, his magic power completely dissipated. The magic power in the 10,000 demon core? It's so damn weak. The goblins lunged at Kang Wu, grinning gleefully. He was forced to use another method. Well then, Kang Wu clenched his fist, his inner thoughts boiling. I have to use this. He unleashed a technique with incredible speed, slicing the bodies of the goblins in half wherever he passed. Immediately after, Kang Wu executed another move, Demonic Authority, shattering sword art. His eyes gleamed with determination mixed with a hint of rage. A purple goblin charged forward.
However, right at that moment, the system immediately displayed a notification. You have successfully defeated an E-rank monster, Goblin. Kang Wu's movements were as fast as lightning, and the notification appeared once again. Experience increased. At this moment, Kang Wu looked incredibly mighty. In just an instant, he had wiped out the pack of goblins. Another notification appeared, leveled up to 4. After the battle ended, he felt curious and confused. What on earth are these things? He looked back at them with a bored expression. And this experience stuff too. Sounds ridiculous, but it is true that I have become stronger. The goblins lay scattered on the ground, but Kang Wu just passed by without saying another word. He raised his hand while his mind was still cluttered with thoughts. He had to find out more about this place. Kang Wu absorbed all the demonic energy from inside the killed goblins. This is the power of predation, a unique power of the Demon King. Many doubts still remained in his head. I tried to verify the physiological characteristics of these things, but I couldn't find any information about this world at all. The system displayed a new notification line, increased 1 point of demonic energy. Just after reading the notification, Kang Wu was terrified and thought to himself, what? Demonic energy? He let out an angry curse. Damn it.
Does the power found only in hell exist here? Then perhaps this place isn't Earth. Kang Wu scratched his head in panic. No, it can't be. The reason I held on for all those years down in that hell was precisely to find a chance to return to Earth. Suddenly, a piercing scream rang out. Kang Wu flinched, trying to compose himself, feeling suspicious. A scream. He turned towards the sound, telling himself, that is not the scream of a monster. The scream rang out once again. Kang Wu hurriedly turned back. It's a human. It's a human being. He immediately activated a skill to rush towards the source of the sound. Authority of Velox, super speed. Kang Wu was both jubilant and sincerely praying. 10,000 years. For the past 10,000 years, day in and day out, I only saw monsters with dozens of tentacles or thousands of hideous hands.
So it doesn't matter what that person is like, even if they are scary, it's fine. As long as they have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. As long as they are human, please let there be no tentacles. The memory of Lilith's appearance caused the terror within him to surge even more. Let it not be tentacles, please don't. Upon arriving, he witnessed a girl being besieged by a pack of goblins. Kang Wu was both overjoyed and anxiously restless. Found one, please, he silently prayed in his heart. Be a human for me. Look, that girl is so terrified she's sobbing. He silently counted every detail on her body. 2 eyes, down to the lower part of the face, a nose, and finally a complete body. Kang Wu silently cheered in his heart. No, no tentacles.
The joy nearly made him burst into tears as he hurriedly rushed towards the girl. A goblin was poised to attack her. The girl cowered in a corner in fear, tears streaming down, seemingly having accepted her fate. However, nothing terrible happened to her. The girl didn't understand what was happening. She slowly opened her eyes to look up and was amazed to see the pack of goblins had been wiped out by Kang Wu. He did not hesitate to run straight to the girl. Kang Wu reached out his hand towards her. The pretty girl with big round eyes looked up at him, then slowly reached out her hand as well. "Thank you," she gently responded to Kang Wu's hand. He looked like a soul lost in a daze, entranced by the happiness screaming inside him. Kang Wu's whole body trembled, causing the girl to involuntarily blush.
She happily introduced herself. "Thank you for saving me. My name is Han Sea." Kang Wu couldn't stop trembling, making her feel a bit concerned. "Are you okay?" He suddenly grabbed her hand, startling her. Then he expressed his excitement and earnestly proposed, "Marry me." Kang Wu's eyes were filled with hope as he made the offer to her. "Let's get married." She was stunned, unable to understand what was happening. What?" Sea asked back with a stuttering voice. "You just said—" Only then did Kang Wu snap out of it, realizing he was too excited. He quickly let go of her hand and introduced himself. "I apologize. My name is Kang Wu. You said you were Han Sea, right?" Kang Wu asked Han anxiously, "Is your wound okay?" Sea replied with a gentle tone, Yes, the wound isn't big," but in reality, her leg was bleeding profusely. Kang Wu shouted in panic, "Miss Sea!" She lost her balance and fell into Kang Wu's arms, surprising him a bit. "Are you okay?" A phone fell from Sea's person. Kang Wu saw it and couldn't help but be curious. "That square object?" He thought to himself in joy. "Is that a phone? I really am on Earth." After that, Kang Wu helped her sit down and considerately instructed, "Don't overexert yourself. Sit and rest a bit. I'll give you first aid." Sea replied with gratitude. "Thank you very much." Kang Wu cheerfully said, "You're welcome." He thought to himself, "Only now do I realize that she and I can communicate with each other." As Kang Wu bandaged Sea's wound, he recalled the past. "I banned demon language in hell and made them use Korean.
So that when I return, I won't forget the language. The demons speak with a lisp, which sounds very funny. How was the weather in hell today?" Hearing this, Kang Wu grumpily scolded them. "Pronounce it properly." Now that he has met Soa, his joy has multiplied. Finally, I can use Korean with a human and not just with demons. After finishing treating the wound, Kang Wu advised Soa, "If you keep it like this, it will get much better." She was extremely grateful to Kang Wu. "Thank you for taking care of me." He cheerfully replied and handed her the phone. "Don't worry about it, and here is your phone." As he handed back the phone, Kang Wu managed to glance mildly at the time, 2023. Soa reached out to take it. Thank you." King Wu fell into deep thought. Had 5 years passed since he fell into hell? Countless questions popped up in his mind. He was sure he had adjusted the time correctly. Did monsters like these start appearing on Earth during those years? King Wu added to Sea, "It's difficult to move right now, so rest a bit before we go." She obeyed and replied, Yes." Meanwhile, Kang Wu was still immersed in his thoughts. He didn't know too many things. He didn't have enough information. Kang Wu asked with curiosity, "Also, why are you here?" She shyly recounted the event. "I ran into some difficult situations. I was hunting alone in a gate. I just awakened as a player yesterday, and I went hunting alone in an E-rank gate. I was really stupid." Kang Wu had countless doubts in his heart. Party, hunting, players. He raised his voice to ask curiously, "So what is your level?" Sea quickly replied, "I'm level 6 since I just awakened. But what is a player like you doing here, Mr. Kang Wu?" Hearing this, Kang Wu thought to himself that his level was probably even lower. He just gave a wry smile. "I also ran into some situations." Kang Wu looked at her with a gentle gaze and thought, well, it's normal for her to think that way. Sea suddenly seemed to remember something. She immediately said, "I understand." Sea's face suddenly blushed. She stood up immediately and asked Kang Wu, "Shall we go then?" Even so, he couldn't hide his worry. "Your injuries look serious. Will you be okay?" Sea tried to lie. "Yes, I'm finely." She suddenly screamed in surprise because Kang Wu had grabbed her hand, making her feel shy. "I will support you."
Sea blushed and hurriedly refused. No, I shouldn't cause you any more trouble." Kang Wu remained determined to help her. "Refusing at a time like this isn't good. I'll take you. Which way do we need to go?" Sea had to comply with his wish. "Then let's go that way. Please just help me get to the exit." Kang Wu replied cheerfully, "Yes, I understand." He calculated inwardly. "This is my first conversation with a human in 10,000 years. The two supported each other leaving that place, a genuine joy rising in Kang Wu's heart. Except for overreacting a bit at the start, I haven't made any mistakes, and it seems she doesn't suspect my identity either. All right, just like this, I will integrate into Earth society. When they arrived, Sewa pointed out to Kang Wu, "We've reached the exit, Mr. Kang Wu." A magic circle appeared right at a giant ancient tree. Kang Wu couldn't help but feel astonished. "Is this a gate?" He began to analyze. Traveling through these spatial rifts must mean this isn't entirely Earth. Kangwoo looked around to grasp the situation. I don't see any rift-generating tools, so how does such a large gate sustain itself? As soon as they arrived, Seiwa pushed his hand away and said, Mr. Kangwoo, I think I'm much better now. Kangwoo was slightly confused. Ah, yes. Then she urged, let's get out of here. The two of them entered the gate together. A surge of intense power radiated out, causing Kangwoo to cover his face with his hand. Perhaps he had not yet adapted to this place. After stepping out of the gate, Kangwoo slowly opened his eyes. He seemed stunned by the scene before him. A man was shouting loudly, "We are recruiting members for the goblin hunting team in the E-rank gate." However, what caught Kangwoo's attention was that the man had two eyes. In another corner, two people were exchanging words. Ah, I don't see any tankers today either. Kangwoo began counting again, just like when he first met Soa. One nose. Kangwoo continued observing. One mouth. On the opposite side, someone was intending to join the goblin hunting team. Do you accept criminals? And Kangwoo only cared about one thing, no tentacles. The soldier standing nearby hurriedly rejected the guy. I'm sorry, but criminals are a bit...
Kangwoo gazed at everything around him, seeing only humans. His whole body trembled with emotion. This made Seiya curious. Kangwoo was so happy he burst into tears. He thought to himself, I'm back. Seiya noticed that Kangwoo's cloak was torn in many places. She looked down at the piece of cloth he had torn off to stanch her bleeding. Seiya spoke softly. Mr. Kangwoo. He turned around and replied, Yes? Seiya shyly suggested, If you were okay with it. She bashfully stroked her hair and extended an invitation. Would you like to eat with me at my house? Hearing this offer, Kangwoo's face turned bright red. Seiya continued shyly, I am very grateful and sorry, so I want to at least repay you with a meal. The silly Kangwoo heard this, and his mind immediately soared. Spring, it's spring! He laughed foolishly. Look, I said refusing wouldn't be right, so I guess I can't. Just then, someone called out to them. You two over there, wait. Two soldiers approached and made a request. Hello, we need to verify your player IDs. Kangwoo dazedly asked himself, ID? Seiya happily presented hers. Please wait a moment. Seeing Kangwoo hesitate, a soldier urged him. You there, take out your player ID. Kangwoo cursed inwardly. Damn it. He pretended to look for his card. Yes, I understand, but Kangwoo was secretly calculating. It's no good. I have no choice but to use that. His eyes glowed green. Kangwoo held out his empty hand and said, Here it is. He was using the power of perception distortion, a skill that could manipulate the opponent's vision according to his will.
Authority of Jang Thalion, vision. Kangwoo raised his middle finger, but the soldier's vision was obscured. He replied, Yes, confirmation complete. Kangwoo secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Success. He turned and smiled at Soa. Miss Soa, shall we go? Behind them, the two soldiers, unaware they had been deceived, were scolding each other. Hey, wake up, the shift is almost over. Soa responded to Kangwoo, Yes. When they arrived in front of a building, Soa introduced it. This is my home. She looked a bit embarrassed. Our apartment doesn't have an elevator, so we have to climb the stairs a bit. But Kangwoo didn't mind at all. Blushing slightly, he replied, It's fine. An incredibly pleasant feeling spread through Kangwoo's heart. The smell of the old building, the narrow staircase, things that absolutely did not exist in hell. Even the cold railing, every little detail made Kangwoo feel relaxed. The dusty windows, everything felt real. And what he liked the most was especially because out of countless places on Earth.
This is Seiwa's house again. I'm sure a happy future will open up from now on. He smiled to himself, convinced that from now on he would have a beautiful future. However, as soon as Seiwa stepped into the house, she called out, Mom! A voice answered from inside. Are you back? Kangwoo's smile suddenly extinguished. A feeling of panic rushed in. Seiwa's mother solicitously asked her, Oh, my dear daughter, are you hurt anywhere? Did you go there with a large group like I told you? Seiwa smiled, but had to lie. Of course I did. Kangwoo completely woke up from his dream at this moment. Her mother is here. Does she really just want to eat a simple meal? After the reunion of mother and daughter, Seiwa introduced. I forgot. This gentleman is Kangwoo. Since he saved me from danger today, I invited him over for a meal. Kangwoo bowed politely. Hello. Seiwa's mother couldn't hide her surprise. Oh my. She hurriedly held Kangwoo's hand. Thank you. Her mother was teary-eyed. Thank you for saving my Seiwa. I really don't know how to repay you. Kangwoo replied somewhat shyly. It was nothing. Then she invited him into the house. Please come in. It's not the best, but I will try to make something as delicious as possible. Kangwoo happily replied, Thank you. But deep down, he also felt a bit of regret. Well, not being able to eat alone with her is indeed a pity. However, he felt he was very lucky. Thinking about his life back in hell, this was already very precious. Seiwa's mother happily said to her, Seiwa, my darling, help me cook. Seiwa hurriedly took off her shoes and replied, Yes, Mom. Seiwa intended to go change clothes and check her phone.
Let me go change my clothes first, then I'll help you, Mom. Mom, did you text me? Her mother replied, Yes, I did. Seiya, next time you go somewhere dangerous, you must at least contact me after you get out. Seiya coaxed her. I'm sorry, Mom. Hearing this, Kangwoo suddenly remembered something. Right, a phone. I need to find a way to gather information about Earth. He spoke up. Excuse me, Miss Seiya? Sorry.
But I wonder if I could borrow your phone. I lost mine. So I nodded happily. Sure, of course. She handed him her phone. Feel free to use it. And wait a bit. Food will be ready soon. He took it. Thank you. Kangwoo showed great interest in the smartphone. The feeling of placing his finger on this screen, returning after 10,000 years, everything is truly wonderful. He sat down at the table. He draped his cloak over the chair and started on the most important task. But this isn't the time to focus on that. I need to gather information first. Kangwoo's hand glided over the keyboard while his mind was still thinking. Since I was dragged into hell 5 years ago, I should try looking for news from 2018. Let's see. News lines began to appear. The day of disaster, February 22nd, 2018. It changed the whole world. Monsters suddenly appeared from hundreds of gates. Firepower was ineffective. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese soldiers were killed. The World Emergency Disaster Resolution Alliance was formed. Korea was the 9th nation to join. The first player appeared in the US. Who is she?
The number of players continues to rise sharply worldwide. Are they truly the hope of humanity? Kangwoo read through once, then suddenly stopped at an article. A mysterious gate appeared in the middle of Seoul on the very day the disaster occurred. Reporter Kim, he was curious about February 22nd, 2018. He recalled that day, the day he was dragged down to hell. Kangwoo began to piece together the events. Could it be that I was dragged into one of the gates that suddenly appeared that day? He clicked his tongue, thinking to himself, these news reports are just full of conjectures. I'll have to find more information later. Immediately after, Seiya's mother's voice rang out. Dinner is ready. Kangwoo put his phone down on the table and said, Thank you very much. The meal at Seiya's house astonished him. It was a pot of steaming kimchi stew being served. Seiya's mother said, Enjoy your meal, Mr. Kangwoo. I hope the food suits your taste. At that moment, he was still dazed. Kimchi stew. Kangwoo, stunned, lifted a spoon. It is kimchi stew. He scooped a spoonful of kimchi soup while Seiya's mother spoke up. Darling, let's eat. She replied to her mother, Yes, Mom. Kangwoo held the spoon ready to taste, his mouth muttering incessantly. Kim? His words made Seiya pay attention. Kimchi stew. Kangwoo's hands trembled as he brought the spoon to his mouth. He ate under the gaze of Seiya and her mother. Kangwoo swallowed the first bite, then without hesitation scooped a second spoonful immediately. He just kept chewing without showing any expression, then scooped another spoonful of rice. He ate voraciously like a starving tiger, causing the two people opposite him to be stunned. Kangwoo recalled, 5 years ago, or to be precise, thousands of years ago, after he was suddenly swept into hell. To survive, I had to devour demonic energy and transform into a creature that looked like a demon. However, because I still retained my humanity, my appetite and taste buds could not be satisfied in hell. The demons I was forced to eat to survive tasted terrible, like trash. I thought I would go crazy, even though I had experienced that sensation countless times during my time in hell. The reason I was able to keep my sanity was a single wish. I wanted to return to Earth. 2 streams of tears rolled down Kangwoo's cheeks in boundless happiness. It's real. I have truly returned. Kangwoo exclaimed in his mind. Earth. Soa asked worryingly, Kangwoo? He sobbed, speechless. Miss Soa, I am truly very, he choked up. Grateful. The food is delicious. Thank you so much. Soa spoke in a gentle voice. I am the one who should be saying thank you. She looked embarrassed. I am truly sorry that I can only repay you this way, yet you like it so much. Soa asked happily, Is it that delicious? Kangwoo replied through his tears. Excuse me, can I have another bowl? Soa immediately stood up to get him more rice. Of course, certainly. Let me bring it out right away. Kangwoo was extremely grateful. Thank you. Soa's mother also rejoiced. It's great to see that you like it so much. As Kangwoo sipped the soup, he thought to himself, Truly, I am truly very happy to have made it back.
Seiya brought out the rice pot with a bright smile, but suddenly the wall was smashed open. Both Seiya and her mother were terrified, while only Kangwoo continued enjoying his meal. A man had just broken through the wall, shouting curses loudly. What the hell? Damn it! Seiya and her mother rushed out to see. The guy wouldn't stop complaining. The door is damn hard. Stepping on a piece of broken brick, the blonde-haired young man looked incredibly arrogant. He yelled, Hey, Han Seiya, get out here right now! The threatening footsteps of Han Tae-hoon echoed. As soon as he walked in, he acted extremely aggressively. Hey, who allowed you to enter the gate on your own? Seiya frowned in annoyance, her voice trembling. Get out! With a look of disbelief, Han Tae-hoon asked back. What? Seiya questioned him. I said get out, Han Tae-hoon. Who do you think you are to barge into our house? Don't come near me.
I'm warning you, I'm capable enough now. Han Tae-hoon burst into laughter, unable to contain his mockery. Is that so? I'm capable enough now. Oh my, you're adorably to die for. But he immediately threw a powerful punch into the wall to intimidate her. Damn it, a lowly player like you dares to talk big? Who do you think you are? Soa shielded her mother, responding warily, "Don't come near me." Han Tae-hoon glared at her, while her mother trembled in fear. He uttered harsh words. "Your dad died early, and your mom is destitute." Struck by the painful truth, Soa cursed frantically. "You bastard! The reason we became like this is because of you." Han Tae-hoon didn't bother arguing. He yanked her forcefully. "Forget it. You have to come with me to the Andress Guild right now." Soa immediately resisted. "Let go. I will never join that trash guild." He asked incredulously, "Trash? How rude. I'll show you what good people are like." She gritted her teeth, taking advantage of Han Tae-hoon's distraction to bite his hand hard, making him scream in pain. Furious, he flung Soa away. Her mother panicked and called out her daughter's name. "Soa!" Han Tae-hoon raged. "You damn brat." He gritted his teeth and asked, "Hey, Han Soa, do you think doing those useless good deeds is enough to survive?"
The world really treats you too gently. He didn't forget to utter a threat. "If you're smart, obediently become my tribute." What? Think you're all grown up now? Han Tae-hoon glared at the mother and daughter, exuding an overwhelming aura and a ruthless tone. "Fine, as a player, let's face each other honestly for a bit." Seeing the situation getting increasingly tense, her mother hurriedly begged, "Tae-hoon, please, I'll try harder. Please don't do this to Seiya." He coldly replied, "Old hag, get out of the way." She hurriedly grabbed his hand and pleaded, "Tae-hoon, I beg you." Unmoved, he kicked her mother away, grumbling and cursing. "Damn it, what a piece of trash." She screamed in panic. "Mom!" Seiya crawled to her mother's side, shaking her and calling out in despair. "Mom!" Han Tae-hoon remained indifferent, saying, "That's why I told you to move, but you wouldn't listen." Hearing the miserable crying, he became even more aggressive and scolding. What a bunch of annoying people. She glared at him, grinding her teeth. "Han Tae-hoon!" He sneered sarcastically. "Ha! What are you gonna do to me? What are you glaring at, you bitch?" He didn't stop criticizing. "You really are a nuisance. I'm already a rank 2 awakener." He mocked Seiya. "Do you think you stand a chance?" He showed contempt. "The only thing you have is this face, you idiot." He continued to pressure her. "You have to join the Alzat Guild so the guild master will—" A sudden noise rang out, forcing Han Tae-hoon into silence.
He glanced around and caught sight of Kang-woo nonchalantly slurping his soup. He immediately cursed. Damn it. After standing there for a while, seeing that he wouldn't stop eating and was paying absolutely no mind to his surroundings, he let go of her and mocked. "What a surprise. This isn't even some famous restaurant." Han Tae-hoon shifted his target towards Kang-woo, speaking with a disdainful tone. "Hey you, don't you know how to read the room?" Soa called out worriedly. "Kang-woo!" He kept calling out to him. "Hey, hey!" Realizing Kang-woo was ignoring him and solely focused on eating, he laughed cruelly. "Oh my god!" As soon as he finished speaking, Han Tae-hoon spun around and suddenly unleashed a thunderous kick, sending the entire table flying, his mouth continuing to curse. "You son of a bitch!" He stared in shock at the spilled food. She watched the scene in terror. He ground his teeth, while Kang-woo, still reeling from the shock, had his eyes glued to the food scattered on the floor. Soa was incredibly worried. "Kang-woo!" Kang-woo, with tears welling up in his eyes, let out a horrified scream, then fell to his knees in agony beside the shattered soup bowl. Han Tae-hoon was full of suspicion. "What is wrong with this bastard?" and asked her, "Where did you find this beggar?" Seeing him still wailing miserably, he revealed a look of utter contempt. "Beggar." He used his foot to kick him and said, "Stop mumbling. Get up already." Kang-woo mumbled to himself, "My kimchi stew." He angrily exuded a sky-high murderous aura, glaring at Han Tae-hoon. "You." Kang-woo kept repeating one word, "You." His mind was filled with confusion. "Huh? What is it?" His voice turned dark. "You dare. You spilled my kimchi stew." Han Tae-hoon's inner thoughts began to panic. "Demon. Demon." Kang-woo collapsed, slumping to the floor. His whole body trembled, his mouth ceaselessly muttering complaints. "My kimchi stew." Opposite him, Tae-hoon witnessed this scene and couldn't help but feel annoyed. He bit his lip tightly. Then, a punch from Tae-hoon was thrown without hesitation, but he suddenly froze, even though his two fists were blazing fiercely with fire. His body stiffened, his eyes glued to the figure kneeling there. An uneasy feeling rose in Tae-hoon's heart. Impossible. I must be seeing things. He frowned in annoyance, then raised his fist again and smiled scornfully. "Have you gone crazy?" But suddenly, a beam of light shot out from somewhere, stopping his punch just in time. This made Tae-hoon furious. He cast a fiery glare toward the source of the attack, roaring curses. "What the hell is this?" Seiya appeared, holding a magic staff.
She shouted loudly in worry, "Kang Wu, run away!" But it was too late. A sharp blade emerged from his hand, fixed tightly to the back of his hand. So I could only widen her tear-filled eyes, shocked by the scene about to unfold. Kang Wu rushed forward at the speed of light, instantly closing in right in front of Tae-hoon. Both siblings stood frozen like statues at this terrifying speed. "Kang Wu!" Amidst Soa's horrified scream, he slammed straight into him with a terrible speed that made Tae-hoon grimace in pain, his eyes bloodshot. His mouth couldn't help but let out a curse. This bastard. Yet in his heart, he still tried to reassure himself. Not that fast. Kang Wu continued to attack like a madman. He raised his fist attached with the sharp blade high, while the other tried to observe and analyze Kang Wu's every move in his head. On the left, however, life did not go as he planned. Instead of attacking the left, he launched a knee strike right into the chest. Tae-hoon asked himself, a feint? He was in agonizing pain, eyes wide open, saliva spraying out. Tae-hoon gritted his teeth, growling every word in anger. "You damn bastard." He cursed while using all his might to throw fiery punches. Kang Wu leaned to dodge skillfully. His hand did not delay either, immediately retaliating with a blow to his face. Not only that, Kang Wu also delivered a leg hook from behind, causing Tae-hoon's spine to stretch, leaving him only able to scream in pain. Every effort to resist became meaningless. On a face distorted by pain, blood from his nose and mouth mixed together, Tae-hoon could only let out miserable groans. He tried to grit his teeth to endure, his hands tightly gripping the leg hooking him. His mind was filled with panic. He can't be this strong.
Tae-hoon used his strength to try and take him down, but failed once again. Kang Wu used the momentum from that grapple to kick up his other leg, delivering a powerful kick to him. The heavy blow made his jaw feel like it was about to dislocate. Afterward, he landed spectacularly in a cool pose. Tae-hoon's head was twisted to one side, his face swollen. Blood splattered everywhere, but he remained stubborn. Seeing Kang Wu rushing in, he cursed, "You bastard." Then, unwilling to admit defeat, he launched a counterattack. A stream of blue aura erupted violently from his fist. However, Kang Wu gently leaned back to dodge the attack, his feet nimbly shifting into a ready stance. Tae-hoon grimaced in pain, gasping for breath before Kang Wu's uppercut. He could only silently lament, "Ah, again?" This time Tae-hoon was truly defeated. He propped himself up on the ground, the two flames completely extinguished. His spirit was utterly crushed, constantly asking himself, was it a diversion again? Tae-hoon clutched his chest, questioning himself, who is this guy? And before he could find an answer, his face immediately met the ground. Tae-hoon lay sprawled on the floor, Kang Wu's sturdy foot pressing down on his head. He tried to tremble and escape from under that foot, but was helpless, his mouth only able to emit weak groans.
Kang Wu stepped down harder in frustration, his clawed hand digging deep into Han Tae-hoon's arm. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Who the hell are you anyway?" But without waiting for an answer, Kang Wu leaned down and warned, "It's not over yet. Stop acting tough." His eyes glowed red, veins bulging visibly. It showed that Kang Wu's rage had reached its peak. "There are still plenty of punishments waiting for you because you dared to spill my pot of kimchi stew." His pinned arm trembled, and Han Tae-hoon asked in sheer confusion, "Kimchi? You're going crazy just because of a pot of kimchi?" Furious, he grabbed him by the hair and growled every word. "Just because?" Kang Wu pressed his face close to Han Tae-hoon's, his expression darkening. "Did you just say just because of a pot of kimchi?" He lifted himself up slightly and roared, "You!" The man trembled, hurriedly stammering for an explanation. "No, I mean..." But it was already too late. Kang Wu slammed Han Tae-hoon's face hard onto the floor, repeatedly executing that brutal action. Kang Wu was like a madman, screaming, "Just because of kimchi! Just for this pot of kimchi stew!" A moment later, he gradually calmed down, but his teeth remained clenched, and the corners of his mouth twitched. Kang Wu released his head and called out, "Hey!" Then, he leaned close to Han Tae-hoon's ear and whispered, "When I count 1, you say kimchi is. When I count 2, you say a gift from heaven. Bark it loud for me, got it?" That small hand tried to resist, but to no avail. In a situation with no way out, Kang Wu initiated a chant, forcing him, despite his head splitting with pain, to reluctantly voice along, "Kimchi is." Showing clear dissatisfaction, he pressed the blade a little deeper and continued to issue commands.
Louder. This time the sound was truly resounding, but it was Han Tae-hoon's miserable scream of pain. Kang Wu, without a shred of mercy, continued to set the rhythm, ignoring his tears and snot running down his face and his ragged breathing. Even so, he still had to force himself to scream out loud. "Kimchi is..." He raised his voice. 2. Under strict supervision, Han Tae-hoon was forced to grit out every word to respond as loudly as possible. A God-given treasure. However, even that could not satisfy that demon. Kang Wu frowned and commented, "Too weak." Having said that, he mercilessly vented his anger on him, his mouth ceaselessly spewing insults. "Louder for me. Loud as if someone is stabbing you. Loud like when you howl when a girl passes by." witnessing the torture taking place, so I just stood frozen on the spot, not daring to step in to intervene. From the opposite side, she could only silently watch the tragedy tinged with violence. Kang-woo's face contorted extremely as he ordered, "Speak louder for me, loud until your lungs explode." Despite the resentful sobbing, Han Tae-hoon still had to obediently follow the order. Kimchi is a God-given treasure. But this answer was still not enough to satisfy the master. He cursed again. "Damn it!" Then, as if gone mad, he screamed his demand. "I'm not satisfied yet. Say it again. Raise your voice to the 7th octave for me." In utter despair, he took a deep breath, compressing the air deep into his chest. Then he used all his remaining strength to expand his chest, creating an eardrum-shattering sound. "Kimchi is a God-given treasure." This time, amidst Han Tae-hoon's gasping breath, Kang-woo finally showed satisfaction. He retracted his sharp claws and softly uttered a word of praise. "Good." The ferocious aura from earlier was withdrawn. Kang-woo stood up straight, but did not forget to cast a warning look with a darkened face. Remember this, never look down on Kimchi. His spirit had completely collapsed. His whole body fell apart. He could only bury his face in the floor and weep miserably, cursing ceaselessly in his heart. "Ah, what the hell is this?" A voice suddenly rang out. Did you just try to run away? Truly pathetic." After the brawl, the furniture was significantly damaged and had been shoved into a corner. Over on the sofa, Seiya was silently bandaging her mother's wounds. She looked at her sadly, then could only glare indignantly at the ringleader who caused everything, Han Tae-hoon. Meanwhile, he was washing dishes while muttering curses. "Damn it, why am I—" Han Tae-hoon took a painful deep breath. With a face bruised from the beating, he silently cursed in his gut. To meet a guy like him, get beaten by him, and even have my stuff robbed. His anger rose even higher as he witnessed Kang-woo leisurely sipping tea. With his swollen face, he thought to himself, that kimchi stew bastard. No matter how much his rage flared up, he could only grit his teeth and endure it. Damn it, why? All just because of kimchi stew. Han Tae-hoon glared at him, asking himself, why? Why am I being treated like this? Kang-woo suddenly slammed the teacup down on the table, making him jump in fright. He raised his voice to question, what is it? He used a question to dig deeper into Han Tae-hoon's misery. Angry and sad because you got beaten to a pulp just over kimchi stew? He replied stammeringly.
No, there isn't. Kang-woo coldly glanced at Han Tae-hoon and began listing a long list, wearing clothes, sleeping, eating, and living comfortably. A piece of sincere advice was offered by him. You will never know how many blessings your life has been bestowed with, so always be grateful. He continued to admonish him, cherish your life, do you understand? He replied loudly, yes, understood clearly. However, deep down, he was harboring a different plan. This bastard is causing trouble again, damn it, just you wait. Han Tae-hoon was secretly plotting. After I report you to Andras, you are definitely finished. Suddenly, he called out to him, hey! He snapped back to reality and replied, yes, yes. Kang-woo spoke up. Come over here after you finish washing the dishes, he said with a tone full of implication. I've been thinking about that for a while. Han Tae-hoon sat obediently and listened silently. But it seems you have no value to be kept alive.
Kang-woo continued, you know it yourself, don't you? Just behave well to live well. He looked extremely panicked upon hearing Kang-woo's words. The world isn't that gentle. He grabbed Han Tae-hoon's collar to reassure him. Don't worry. A smile that would make others' blood run cold bloomed on his lips. I won't kill you, but perhaps death would be better. His eyes suddenly changed abnormally. He gasped in fear. What is this? The aura Kang-woo had been hiding terrified Han Tae-hoon to the extreme. The power to sow fear, boss. The sensation of being squeezed by a giant invisible hand made him panic. No, don't come near me, he screamed in boundless terror. Don't do it. The claws of a high-ranking demon were imprisoning him. No, the demon Omabas was gradually manifesting. Han Tae-hoon retreated step by step in fear, his mouth ceaselessly crying out, no, no. A fear that could not be washed away was carved deep into his mind. Kang-woo issued a warning. Don't say anything about what happened here. It ate deep into the target's soul, turning them into a puppet to be manipulated at will. Seeing his purpose achieved, he ordered, now, get lost. Han Tae-hoon walked away trembling as if stepping on fire, mumbling incessantly. No, don't. Kang-woo sneered. Pitiful bastard. Cha Eun-ju kept a pensive look as she watched him obey the order mechanically. She pondered silently. It's the same this time. She silently thanked him in her heart. Kang-woo saved me again. He quietly glanced at his phone screen.
Recalling Han Tae-hoon's aggressive demeanor, he muttered to himself, that really bothers me. Kang-woo scrolled through his phone at breakneck speed, his heart filled with anguish. I really am just a poor kid. Money. I need money. His eyes flashed with a glint of light as he softly spoke. Oh, I just found a useful piece of information. Magic stones. Information on the internet described magic stones in countless different shapes. A monster's magic is hidden within a central cell, taking the form of a stone inside the body.
The closer the color of the magic stone is to black, the higher its rank. The shapes of the magic stones were also clearly illustrated according to each rank. Kang Wu called out, "Soap." She started, replying hurriedly, "Yes?" He began to probe. "Perhaps you have a magic stone? Can I take a look at it?" Soa quickly went to search. "Ah, yes, please wait a moment." She brought him a stone. "Here you go. This is an E-rank magic stone obtained from hunting goblins." Kang Wu clenched the stone in his hand and began to appraise it, his mind lost in thought.
The article stated, "The closer the color is to black, the higher the rank." Under Sea's curious gaze, he closed his eyes tightly to enhance his concentration. He silently realized one thing. "However, I can't feel a shred of demonic energy at all." Kang Wu felt suspicious and made a guess. It definitely contains power, but it is not demonic energy. He continued his line of reasoning. "Because earlier I felt a bit of demonic energy, and my demonic energy increased by a level." He raised a doubt. "That's why I thought demonic energy was inside the magic stone." He wondered to himself, "But the power hidden within this is probably a different kind of energy, called magic." He suspected in his heart. Then where did the demonic energy come from? Finally, Kang Wu decided to put that matter aside. "Well, whatever." He immediately returned the stone. "It looks beautiful, thank you." Seya confusedly accepted it. "Ah, yes." Kang Wu sank into thought. "Right now I have to sell this thing to earn money." He was silently calculating. "If I want to do that then..." Kang Wu spoke up and asked, "Miss Seya, is there an Awakener management office nearby?" She thought for a moment before answering. "There isn't one nearby, but the closest office is right next to Sang Station." And then Seya made a suggestion. "I plan to go there too. Would you like to go together?" He asked with curiosity. "You are going there too?" Looking at her mother lying on the hospital bed, she let out a sigh. "Yes, to be honest, my family situation isn't very good."
With the magic stone in her hand, Seya began to explain. "So I took the risk to enter the gate." She smiled radiantly and said, "I only realized the level of danger and my own recklessness when you appeared, Mr. Kang Wu. So, once again, thank you." Kang Wu laughed awkwardly. "It's nothing," he said with embarrassment. "I just wanted to help someone like you." A sudden pang of pain struck his heart. After having to look at demons for thousands of years, hearing Seya express such determined will, that is why I will seriously study all the basic exercises. My goal is to become a rank 2 Awakener. A joy crept into Kang Wu's heart. "Finally, I have found an angel." He encouraged her. "You will definitely do well." She smiled. "Thank you." Looking at that smile, Kang Wu whispered to himself, "But I still don't intend to help her." He started the conversation. "Shall we go now?" Seya agreed immediately, without hesitation. "Yes, I'll be right out. I'm ready." Kang Wu silently calculated. "If I go with a weak person like her, my hunting efficiency will decrease." He knew these words sounded somewhat cruel, but it was the harsh truth. He made calculations completely rationally. "I must try to limit losses. My priority is to regain my strength. Because this is Earth, where I have returned after 10,000 years. I need to become stronger if I want to survive, just like when I was in hell."
As he was lost in thought, she suddenly spoke, startling him. "Ah, Mr. Kang Wu, do you have your ID card yet?" Kang Wu remained silent for a moment, then deliberately changed the subject. "Can we go to the headquarters first?" Finally, he obtained the ID card. During the entire train ride, Kang Wu kept gazing enthusiastically at the card in his hand, unable to look away. Looking at it, he silently contemplated. This was a reissued ID card. Standing at the reception desk, Kang Wu asked the staff with a stammering voice, "Is it done?" The receptionist replied briskly, maintaining a professional and attentive attitude towards the customer. "Yes, it is done. Do you need anything else?" Kang Wu replied awkwardly and stiffly, "No, thank you." After saying that, he thought to himself, "I actually thought they had put me on the missing persons list." Through situations like this, he sadly realized one thing.
So no one really knew he had gone missing. Recalling distant memories of his arduous time in hell, Kang Wu felt a twinge of self-pity, realizing that not a single soul remembered him after 5 long years. Fragmented memories from the past suddenly flooded Kang Wu's mind. It had always been like that. He was alone in everything, with no one around. Even when struggling to fight for survival, there was never anyone by his side. Amidst the deep darkness and extreme misery, a sweet voice suddenly rang out, pulling him back to reality. "Kang Wu!" As she spoke, Seoa pointed to the beautiful scenery outside. "Look out the window!" Her excitement surprised Kang Wu, and he followed her gaze. Seoa added, "We're almost there." Just as she finished speaking, a building with unique architecture, known as the Player Management Office, loomed before their eyes. Seoa couldn't help but exclaim, "Isn't it amazing? I really like the view here." Realizing he was no longer alone like in the past, Kang Wu quietly put the certification card into his pocket as a way to close the chapter on his past. He told himself, "Yeah,
Things will be different from now on. He turned to respond to Seowa. It's wonderful. After traveling for a while, the two finally arrived at the player management office station. The doors on the left opened. Carrying her suitcase, Seowa called out excitedly, "Kang-woo, over here!" He replied to her, "Ah, yes." At the main lobby of the Seoul Player Management Office, Seowa happily introduced, "We've arrived." This was the headquarters of the Seoul Player Management Office. Seeing such a beautiful and magnificent architectural structure for the first time, Kang-woo couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment, "It's huge!" Seeing the grandeur of the entrance gate, he thought to himself, "Isn't this even bigger than Incheon Airport?" Standing beside him, Seowa suddenly pulled something out of her bag and handed it to Kang-woo. "Ah, right, Kang-woo, there's something I want to talk to you about."
As she spoke, she suddenly took out a phone and handed it to him. "This is my old phone," she didn't forget to add. "There's Wi-Fi in the management office, so use this to talk later, okay?" Although he didn't shed a tear on the outside, deep down, Kang-woo was already soaking in tears. She truly is an angel. His eyes shone brilliantly. "Thank you so much."
Although they arrived at the same place, their purposes were different, so Seo took the initiative to speak to him. "Mr. Kangwoo, I'm going in now to try and register for the lecture for newcomers." Realizing this, he understood it was time to handle his own business, so he quickly replied, "All right, I'm heading off too. I'll call you later." Maintaining her usual kind demeanor, Seo suggested, "I think I'll finish late, but let's have dinner together, okay?" At the mere mention of eating, Kangwoo's face brightened up immediately, and he responded quickly, "Yeah, of course, take care." He thought to himself, "Great." After the two separated, Kangwoo was left alone to enter the building, inside the player management office. Witnessing how vast and magnificent everything was, he couldn't suppress his thoughts. The size of this place is no joke. Just glancing at the equipment and tools they carried, he could guess. I guess it's because players have become important figures. From a distance, a machine suddenly displayed a line of text. "Please scan your ID card to verify your identity." Kangwoo curiously thought, "Is that where I get the waiting ticket?" The moment Kangwoo inserted his card, the machine initiated the process. "Please scan your ID card," verifying. After a short wait, his image appeared on the screen, and the machine automatically issued a queue number. "Name, Oh Kangwoo, verification complete. Your waiting number is 18. Please take your waiting ticket." While Oh Kangwoo was still marveling at the cutting-edge technology, the machine issued the next instruction right after the announcement. "Please follow the path to the examination room with your waiting ticket." Just as the machine finished its guidance, his number tag vibrated. Immediately after, an electronic line suddenly appeared beneath Kangwoo's feet to guide him. "Please follow the path to the examination room with your waiting ticket." After arriving at waiting room 9, following the directions on the tag, Kangwoo found a seat and began taking out the old phone Soa had given him to browse the news. Behind him, two other hunters were chatting. "Excuse me, what was your rank in the first awakening?" "Mine is D, not bad." One person asked, "Do you think you can get A, B, or higher in the second stage?" Hearing this, the D-rank old man from before laughed loudly and replied, "I can't compare myself to players like Baek Kang-hyun or Cho Nunso." The other replied humbly, "No, those people are on a different level." Ignoring the surroundings, Kangwoo continued to diligently type away, searching for information on the phone. Listening more closely, Kangwoo suddenly caught the content of their conversation. "We can't compare ourselves to the 5 great guildmasters, those who reached S rank during their first awakening." The discussion continued. "I heard you can be recruited into one of the 5 major guilds if you reach S rank. Honestly, I don't want to stand out too much in the first and second stages. Being recognized later is enough." Kangwoo felt a bit suspicious. 5 great guilds? He summarized the names he found noteworthy. Kim Jae-hyung of Mio, Cha Yan-ju of Jisus, Baek Kang-hyan of Hanong, Jung Hak-gun of Sunjae, Chae Min-jung of Odoli. He rested his chin on his hand, calculating silently. Each guild was founded by a top 5 player in Korea. I will eventually meet them after recovering my power. He appeared incredibly relaxed. The stronger one is, the more they stand out. There is a high possibility he might have met them already. To create comfort and convenience for the future, he had early on outlined a specific goal for himself. I must recover my power faster than ever. He realized that his sources of power had been restricted. If he obtained the title of a player, perhaps he would be much stronger than before. While he was engrossed in his calculations, a voice suddenly called out his identification number, attracting his attention. "Number 18, can you come in here?" The door suddenly opened. Kangwoo stepped in without hesitation. After entering, an enthusiastic instructor pointed him to a seat at the main testing counter. "Your seat is over there." Once he moved to the designated spot, Kangwoo sat down and began answering questions from the specialist. "Are you Oh Kangwoo?" He replied, "Yes." She took out a crystal ball, presented it, and began instructing. "You just need to place your hand on this crystal ball." She explained further details. "When you infuse power into it, it will change color depending on your attribute rank. The higher your rank, the darker the color will be." With his 10,000 years of experience, Kangwoo just sighed softly and thought to himself, "Small matter. Standing out too much isn't good either. What should I do if I'm too strong?" Kangwoo placed his hand on the crystal ball and began transmitting demonic energy.
causing it to emit an incredibly intense light. Without waiting for the result or observing the process, Kang Wu grimaced and lamented, "Oh no, it seems I showed off too much power." The female specialist at the desk had been watching the crystal ball intently from start to finish without saying a word.
After the light faded completely, she spoke up to announce, "Mr. Kang Wu, you are an F-rank awakener." He froze, the shock leaving him speechless. "You can take your hand off now." The female consultant carefully reminded him, "I will guide you through the things you need to note regarding F-rank abilities and lower levels." His face clearly showed dejection. He didn't even bother to speak. He thought to himself, "I understand my power is sealed, but to drop all the way to F-rank," the girl with glasses began the introduction. "First, you will receive an F-rank player ID, and you will be able to enter gates of the corresponding rank. For higher-ranking gates, you can only enter if accompanied by a guardian." Kang Wu stubbornly held on to his thoughts. Since this ability was different from the norm, perhaps they couldn't evaluate it correctly. He sighed and then let out a scoff. If Balak heard about this, he would go crazy. He imagined his reaction. That smelly demon would definitely go mad and scream loudly. How dare she say that? The Demon King needs no protection. Kang Wu felt exhausted, his mind dazed. The trauma he had endured for 10,000 years suddenly came rushing back. He asked her in a weary tone, "What do I need to do to raise my rank?" Through the consultant, he learned that Seoa was also actively participating in that process. She explained that if he went through the basic course, he would rise to D rank immediately. Besides that, another method was to use the magic stones he had just traded.
He could level up many things. He made a judgment. That is a good method. After grasping the general situation, Kang Wu slowly stood up. "I understand." The female specialist hurriedly called him back. "Please wait a moment while I prepare your player ID for you." Then she asked one more question. "Do you need me to help you register for a basic course?" Because he already had his own plans, Kang Wu gently rejected her offer. "It's all right." Having witnessed too many similar cases, she quickly guessed Kang Wu's mood and thought silently in weariness. He must be in shock that his rank is so low. However, in this state, he would easily lose his life inside the gate. She understood that for many people, this result was no different from a death sentence, because if one only reached rank F, it was best to give up the path of becoming a player. While she was distracted, the crystal beside her began to change from transparent white to pitch black. The girl immediately realized the abnormality of the orb and wondered in astonishment. Why is the color...
As Miss Hioki reached out to inspect it, wondering what was happening, was it broken? In the very next moment, the orb seemed to overload and shattered in half, releasing a terrifying burst of energy that frightened her to the core. She still couldn't believe what had just happened. Surely that person's rank was F. A moment later, smoke and a powerful dark aura still lingered around the orb, leaving the female specialist frozen in place, her mind in turmoil. She was astonished because she had never imagined a case like this. Impossible. Even the color of Bei Kong Yin, she continued to compare. Even an S-rank player was only dark gray. There was no reason for a pitch-black color to exist. Immediately after, she shouted loudly, "Receptionist, receptionist, please, help me replace the crystal ball." Putting that story aside for a moment, the scene shifted to the front of a dungeon gate, a place already bustling with the solicitations of countless people. Someone announced, "Is there a mage here?" Another voice rang out, "Over here, a thief is looking for a party. We don't accept thieves. We're looking for healers, only accepting D rank and above. Fighter? Is there any fighter?" The competition to get a spot in a party was extremely fierce, and Kang Wu witnessed that scene as soon as he arrived. "I am a thief. We don't take thieves. We will take anyone who doesn't have a team yet. Do you guys accept thieves?"
Upon hearing the consecutive rejections regarding this profession, Kang Wu could only sigh in frustration and think to himself, why is everyone rejecting the thief class? A moment later, he approached the gate and presented his documents to the guard. "This is my player ID," he thought coldly to himself. "However, it has nothing to do with me." The guard didn't take too much time to verify the information. "I have verified that you are an E-rank player. You may pass." Leaving behind all the hustle and bustle, Kang Wu stepped through the dungeon gate for the first time with a predetermined hunting goal. Once he had completely crossed the gate and set foot in a strange land, he couldn't help but exclaim, "It seems I made it in."
Kang Wu couldn't hide his anxiety as he thought to himself, "I was partly afraid it would feel like the pressure of hell, since the aftershocks of teleportation caused negative effects on his body." Holding his head, Kang Wu spoke up, "I don't like anything that requires teleportation. It feels strange, too." Having said that, Kang Wu stretched to regain his spirits. He prepared himself for his hunt and reminded himself, "I should probably start looking for monsters first." Suddenly, from behind Kang Wu, a massive dark shadow called out to him, "Hey!" Just as he was stretching, he tilted his head back and stared upwards. The massive figure looming above made him wonder, is that a bear? It turned out to be a tall, burly man bending down to look straight at him and calling him, "Buddy." Immediately after he asked, "Are you here alone? Have you gone through your second awakening yet?" Since he had no information about the other party, Kang Wu simply replied with a few polite words, "That's right, that's correct." Realizing the big guy in front of him was approaching with unclear motives, he immediately became vigilant. What does this guy want? From behind, the giant's teammate spoke up,
Taesu, we are ready. It seemed Kangwoo had answered him. No, I haven't gone through the second awakening yet. Hearing that, he suddenly shouted loudly, "Oh my God!" The thunderous shout startled both of his teammates. The next second, he acted warmly and said to Kangwoo, "It seems like you haven't taken the basic course." He enthusiastically made an offer. An E-rank hunting in a party is much better than going alone. What do you think about that? If you haven't joined any party yet. Finishing his sentence, he immediately pointed towards his team and recommended, "You can try playing with our team."
Seeing her teammate make a decision on his own, the female mage in the group shouted loudly at him, "Hey, Taesu, why are you deciding this on your own?" The swordsman in the back also chimed in, "That's right, it's not like he can be of any help anyway." Hearing those harsh words, Taesu immediately got angry and shouted back at them, "Come on, you guys, you know what kind of situation he's in right now, don't you? We are going to save his life. If you're really that worried, I won't accept any magic stones from you guys. Let's add him to our party." His enthusiastic spirit made Kangwoo consider. It seemed he was a good person. Meanwhile, Taesu was still trying to convince everyone, as long as he doesn't get in our way. However, after considering everything, Kangwoo still decided to decline his offer. "Thanks for the invitation, but I'll be hunting alone. I don't need a team." Before he could finish his sentence, the giant Taesu rushed over to shake his hand with great excitement.
Now that they are satisfied, shall we introduce ourselves? My name is Kang Taesu, and yours is? Since he already had his own plans, Kangwoo immediately sought a polite way to refuse. "I am Kangwoo. Thank you for doing that, but I have no intention of joining any party." Not letting him finish a sentence, Taesu burst into a loud laughter that drowned out his voice. "Just speak casually. I may look like this, but I'm only 24 years old. Hearing the mention of age, Kangwoo froze, his face stiff as a statue, full of existential doubt. He questioned himself. What? Is he lying? That face is 24 years old? Taesu seemed to have calculated everything. As soon as he finished speaking, he pulled out his ID card to show Kangwoo, clearly looking expectant amidst the boredom of his teammates behind him. "See? Born in 1999. Taesu continued. "It's me, Kang Taesu." This ridiculous story made Kangwoo question himself. What on earth has happened in the last 5 years? But putting that aside for now, he quickly returned to the main topic and nodded. "Then I will speak comfortably." A second later, he called Taesu by name. "Taesu, I am very grateful for your offer, but I entered here with a specific plan in mind." The surrounding teammates seemed to understand his intention, so they didn't want to add anything. Only Taesu's confused murmurs remained. After a long while, he could only scratch his head, looking regretful. If you are that determined, then there is no other way.
Taesu was inherently kind-hearted and didn't forget to warn Kangwoo. However, be careful. This area is inhabited by goblins. However, among them there is a large and strong goblin called a hobgoblin. Basically, it is a goblin that is bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than the others. It is a boss monster on a completely different level compared to ordinary goblins, so you must run away from it at all costs. His enthusiasm made Kangwoo smile involuntarily, thinking to himself, he really is kind-hearted. Then he voiced his gratitude. "All right, thank you for your advice." After conveying all the necessary information, it was time for Taesu's party to leave. He still didn't forget to bid Kangwoo farewell. "Well then, take care." Seeing that enthusiastic appearance, Kangwoo sighed. "If I were truly an F-rank rookie, I might have journeyed with them."
He affirmed firmly, but he did not belong to that group. He immediately rolled up his sleeves and started acting. However, being alone was better. Stepping into the forest, step by step, Kangwoo was burning with fighting spirit. "Now then, let's go." As soon as he finished speaking, Kangwoo dashed into the thicket, disappearing from sight in an instant. While moving, he carefully observed his surroundings, traces of goblins. He remarked, "There are quite a lot of them. They must be somewhere around here." Darting through the rows of trees, he was extremely excited when he discovered the target. Found it! Kangwoo did not hesitate for a moment and rushed straight into the middle of the goblin pack. "Here it is!" As soon as he found the den of the goblins, Kangwoo struck without saying a word, taking the first life immediately. A monster suddenly fell at Kangwoo's hands. As soon as they detected an intruder, the goblins immediately signaled their companions about his presence. However, with Kangwoo's extraordinary speed, he had just taken down one when he rushed to another, not giving them a second to react. Discovering a whole village full of monsters for him to level up without having to spend effort searching, Kangwoo could not contain his joy and exclaimed, "Hit the jackpot!" They were both terrified and wary. Standing before the weak goblins, Kangwoo freely displayed his power. "Let's fight!" Although their intelligence was low and their strength weak, goblins had never known fear of anyone. When realizing the opponent before them was Kangwoo, they became chaotic, simultaneously pointing their swords at him. Kangwoo took advantage of the momentum to rush up, taking down two with a single slash.
Turning to another direction, he immediately launched another attack, sending two more to the afterlife. Taking advantage of his inattention, a goblin jumped up, intending to strike his blind spot. But he is the main character. Everything is within his calculations. Just having dealt with those two, he used the strength of his arm to strike, following the inertia to turn around and finish off the cowardly attacker. For him, this was still far from enough. After creating a safe distance from the remaining ones, he immediately rotated his hips to gather momentum, drawing his blade to face them. Without a wasted word, he swung with all his might towards the opponents. A single strike was enough to send a few into his experience bar. Kang Wu, having just finished this cluster, vanished and moved to another cluster before the goblins' bewildered eyes. They barely had time to raise their blades before being neatly eliminated the next second. One after another, one by one, sometimes 2 or 3 at once, all of them could only resist weakly in despair. The blades comfortably bathed in a sea of blood. They were merely props for Kang Wu's frenzied dance. The weaker individuals, witnessing their teammates fall one by one, could be said to be trembling like leaves upon hearing Kang Wu's voice. Are there still this many left? Right at this moment, the joy and pleasure of the slaughter had only just begun. He smiled excitedly looking at the goblins. Well then, let me send you guys off. As soon as he finished speaking, his sword continued its dance amidst the desolation. After a while, his sword finally stopped and was gradually retracted. The chaotic space was gradually replaced by Kang Wu's heavy size. I killed quite a lot. Looking back at his achievement, he admired himself.
Dealing with so many monsters is truly tiring. Suddenly, a notification board appeared. Looking closely, he noticed several important messages. You have defeated an E-rank monster, Goblin. Experience points increased. Level increased by 4. Demonic energy stat increased by 1. He was astonished, asking himself, it seemed that if he leveled up, his demonic energy would also increase. Putting that aside for now, he reached out towards the cold corpse of a goblin on the ground. For now, he knew that there was no power within the magic stone. As soon as he activated the power of gluttony, the entire surrounding scenery suddenly turned pitch black. A series of mouths began to emerge from the void, voraciously tearing into the spoils lying scattered on the ground. While focusing on controlling everything, he sensed something. I can sense magic. After carefully observing their body fragments, he reached a final conclusion. But the source of the demonic energy does not lie within the magic stone. I can sense it throughout their entire bodies. The intensity varies depending on the time of death. That means if I absorb the corpses of monsters that have just died,
I can collect demonic energy bit by bit. Kang Wu appeared extremely excited. Great! I can sell magic stones this way and earn demonic energy as well. When the corpses were reduced to nothing but white bones, Kang Wu happily made plans for himself. I just need to pick up the magic stones before leaving. While happily collecting every last magic stone remaining after devouring all the corpses, a curious thought struck him. If I sell all these stones, how many chickens can I buy? Looking at the clean, polished skulls scattered on the ground, he began to imagine. Come to think of it, he only ate the meat and left the bones, exactly like eating chicken. As soon as chicken was mentioned, he immediately thought of fragrant chicken drumsticks. The image of golden, crispy, piping hot fried chicken wings made him drool with craving. But chicken meat makes people crave it much more. Once I get out of here, I'll definitely stop by a chicken shop. If only Sei would hear. Thinking of the scene where Sei gently fed him a piece of chicken made Kang Wu so delighted he almost drooled. Even kings and emperors could only wish for this much. With that massive motivation, he felt energized as if his power had increased by 200%, continuously scooping up the magic stones on the ground. His mouth didn't stop shouting, Sei, wait for me. I will treat you to seasoned chicken, fried chicken, and even pickled radishes. Just when he was most enthusiastic, a loud noise suddenly rang out from somewhere, causing Kang Wu to freeze and listen. He warily turned his head and was astonished to discover something extremely interesting right before his eyes.
Seeing that massive figure, curiosity arose with him. Is that what Tae-Soo mentioned? A hobgoblin. The giant goblin didn't say a word. Its glowing red eyes locked straight onto Kang Wu as it growled. Its eyes had now firmly locked onto a silhouette. A second later, it roared loudly, its entire body emitting a powerful aura of energy. Kang Wu was startled, his mind filled with confusion and shock. Is it magic? He looked at the giant green monster rushing towards him. Kang Wu felt a bit surprised. It knows how to control magic? He immediately took a defensive stance, his gaze fierce. Kang Wu's eyes narrowed as he calculated inwardly. Magic. He began to compare. If speaking of destructive power, his demonic energy was far superior to this guy's magic. He continued his train of thought, but in just an instant it had raised its blade high and stood towering right in front of Kang Wu. Amid savage growls, the green monster didn't hesitate to swing its blade down heavily on the spot where he stood. Fortunately, Kang Wu managed to escape by a hair's breadth.
Even though he managed to dodge to the side, the force of the smash was still enough to knock Kang Wu back a long distance. Immediately, he raised the 2 daggers in his hands to block the impact. At the same time, its pounce came crashing down. This time, it flung Kang Wu away a very long distance. Before he could even touch the ground, that massive figure had already raised its blade high and rushed over before he knew it, raising both hands above his head, successfully blocking the monster's attack. However, this seemed to be a bit too much for him. Kang Wu gritted his teeth tightly, his eyes glued to the point where their weapons met. He felt a bit uneasy. The problem was the difference in physical strength stemming from their weight classes. A moment later, seemingly unable to endure it anymore, he ground his teeth and used his last bit of strength to deflect its attack to the side.
This time he successfully dodged, but that only made the monster even more frenzied. It bared its sharp teeth and glared at him. Kang Wu felt the situation was unstable, so he hurriedly attacked first. It quickly leaned sideways, using its shoulder armor to block the blow, then used the momentum to knock him far away. Seeing that the shoulder armor only had a single scratch, Kang Wu cursed softly under his breath. Damn it, I was bounced off by its armor because my stats are still low. I need to find a bigger weakness. While lamenting, he leaned over to avoid the slashing blade. Yet its subsequent attack speed was even faster, forcing Kang Wu to use all his strength to dodge and preserve his life. The more they fought, the faster its speed became, forcing him to dodge lower and lower, almost pressing his body against the ground. Seeing that it couldn't hit Kang Wu, the monster grew furious. It raised its blade high, stomped down hard with its massive foot, and then kicked towards where he was dodging. At times it slashed with the blade, at times it knelt to block his retreat, then used its hands to strike, hook, and execute all sorts of moves. However, Kang Wu's body was as fluid as flowing water. He dodged artistically before the Reaper's blade. This time he retreated a bit further, crouching his whole body close to the ground, his eyes still intently tracking every move of the monster, while his mind calculated rapidly. That sturdy arm helped it fight well. As a leader, it was bound to be different. Kang Wu's face tensed up, and he narrowed his eyes to calculate his next move. Unlike the goblins he had killed, this time it still swung the blade horizontally. Kang Wu still dodged as usual, but the tree behind him wasn't so lucky. It was sliced in half with a single strike. He looked at the empty patch of gravelly ground ahead.
Kang Wu thought to himself, however, in the name of the destroyer of its territory. He casually picked up a stone right in front of him while nimbly dodging its attacks. He continued the unfinished story in his head and killed its minions. To him, it was simply entertainment. Kang Wu smirked slightly. The stone he had just picked up was quickly thrown forward with terrifying speed, aiming straight at that green monster. When it hit the monster and fell, it revealed itself to be the skull of its kin. It immediately flew into a rage, furrowing its brow and letting out a loud roar. He maintained his posture and confidently declared, "This should be enough." Driven by anger, Kang Wu clenched his fist, unleashing power, gathering all that was greatest. He activated the authority of Galac's rage. His body began to transform, his eyes glowing with a bright blue light and his veins bulged fiercely. He relaxed his hand and thought to himself,
It wasn't mine, but his. As soon as the words were spoken, a demon even more terrifying suddenly appeared behind that green monster. The green monster didn't seem to notice at all. It was still focusing its entire gaze on Kang Wu, its mouth emitting angry growls as if it wanted to rush up and devour him alive. A second later, it was still that same growling sound, but this time it groaned in extreme agony as its body was tightly gripped by a sharp claw, rendering the green monster immobile. Kang Wu let out a breath. It's done. Yet a second later, its hand gripping the blade tightened even more. Then the green monster, disregarding everything, rushed forward and unleashed an earth-shattering slash. Fortunately, he managed to squat down in time to dodge, but the row of trees behind him wasn't so lucky. This time, not just one, but an entire row of trees was sliced in half simultaneously. It still hadn't vented its anger, flipping the blade to slash one more time. Kang Wu remained unharmed, while the trees were pitifully chopped into 100 pieces. He paused for a moment. This authority is actually a type of enhancement support. He began to explain. It helps amplify the user's strength many times over. The green monster's eyes glowed. It let out an earth-shattering roar, and then rushed to attack as if gone mad. It punched, threw a left hook, and then switched to swinging its blade continuously. Amidst that noisy and hazy space, Kang Wu constantly dodged while still having time to think. But in reality, the price of that authority is a curse that turns the target's brain into a decoration. He used supersonic speed to dodge its attacks. His lips still curled into a bright smile, his eyes shining with confidence. The simple and messy attacks of an irrational monster. Kang Wu's eyes glowed red. Keeping that smile on his lips, he raised his fist high and began to counterattack. His calculations were gradually verified. This was the easiest part. Creating multiple openings to attack, Kang Wu confidently rushed into the midst of the green monster's slashing blade, dodging while delivering the first strike to its left knee.
This move made it roar in pain, successfully causing it to collapse. After his attack, Kang Wu knelt on one knee, his hand clenched into a fist, his eyes narrowed to predict the next trajectory of attack from the green monster raising its blade high. When the monster's passive attack was activated, its eyes flashed and it unleashed a powerful slash, leaving him somewhat stunned by the move. It was hard to distinguish whether the blood spurting out belonged to Kang Wu or the green monster lying motionless with his blade firmly planted in its head. Blood was scattered everywhere. Finally, he could heave a sigh of relief. Kang Wu looked at his blood-stained hand and whispered a complaint. So helpless. If I had power, it would be so easy. Does this mean I have to start over again? Then he flicked his hand to shake off the remaining drops of blood. His gaze stopped at the virtual mailbox in front of him with a hint of surprise. When Kang Wu clicked on it, a few notification lines immediately appeared. You have cleared the monster territory solo. You will receive 150% experience points. You have successfully defeated a C-rank boss monster, Hobgoblin. Whispers escaped his mouth. That was a boss. The notification board continued to pop up. You have leveled up 3 times. This line made Kang Wu slightly astonished. Immediately after, another notification appeared. You have unlocked the second awakening after reaching rank 2. Your special energy for the second awakening has been unlocked. He clenched his fist in jubilation. This information excited Kang Wu to the extreme. All right.
The explanation regarding the second awakening power appeared right after that. Second awakening special ability, Insatiable Hunger. Effect, you will absorb more demonic energy from defeated targets when using gluttony. He silently calculated. That's fine. Even if it's not a powerful offensive skill, from now on, I can absorb more demonic energy. Kang Wu excitedly scrolled through the virtual screen, whispering softly, if I use the benefits of being a player, I can become stronger, right? Then let's see how strong my special ability is. Looking at the massive corpse in front of him, he slowly placed his hand on its head and silently activated the ability. Gluttony. A violent stream of black aura appeared, quickly swallowing the massive corpse. Kang Wu looked at the halo hovering over his hand and softly exclaimed, the aura's darker now. Is this the effect of the special ability? Thinking so, he touched the corpse, which was now just an illusory silhouette. The system immediately sent a notification. Insatiable Hunger has been activated. You will absorb more demonic energy. Your demonic energy stat increases by 3. Total demonic energy is 19. These stats astonished Kang Wu.
The absorption force has definitely increased. Holding the compact mass of energy in his hand, he clearly showed his satisfaction. Defeating a strong monster would definitely make him stronger. The massive corpse now remained only as a bleached white skeleton. Kang Wu narrowed his eyes, silently calculating. Perfect. Let's see how this increase in demonic energy affects things. He closed his eyes to begin sensing the flow of demonic energy that was now circulating around his body. But Kang Wu was slightly surprised. My power? I thought I would be at least twice as strong as before. As he clenched his fist, a doubt rose within him. It's even 3 times more than I thought. Why did it increase so fast? Kang Wu silently exclaimed. A sudden surge in power could be dangerous. A stream of demonic aura rose up, enveloping him and pulling him into an illusion.
It seemed like Kang Wu had sat all the way down to feel the surface beneath him more clearly. Regarding the 10,000 demon core, it appeared he had just discovered something. He thought silently, I knew it. Kang Wu's brows furrowed, his mind somewhat agitated. The seal on the 10,000 demon core had weakened. He lowered his eyes, his heart filled with inexplicable thoughts. But why? Other than awakening, there shouldn't have been any other significant changes, right? He glanced at the virtual notification board beside him, then, as if suddenly realizing something, silently exclaimed. Kang Wu began to form a hypothesis. Don't tell me that every time I unlock an awakening stage, the notification displayed, you have unlocked the second awakening. Upon reaching level 20, the second awakening is unlocked. The seal on the 10,000 demon core has weakened again, huh? He curled his lips confidently, his gaze becoming more resolute. If that is true, then if I continue to level up, I will be able to regain my original power. In that case, there's even more reason to go to higher ranking gates. Kang Wu stood up straight after encouraging himself. All right. He picked up the gem lying under the monster skeleton. Kang Wu smiled a strange smile, twirling the gem in his hand as he whispered, the next target is the third awakening at level 40. A while later, in a noisy and crowded restaurant, he and Seiya blended into the stream of people having their meal.
As if starved for a long time, Kang Wu put a piece of fried chicken into his mouth, his other hand not hesitating to grab the next one immediately. He ate voraciously and deliciously. Just after swallowing hurriedly, he grabbed the beer mug and downed half of it in one go. Kang Wu slammed the beer mug down on the table and shouted in refreshment. That hit the spot. The girl sitting opposite him, witnessing him eating so happily, smiled and asked, "Is it that good?" Kang Wu wiped his mouth with his hand before replying, "That's right, it's delicious." So Soa decided to tease him with a rather tricky question. "Is it better than the kimchi stew I cooked?" This question successfully made Kang Wu freeze. He hesitated for a moment. "That is..." It took a while before he could answer solemnly. "Even so, I like your kimchi stew more." Just waiting for that, Soa chuckled and said, "I'm just kidding. You're really funny, Kang Wu." He picked up his beer glass to hide his embarrassment and laughed awkwardly. "Is that so?" Realizing she had gone a bit too far, she hurriedly put some food into Kang Wu's bowl and invited him. "You can have mine too." Kang Wu let out a happy sound and asked, "Are you sure?" He didn't wait for Soa's reply and quickly added, "Thank you so much." Suddenly she fell silent for a moment.
A moment later, Soa hesitantly spoke up. Kang-woo, if you don't mind. Kang-woo, while happily enjoying the meal, looked up at her. Soa paused for a beat before continuing. Do you have any friends or family? This question made Kang-woo freeze in silence. The atmosphere suddenly became strangely quiet, even though the laughter and chatter of the diners around were still there. He raised his beer glass to drink it all and then slammed it down again, but this time with a hint of frustration. I don't. No friends. The fork accidentally knocked over by Kang-woo fell to the floor, bouncing with a clatter. He answered sadly. Family, and even a home, too. She looked at him worriedly and probed. Then where do you sleep? Kang-woo lowered his body to hide his expression, trying to use the calmest tone possible to reply to Soa. Actually, I have nowhere to go.
However, the hands holding the fork were trembling incessantly, betraying his true emotions. Seeing that, she immediately made a suggestion. I don't know if you're okay with it, but if you don't mind, would you like to stay at my place? Hearing those words, Kang-woo's eyes widened in astonishment, and he asked back, are you sure? Soa reached out to take another fork from the box and said,
Yeah, in this short period of time, you don't know how much you've helped me. She smiled and explained further. No need to worry about anything. Kang-woo scratched his head in embarrassment and let out a sound, then shyly replied, Then I will accept your offer. He took the fork from Sea's hand and cheerfully said, Good luck to both of us. Sea also shouted, Okay, and teased him with a smile. I'll be counting on you to take care of me too, Kang-woo. Sea looked at him with affectionate eyes and thought to herself, It seems like Kang-woo has a lot he wants to say. After sitting for a while, he suddenly remembered something and exclaimed, Oh, and one more thing. I have something I want to give you. Kang-woo pushed a thick envelope towards her and said, This is probably about 3 million won. Sea's eyes widened in surprise, and she hurriedly asked, But why? Kang-woo calmly replied, Consider it my rent. She quickly waved her hands, stuttering in refusal. I can't accept this if that's the case. Sea said softly and sadly, You've helped me so much already. If I take this money... He interrupted her with a reassuring sentence before she could finish. You've spent a lot lately, and I know you've been having a hard time too. Sea hesitated. Not giving her another chance to refuse, he pushed the stack of money forward, let go, and said, No need to feel pressured, since I'm eating your food too.
If you don't like me calling it rent, then let's just call it grocery money. Looking at the stack of cash on the table, Sewa had no choice but to accept it. She helplessly exclaimed, Really? She clutched the money tightly in her hand, looking up at Kang-woo with teary eyes. Thank you so much, Kang-woo. He forced a smile and said, No need for that. Then Sewa made a suggestion. Then tomorrow, I'll use better meat to make kimchi stew. It will be even more delicious than before. Hearing that, he responded excitedly, drool almost spilling out. Are you serious? His heart was filled with joy. He could eat kimchi stew every single day. I knew it. Sewa is truly an angel. I will sell magic stones to make money and make her happy. Just thinking about it made Kang-woo sob with happiness. He suddenly remembered something, stopped and asked, Sewa, are there any D-rank gates nearby? She pondered for a moment before answering. If you are looking for a D-rank gate, there is one nearby. Although I haven't been there, I heard it is full of lizardmen. Kang-woo skewered another piece of chicken and put it in his mouth, his eyes wandering in thought. Lizardmen. I must go there tomorrow. I have to defeat stronger monsters and unlock the next awakening faster, as well as earn more money. Even though he was deep in thought, he didn't forget to eat. His hand kept picking up pieces of meat from the plate, while his mind wandered. But seriously, does lizardman meat taste dead? Thinking of this, Kang-woo called out, Sewa, is it possible? Sewa took Kang-woo to a bedroom that hadn't been used for a long time. She introduced, This room used to belong to my brother, but now you can use it as you please. Kang-woo entered the room with his bag of personal belongings. He politely responded, Thank you very much, Sea. Kang-woo sat down on the single bed in the room. He expressed his sincere gratitude to her. Thanks to you, I can finally have a comfortable sleep. Sea replied, her face blushing slightly. It's nothing. Perhaps seeing that it was late, Sea didn't want to disturb Kang-woo's rest any longer. She walked out of the room, not forgetting to switch off the light for him. Then, good night, Kang-woo. He gently replied, Yeah, good night, Sea. The room door was ajar, not completely closed. A small crack still allowed light from outside to filter into the pitch-dark room. He stared at that streak of light for a while, then quietly lay down on the bed and thought to himself, This is a comfort I haven't felt in 10,000 years. It's so quiet and comfortable, too. Coming back here was definitely the right decision. At a certain location, a large crowd is gathering. It seems they are preparing for some important mission. The activity of searching for teammates and recruiting members is bustling. The first person calls out an invitation. I'm looking for a healer who has reached the second awakening. A second person shouts, I'm looking for those with special abilities higher than C rank. A third group recruits vigorously. We are running a party ready to accept you quickly and safely during your awakening to the third stage. Kang Woo thinks to himself that since he has reached D rank, he should find teammates here. While he is searching alone, the image of Han Tae-hoon kneeling and begging to join a team accidentally catches his eye. "Please let me join. I'll be quiet and help everyone with bandages or something." The other person bluntly refused. "We don't accept someone who only knows how to bandage." Kang Woo is slightly surprised. It's him again. At this rate, they'll have to accept him eventually. I feel bad for him. He approaches the player rank verification gate. After checking the card, the gatekeeper confirms, "All right, we have confirmed that you are a D rank player." Kang Woo still has some lingering questions about Han Tae-hoon's story earlier, but then he decides to put it aside. Well, it's not my business anyway. Kang Woo enters the D rank gate. After getting inside and observing for a while, he lies down on the grass. So this is a D rank gate after all. Should I move secretly? No sooner thought than done. Kang Woo immediately activates the authority of silence. Kang Woo asks himself, "Lizard men?" He recalls the word Seo and said, "They are sensitive to sound, but their vision is poor. If he doesn't approach silently, they will immediately pounce on him." Lizard men are large creatures that walk on two legs like humans and are about the size of an adult human. Aside from those two characteristics, their appearance is no different from ordinary lizards. Kang Woo's eyes light up. Good, I found them. Seo once provided Kang Woo with knowledge about this creature. They are also afraid of fire, so if there is a fire mage in your team, it will be more effective during the lizard men hunt.
Thinking of this, he immediately unleashed the authority of Demon Andras, Hellfire, attempting to incinerate the entire group of lizardmen there. Due to their poor vision, they were caught by the flames. Instinctively, they struggled in every way possible, diving into the water, doing everything they could to extinguish the fire. Kang Woo just stood watching from afar, silently reminding himself, "You cannot put out hellfire in the normal way. Unless you use demonic energy or magic to suppress it, you will never be able to extinguish it. And because it burns vitality rather than your physical bodies, you will only leave behind corpses for your enemy." Speaking of which,
Is Han Tae-hoon's guild name Andras? I think he just picked a random name from somewhere. I mean, if things don't work out, I can just destroy everything myself. After noticing that the pack of lizardmen was completely exhausted and there was another pack behind them, Kang Woo turned to look at them, debating whether to continue hunting. Should I hunt one more pack? While he was still hesitating, a voice interrupted his train of thought. A young man spoke up, asking, "Looking at your equipment, you must be a rookie, right? Do you want to join our hunting party?" Kang Woo wasn't very interested in this offer. He just asked perfunctorily, "Which guild?" Ho-jun introduced, "We are the Andras Guild." Kang Woo observed the group for a moment, then replied, "I'm not interested." Having said that, he turned his back and walked away, paying no heed to those left behind. Ho-jun was both angry and confused by his attitude. What the hell? What an arrogant brat. He looks like a rookie but isn't humble at all. The woman standing next to him asked softly, "Honey, what should we do? If we just go back like this, the guildmaster will..." He replied, Since things have turned out this way, let's just beat him half to death and dump his body somewhere. It's been a while since we relieved some stress. Let's teach that guy a life lesson." His expression grew darker by the second.
His attitude revealed a not-so-pleasant ambition. Leaving that group behind, Kang Woo continued hunting lizardmen, reusing his old tactics to wipe them all out. After taking down a significant number of lizardmen, he thought to himself, "It seems I've devoured the entire vicinity. Being safe is good, but a little danger isn't bad if it means leveling up faster." Something in Kang Woo's hand was emitting purple rays of light. Perhaps it was the accumulated power of the lizardmen he had just killed. He looked at it, stroked his chin, and sank into thought. What should I do? While he was immersed in his own world, a sudden call made him jump. He tightened his grip on the glowing object in his hand and reflexively turned toward the sound. "Hey!" He analyzed. "This voice is..." The other person seemed to guess his thoughts and spoke up. "Don't remember? It's your senior. I was wondering if the rookie was hunting well, so I came to check." He glanced over them once and silently remarked, "It's those people from before. Just looking at him, I can tell he's definitely the scum type who specializes in bullying the weak." Kang Woo appeared calm. "Your worry is unnecessary. As you can see, I'm doing just fine here." Tae-hoon looked at him with a somewhat scornful gaze. "Is that so? But your clothes are still clean, and there isn't a single corpse nearby." Kang Woo replied in indifferent tone, "Because I wanted to rest for a bit."
Ho-hoon raised his superior tone to interrogate, "But why is your attitude towards a senior so flippant?" Not wanting to keep the peace only to face trouble later, Kang Woo decided not to yield anymore. He replied, "Because I find this senior here a bit annoying." This calm tone directly provoked him. Gosh, this bastard. The more annoyed he appeared, the more calm Kang Woo displayed. "Do you want to fight?" Taeyeon, the one standing behind, seemed unable to hold back anymore. He rushed forward. "This guy is truly..." Before he could finish his sentence, an arm reached out to stop him. "Stop." Ho-hun spoke to reassure Taeyeon. "But, Ho-hun, don't worry. I've already thought of a way to teach this arrogant bastard a lesson." Kang Woo thought to himself, If this guy is acting so arrogant without knowing the immensity of heaven and earth, he must be at least B rank. Ho-hoon let out a contemptuous laugh. You really are an unpleasant guy, but I will make you regret this right now. Kang-woo showed no sign of fear. On the contrary, he seemed full of interest. That's worth looking forward to. Ho-hoon gripped the sword in his hand tightly. Let me see how long you can keep being flippant. Saying that, he tapped his sword hard against the iron armor on his forearm, creating an ear-piercing sound. His teammate spoke up to remind him.
Hey, do you know that lizard men are very sensitive to noise? Kang-woo looked at him as if looking at a show-off idiot, not understanding what he was plotting. How cute. He didn't just strike hard once, but frantically struck another thunderous blow. This sound successfully attracted the swarm of lizard men. Ripples began to spread from under the water's surface. He looked delighted. Here they come. Prepare a defensive spell for yourself. After standing safely inside the shield, he looked at him with a gaze full of contempt. What are you going to do to stop me, huh? Just by sound, I can distinguish hundreds of types. This might be a bit too much to teach an arrogant brat like you a lesson, right? So if you kneel down and beg me, maybe I'll reconsider before beating you to a cripple. Are you too scared to speak now? At this moment, Kang-woo calmly replied, I was wondering how strong you guys actually were, but I didn't expect it to be just this much. Hojin realized the disdain in his words. He couldn't understand it at all, and asked, What the hell are you talking about? Kang-woo was showing those people how to truly scare others. If you want to scare someone, it must be at least like this. He spread his arms wide to gather power, and then used the authority of super speed. Just one clap of his hands created a resonance tens of times louder than the action of Hojin striking his armor with a sword.
Of course, he couldn't just stop there. This was only the beginning. He was terrified to the core. What? Hey, you lunatic, stop it! Perhaps he had intended to soar up and then stomp his foot heavily onto the ground, but because those people begged, he gently landed and replied, Fine. Tae-hoon looked bewildered. What the hell is going on? This bastard? The scene became increasingly gloomy as the lizardmen emerged from everywhere. They had located Tae-hoon's group. From the inside, he exclaimed, He's really crazy. The woman was terrified. I've never seen so many lizardmen appear like this. Another guy didn't even give her time to panic. Hey, hurry up and focus on stabilizing the shield. Conflict began to arise within Tae-hoon's group. You're absolutely crazy. Are you trying to drag us all down to die with you? From the ground, Kang-woo flew up to a tree branch and asked Tae-hoon, Didn't you say that lizardmen are very sensitive to sound? I know that. I know it very well. The swarm of lizardmen began to attack the shield frantically. In that moment, Tae-hoon screamed with 7 parts rage and 3 parts despair.
Han Tae-hoon was bewildered. You bastard, are you crazy? Do you plan to kill everyone just to satisfy your anger? Kang-woo calmly replied, What are you talking about? I have no intention of dying. From the tree branch, his gaze turned cold, and his words carried a hint of danger. The only ones who must die here are you people. Standing on the branch, he watched their group struggling with the swarm of lizardmen that was densely surrounding the narrow shield. This was the authority of sound. Seeing the lizardmen not attacking Kang-woo at all, Han Tae-hoon was shocked and speculated. A sound manipulation skill? Han Tae-hoon screamed at his teammates, Pull that barrier back up, now! One member of his team was pierced through the stomach by a lizardman. Another looked at him with eyes full of resentment. Han Tae-hoon collapsed to the ground in fear, watching his teammates fall one by one, unable to do anything. He tried to cover his mouth tightly with both hands to stop the sobbing sounds from escaping. Utterly helpless, he could neither resist nor act. The only thing he could do was sit still and try not to make a sound. The weapon in the hand of his unfortunate teammate fell next to Han Tae-hoon. He trembled, begging for help from Kang-woo. Save me, please. I made a mistake, so please. Responding to his panic and despair was Kang-woo's indifferent attitude. He gently uttered a few words. So long, bye, good luck. As he finished speaking, he clenched his fist, creating a loud explosion right near him. Han Tae-hoon was now completely drowned in despair. He screamed in helplessness, You bastard! Unable to escape his fate, he was torn apart by the lizardmen and died in painful helplessness. Using a demon to treat a more brutal demon, using killing intent to counter an even more intense killing intent, Kang-woo stood on the tree branch and witnessed the entire event.
Kang-woo used hellfire to burn everything to the ground. Once the dust had settled, he decided to collect the spoils. So, shall we begin? Kang-woo activated the gluttony skill, and the system immediately announced, Demonic energy stat increased by 1, cannot continue to use gluttony on entities protected by the Gaia system. Seeing this notification, he thought in confusion, the Gaia system, that sounds so familiar. Then he suddenly remembered, since that moment, he had been standing in the middle of a chaotic scene. He silently pondered, so the things I am looking at right now, the things here, seem to be players protected by this thing called the Gaia system. I want to know if I can digest it. He used the player's special ability, Gluttony, on Tae-hoon's corpse, next to which lay a magic stone.
Kang-woo sighed softly. Well, it didn't really matter. The amount of demonic energy he could utilize was still the most important thing. The system displayed a notification indicating his demonic energy stat had reached 30. He looked at it and exclaimed, "My demonic energy has increased significantly compared to last time. It's not just about the quantity." After collecting everything, Kangwoo tried using Hellfire to test his power, and then he realized that the quality of the current demonic energy was what he was referring to. "I just need to level up a bit more. I'm really looking forward to the Third Awakening. I've hunted so much today, so the Third Awakening isn't far off." He walked over, picked up the stone next to the hobgoblin's corpse, and turned to return. "I'll continue a little longer." 3 days later, at Sea's house, Kangwoo lifted the entire pot and happily drank up the stew she cooked. He couldn't stop praising her. "It's as delicious as always today, Sea." Sea replied, "Thank you, Kangwoo. Are you going to the gate to hunt again today?" Kangwoo pondered for a moment and said, "That's right. I'll probably be back by dinner." Sea lifted the electric kettle and gently exclaimed, "Aren't you pushing yourself too hard? You haven't rested for days." Kangwoo smiled and replied, "I'm fine." As if remembering something, he asked her, "Sea, when does your course finish?" She replied, "I think I'll be done in a few days. Apparently, starting today, we will go hunt goblins to level up. I don't know if we'll do well, but I want to reach the Second Awakening soon, too." She continued the conversation while brewing tea. Kangwoo sincerely encouraged her, "I'm sure you will achieve it soon." She replied, "Thank you."
She handed him a cup of tea. "Have another cup before you go, okay? You must be tired from lack of sleep." Kangwoo expressed his sincerity. "Thank you." He thought to himself, "She is an angel." In the moment of silence, Sewa seemed to remember something and spoke up. "Ah, I forgot. I just remembered the matter you asked me to find out about the gate." She asked, "Have you heard the news at the gate yet?" He expressed his confusion. "What news?" She shared the information she knew with him. "There is a rumor that high-ranking players are around there. It might just be a false rumor, but you should still be careful." Hearing that, Kangwoo thought to himself, high-ranking players disguising their ranks and attacking other players. He asked himself, did the rumor originate from that bastard Andras? He denied it himself. "No, I checked the surroundings before hunting. There were no witnesses. Looking at the corpses, it seemed they were killed by lizard men. If the person in the rumor is me, then I don't have much to worry about, but I can't be certain."
Kangwoo muttered to himself that he should prepare for various situations and level up as quickly as possible. The system sent a notification to Kangwoo. "You have reached level 20. Upon reaching level 20, you will undergo the Third Awakening. Third Awakening activated." He personally felt his magic increase significantly compared to the last time. He thought to himself, but this time is on a completely different level. To verify his new power, let's see. He tried deploying Hellfire and commented, "Just as I thought." However, there was still something weighing on his mind. With every awakening, the seals on the countless demon gates weakened, and demonic energy flowed out through the weakened seals. A magic stone rose from beneath the ground. The stone was enveloped by something resembling a monster's mouth, completely submerged in a mystical purple hue that made the blue stone stand out even more. Rank 3 Awakener Attribute, Demonic Craving. Rank A Attribute. You can convert the magic within the magic stone into demonic energy for absorption. He picked up the magic stone from the ground and quietly appraised its quality. Not bad at all. It has a demonic energy value equivalent to a monster. With this, I can double my demonic energy absorption speed. Kangwoo felt a bit of regret, as it seemed he would have to sacrifice the money he would have earned from selling the magic stone. Then he made a decision. "Well, I've earned quite a bit these past few days anyway. For now, I have no reason to go to the Magic Stone Trading Center." While fumbling with his phone, a brilliant idea flashed through Kangwoo's mind. "Since I have some time left anyway, I want to examine this new ability a bit more. I should probably hang around in the forest a little longer." No sooner thought than done. He immediately took off his jacket, tied it around his waist, and began his journey to explore this place. Kangwoo crouched down, using the authority of the sky to gain momentum and soared high into the air to observe everything more easily.
After floating in the air for a while, he suddenly realized a truth. Thinking back now, he still hadn't met that lizard man boss yet. He wanted to try devouring a magic stone of slightly higher quality, but this forest severely limited his vision. Kangwoo let out a regretful sigh. He didn't have enough demonic energy to use the authority of observation. While he was engrossed in observing the surroundings, the sound of people talking echoed from somewhere. "Hey bro, what are you doing?" Recognizing this voice as somewhat familiar, he silently raised a suspicion. Was this voice Tae-soo? True to his prediction, Tae-soo was standing opposite Han Tae-hoon and Junho. Gritting his teeth, Kangwoo flew closer to that area to observe the whole situation. Han Tae-hoon spoke in a voice full of contempt. "You muscle-brained bastard, you really are disgustingly tough." Junho chimed in to agree.
This fits his stupid brain perfectly. However, he is truly more stubborn than I thought. Hiding behind a tree, Kangwoo felt suspicious. What is happening? This is clearly something abnormal. His eyes darted towards Tae-soo, who was lying prone on the ground. Tae-soo's voice seemed to roar in anger. Why on earth is this happening? After observing for a while, he finally realized, that person, isn't he the one who kept wandering around alone looking for a team?
Tae-soo roared furiously at the other two. "Why are you attacking my team members?" Jo-ho spoke in a bored tone. "Damn it, your screaming is too loud." Tae-ho spoke up to remind him. "What if you accidentally attract the attention of that violent lizard man? What will we do?" It seemed Tae-soo didn't care about that. He continued to question. "Answer me straight." After observing for a while, Kang-woo came to an initial conclusion. Looking at it, it's obvious he's been betrayed. It seems those bastards are the players rumored to cause trouble, right? And then he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Just as I thought, that's not really me. Tae-ho raised his weapon to attack Tae-soo. He shouted angrily. "Why, you ask? Shut your mouth and do as we say." He rushed in to attack Tae-soo. He used his shield to block, but because the force was too great, his body was also pushed back.
Tae-soo did nothing, only gritting his teeth and panting. Junho commented, "This guy is really tough." Taehoon asked, "Is he really just a rank 2 awakener? Why is he so strong?" Tae-soo's hand gripped the shield tightly, slamming it onto the ground to create an enveloping golden light. He spoke with a determined voice. I won't easily lose like you bastards want." Junho finally answered Taehoon's question. Well, he probably awakened with quite high attributes. Taehoon walked step by step toward Tae-soo without looking back. But even so, someone who hasn't even adapted to the third awakening stands no chance of winning against us. Tae-soo's eyebrows furrowed tightly together. Taehoon licked his axe, his favorite weapon, his eyes becoming filled with malice. Time to end this here. Junho kindly reminded him, "You remember we aren't allowed to kill him, right?" He replied, "Of course I do." Kang-woo felt puzzled. They can't kill him? What does that mean? His eyes grew deep, silently watching the whole situation. Kang-woo looked toward Tae-soo, secretly hesitating. "I ran over here just out of curiosity, but should I help him?" Taehoon used a condescending tone to remind Tae-soo, "Remember to keep holding that shield up."
This is going to hurt a bit. Kang-woo was startled when he saw the man's weapon. Wait a minute, that is... Kang-woo immediately rushed out from the bushes, standing between the two groups and turning his back to Tae-soo to get a better look at the weapon. Then he firmly asserted, "It's demonic energy. How could these guys possibly have that?" Taehoon looked at him in confusion. "Who are you, just passing by?" Junho exclaimed, "This bastard is really unlucky." Seeing the person in front of him looked familiar, Tae-soo was stunned for a moment. One of the two men opposite them spoke up. "Now that you've seen our faces, don't dream of leaving here safely." Tae-soo then hesitantly called out, "Mr. Kang-woo?" Taehoon stared unblinkingly at Kang-woo and asked Junho, "There's no reason to capture this one alive, right?" Junho replied as if it were obvious. "Yeah, clearly." Tae-soo had regained some composure. "We've already met the quota with those two." Taehoon smiled sinisterly. "Isn't that right? All right then." He held the axe and slowly approached Kang-woo. Then for the first time in a long while, witnessing such a scene, Tae-soo hurriedly warned, "Mr. Kang-woo, run!" Taehoon continued his unfinished sentence. "I should be able to kill and slaughter to my heart's content, right?" He swung the axe with all his might towards Kang-woo. Contrary to his full-force attack, Kang-woo just needed to lightly wave his hand.
He was knocked flying into the distance, to the astonishment of his teammates. Junho couldn't believe his eyes and turned to ask Tae-ho, who was sitting slumped on the ground. "What are you doing? What happened all of a sudden?" He clutched one side of his cheek and turned back. It wasn't me. Something felt very strange. Before Tae-ho could strike a second time, Kang-woo rushed in, attacking relentlessly without missing a single beat. Tae-soo looked utterly astonished. "Kang-woo?" Seeing Tae-ho being beaten so miserably, Junho's team spirit surged. He shouldered his club, charged towards Kang-woo, and roared, "You bastard!" Kang-woo, expressionless, used the authority of the destructive black hole to attack both of them. With one in front and one at the flank, he handled them neatly with no wasted movements, his speed so fast it left only afterimages. Junho was hit and screamed miserably. Tae-ho was even worse off. His face was swollen like a pig's head, so much so that perhaps even his biological mother wouldn't recognize her own son. Kang-woo walked towards him. With one hand, he grabbed his hair and forced him to look up, his voice devoid of any emotion. "Let me ask you one question. Where did you get that demonic energy from?" Although beaten miserably, Tae-ho did not answer immediately, but roared, "You bastard, how do you know about?" Before he could finish, Kang-woo slammed his face hard into the ground. Kang-woo grabbed Han Tae-hoon by the hair and asked again in a gritty voice, "I'm the one asking the questions here. Answer me obediently. I'll ask one more time. Where did you get that demonic energy?" Despite his face being swollen and bruised, he remained stubborn and didn't utter a word. "I can't say." Kang-woo denied it. "No, it's that you don't want to tell me." He had no choice but to use the authority of fear to force him to confess. Sure enough, under the terrible torture, Han Tae-hoon fearfully uttered words. "Guildmaster! The Guildmaster! The Guildmaster has..." Before he could finish his sentence, his teammate screamed, "Shut up! Shut up, Han Tae-hoon! Are you out of your mind?" Because this guy was too noisy and ruining things, Kang-woo struck him. "You stay put right there." Junho took the hit and flew backward. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Kang-woo continued the interrogation. "So you just mentioned the Guildmaster. What is the name of that guild?" Han Tae-hoon replied almost immediately. "Andras. It's the Andras Guild." He slumped to his knees, his whole body trembling. Our Guildmaster organized a ritual and gave me this power." Kang-woo asked curiously, "Ritual? What ritual?" Han Tae-hoon hesitated, finding it hard to speak. That matter. Seeing this, Kang-woo approached, squeezing his cheeks tightly. It seems you haven't learned your lesson yet. Tell me. He continued to be tortured. This time he trembled and uttered word by word. Ritual, ritual, ritual. And then he died in writhing pain. Realizing he couldn't extract any more useful information, Kang-woo clicked his tongue, looking at the corpse, and made a guess. They must have installed a device.
We'll kill the target if they talk about the ritual. Tae-soo cautiously asked, Excuse me, are you Kang-woo? You are Oh Kang-woo, right? Tae-yoon also woke up at this moment. That's right, what's going on? Tae-soo looked excited and happy to meet an acquaintance again. I knew it, the Oh Kang-woo I met before. Then he turned and asked, Are you awake, Tae-yoon?
Immediately asked Kang-woo. But I thought you were at the E-rank gate. Kang-woo calmly replied, I just went there to run some errands. Recalling the scene when they met that day, he asked again to confirm, So you're not a rookie player? He replied, Yeah. Oh, so that's why you needed time to think. Tae-soo finally resolved the question he had had for a long time. He happily reached out to shake hands with Kang-woo. Anyway, thank you. If it weren't for you, we would have died because of those crazy idiots. His large hand grabbed and shook Kang-woo's hand vigorously, creating a somewhat comical scene.
Tae-young stood by the side, blushing with embarrassment and scratching his head. His words of gratitude were stuck in his throat due to shyness, only managing to let out a tiny sound that no one noticed. Witnessing that scene, Tae-soo laughed out loud. Tae-soo continued, But Kang-woo, I didn't expect us to meet again like this, and for you to be such a high-ranking player as well. I will definitely repay this favor. In response, Kang-woo just gave a polite, social smile. He replied, his voice tinged with disdain as he recalled the Andros group. All right, thanks. But those Andros bastards, their reputation isn't exactly glorious anyway. He continued, But I didn't expect them to have someone who can use demonic energy. I must report this immediately and warn the Hwarang squad about this.
Kang-woo asked again when an unfamiliar name reached his ears, the Hwarang squad. Tae-soo immediately began explaining the background knowledge to him. It was a group of players under government management. He added that if they reported to them that the Andras Guild was employing players who used demonic energy, they would investigate immediately. Kang-woo stroked his chin, lost in thought for a moment. Kang-woo spoke up. Is that so? Tae-soo, don't report what happened here right now. Tae-soo looked slightly surprised. Are you planning to... Kang-woo stated his final decision. The Andras Guild. I will handle them myself. Although he couldn't understand his logic, Tae-soo still accepted. If that is your request, I understand. Finally, Kang-woo reluctantly agreed. All right, first of all, forget what happened here. Tae-soo's sudden action of kneeling on one knee startled him. Tae-soo's voice rang out solemnly. I, Kang Tae-soo, will obey your command. I will aid you in your journey and make the Andras Guild pay for what they have done. Kang-woo couldn't help but be astonished. What? Tae-soo continued his train of thought. Punishing their evil deeds with your own hands. That is what you are doing. Ripples of disturbance rose in Kang-woo's heart. What is this old man saying? The aura emanating from Tae-soo was incredibly intense. Heroism found only in movies. Kang-woo immediately rejected that thought in his mind. That's totally not it. Tae-soo continued. I, Tae-soo, really like it. I like movies too. A feeling of uneasiness welled up in Kang-woo. Tae-soo declared with a determined tone. I, Kang Tae-soo, have fallen for your heroism. I must repay you. I want to join this journey with you and repay you along the way. He suddenly fell into a state of confusion. What? His eyes turned towards the excited face of the person opposite him.
Observing Tae-soo's burning spirit, he silently compared him. He was exactly like Balak. Kang-woo was slightly startled when Tae-hyun suddenly bowed deeply and shouted, I want to thank you too, sir. He continued, I know right now I'm just acting as a dokbong, but I will definitely find a way to repay you. Kang-woo could only smile wryly at his action. Kang-woo recalled the previous conversation about the phrase acting as a dokbong. It meant that thieves should shut their mouths and get lost. Those thieves were famous for being poor at both dealing damage and tanking. They continued their explanation. This rem was coined because they wouldn't let us join other parties. He thought to himself, so that's what it means. A large hand hurriedly helped Tae-hyun up.
Tae-soo spoke up. This is our destiny. He burst into laughter and slapped the shoulder of the person standing next to him. If you want to repay us for that day, why don't we form a party now? Standing silently there, Kang-woo could only look at the two of them helplessly and lament inwardly. For whose benefit is this? Tae-hoon was so moved that tears were about to spill, his hands clenching tightly. I am truly grateful, but I can't do anything right now. I was defeated and became the biggest burden to Mr. Tae-soo. Hearing him speak, Tae-soo bit his lips slightly and turned to look at the person beside him. Tae-hoon shouted loudly, his heart swelling with intense determination. I want to become stronger so I can support you two.
See you again. Taehoon laughed heartily, patting his shoulder with praise. Your attitude is truly chivalrous. Your courage to train more to repay others is truly admirable. Standing opposite them, Kangwoo cast a strange look at the two. A helpless thought drifted through his mind. Are these guys out of their minds? Taehoon bowed deeply once again. Well then, I'll be going now. The two beside him quickly waved their hands politely. Witnessing that scene, Kangwoo unconsciously thought, is that so? Psk, having someone owe me isn't bad. He glanced at Tae-soo, who was exchanging words with Taehoon. Take care. Then another thought popped into his head. But the problem now is, what should I do with this bastard?
Kang-woo suddenly spoke up. Uncle Tae-soo. Hearing the call, Tae-soo hurriedly responded. Yes, Mr. Kang-woo. He continued to ask, what level are you? Tae-soo replied, I am level 12. I just went through my second awakening not long ago. He continued to probe. What rank was your initial skill? Tae-soo recounted with an excited tone. My special ability in the first awakening was C rank, so I leveled up by hunting. With a face full of curiosity, Kang-woo asked again, then what is the rank of the special ability in your second awakening? Tae-soo rested his hands on his hips, his tone carrying a bit of pride. My special ability in the second awakening is A rank. He stood there, silently admiring the person in front of him. He thought to himself, this bastard has more potential than I thought. Kang-woo probed again, then why don't you join a guild? You could join any guild you like. Tae-soo closed his eyes and began to explain. I was quite hesitant, not knowing which guild to join. Tss, but now I don't need to join a guild anymore. Kang-woo was quite startled by his answer. Tae-soo clenched his fists, his voice full of determination.
I, the real man Kang Tae-soo, have decided to follow you, Kang-woo. Then he laughed loudly. Kang-woo stood there, his eyes following him, sinking into thought. This is good. He envisioned Tae-soo's path of development in the future. Players who receive a high rank during their second awakening will have the potential to possess even stronger abilities during their third and fourth. A gentle smile blossomed on his lips when he thought of Seiya. Come to think of it, Seiya would likely undergo her second awakening soon too. Then he spoke up. All right, from now on, I'll accept you. This statement made Tae-soo so excited that he shouted out, Thank you, Kang-woo. He held out his phone. Then give me your contact number. If you need my help, I'll come right away. While the two exchanged contact information, he spoke. All right, actually I have a favor to ask. Tae-soo's eyes suddenly flashed with light. Just say it, Kang-woo. Kang-woo felt a bit annoyed and snapped grumpily. Move aside, you're making me tired. After the exchange of contact numbers was complete, he returned the phone to Tae-soo and instructed, in a few days, an acquaintance of mine will finish the basic training. I want you to form a party with that person and level up together. The conversation between the two continued. Can I know that person's class beforehand? Kang-woo replied, her class is a healer. Tae-soo expressed his joy. Then I'm very happy to join her. Damage dealers are quite easy to find, so I'll try to create a really strong team. Kang-woo looked satisfied. Good, then I'll contact you later. Tae-soo asked again, are you going to the Andras Guild now? His expression darkened slightly, his gaze looking towards a distant place. Meanwhile, Junho was struggling in a brutal beating. His body was slammed hard against a tree trunk, emitting painful groans, and a familiar voice spoke up. Awake yet? Kang-woo pinned Junho's neck tightly against the tree, his voice full of menace. I have something to ask you. You'd better not lie. If you understand, then nod.
Seeing him nod, he patted his shoulder lightly. Good. Then Kang-woo asked again, what is your name? He hurriedly replied, I am Kang Junho. He looked satisfied. Very good, Junho. Not long ago you said you needed to capture players alive and bring them back, didn't you? He shrank back, his voice getting smaller and smaller. I don't remember. Without a word of warning, Kang-woo kicked Junho straight in the head, causing him to scream in extreme pain. He grabbed Junho by the hair and yanked him up. How about now? Remember yet? He answered in terror. The reason for capturing them alive is to offer them as tributes. Kang-woo hissed through his teeth. Tributes? That question sent a chill down Junho's spine as his blood-red eyes bore straight into him. Kang-woo threw him aside, thinking to himself, there are more crazy people than I thought. Remembering that the bastard Han Tae-hoon had said something similar, a faint smile appeared on his lips. Kang-woo squeezed Junho's jaw tightly again, his eyes glowing red, in his face revealing a look of wickedness. Junho, I have a favor to ask of you.
A miserable figure dragged a suitcase, walking through a small alley. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Stop right there. Are you Kang Junho? He tightened his grip on the suitcase and replied, It's me. The person opposite shone a light directly into Junho's face and asked, Did you and Taeho go hunting for tributes together? The other person noticed his face was covered in bruises. He asked urgently in surprise, Why did you guys take so long? Junho, what happened to your face? Didn't you just go to a D-rank gate to hunt for tributes? And where is Taeho? Junho's voice stammered, Taeho is dead. The other person's face showed clear confusion. What? He started, hurriedly thrusting the suitcase toward the other man. Just take this tribute and go, please. The other guy was still suspicious and pressed on.
Taeho died in a D-rank dungeon. You think I'd believe that? Junho trembled, holding the suitcase out. It's true, that's just what happened. The other person refused to let him off the hook. What the hell do you mean, that's just what happened? What are you implying? That person reached out to take the suitcase. Among that group of people, there was the presence of a high-ranking player. Junho didn't dare look straight at them, his voice whispering. It is just like that.
Right, it was thanks to Taeho that I barely managed to take down that bastard. I've brought that bastard here as a tribute. The white-haired man sat down, scrutinizing the body inside for a long time. Still breathing. He patted Kang Woo's face gently. The condition isn't bad. Then he shone the light straight into Juno's face. But you seem a bit strange. He covered his face with his hand, his voice sounding a bit guilty. Taeho is dead, so my emotions are a bit complicated. Juno hurriedly stepped back a few paces to let the other person check more easily. The other man spoke up. Complicated, my ass. The fewer people, the better. The white-haired man grabbed the suitcase and stood up. Since you submitted the tribute, we will also receive divine grace. And since Taeho is dead, all the demonic energy goes to you. But, my God, does that mean you didn't use even a bit of that power this time? He used a mocking tone while talking to Juno. The person opposite exclaimed, You bastard Kang Juno, did you kill Taeho with your own hands? He continued to speculate. Maybe it's because you wanted to hog all the good stuff. Juno turned his face away in anger. Shut up, you have the tribute, do whatever you want with it, I'm leaving. The white-haired man didn't understand what was happening, so he called out, Hey, where are you going? He looked at Juno's miserable appearance, looking extremely confused. What's wrong with that bastard?
He asked himself, wondering if it was really because Taeho died that he was so upset. He hadn't realized that Junho's face was now pale and drenched in cold sweat. He remarked, It seems he is more sentimental than I thought. At this moment, from inside the door, one of them dragged a suitcase in. A subordinate just spoke up, but was interrupted by the guildmaster. Guildmaster, you're late. The man respectfully replied, Yes. Then he continued to report. Those guys said they were blocked by a high-ranking player. Taeho also died on the spot. The guildmaster spoke again. What about the tribute? The person below pushed the suitcase forward. Right here. The guildmaster, standing above, ordered, Bring it here quickly. I don't have much time left. The subordinate below opened the suitcase while respectfully obeying. Yes, sir. When the guildmaster picked up Kang Woo and placed him on the altar, everyone chanted in unison, The immortality and indestructibility of the great Andress, the prayer of the great Andress, the power of the great Andress.
The guildmaster thought to himself, everything was going exactly according to plan. Shouts of acclaim echoed throughout the space. Supreme One, please grant us your magnificent power. Taking off his cloak, the guildmaster leaned on his cane, lost in thought. It had been nearly a year since he transformed. His number of followers was steadily increasing. As long as they were players, they would naturally crave immense power, and he could satisfy their thirst with demonic energy. The guildmaster laughed with delight and removed his mask. He said, Now then, let the ritual begin. Dyukin ordered his subordinates, Prepare the magic stones. Below, the subordinates responded in unison, As you command. The chanting grew louder and louder. Great Andress. Dyukin opened the box filled with glittering stones, his mind overflowing with desire. He thought, This thirst for power. He looked at Kang Woo lying motionless with a look of immense satisfaction. The more they craved, the more his body, his heart, and this power would become demonized. Just like this, he would soon become a true demon. Dyukin laughed heartily. Whose turn is it to be blessed today? A subordinate kneeling beside him suddenly spoke up. Originally, it was Kang Junho, but he refused to attend today's ritual.
Dogyeon looked completely baffled. Is that so? It seems no one will be granted grace today. This statement caused the crowd below to start murmuring. What? Then what do we do? The guildmaster's furious voice extinguished all the chatter. Silence! Jogyung spoke in a low voice. If you want to be granted grace, bring the tributes and magic stones here. Those who do not work hard do not deserve grace. The subordinates shrank back, bowing their heads low, and respectfully responded in unison. Yes, sir. The guildmaster continued. Furthermore, without my guidance, you won't even have the chance to receive grace. Since that's the case, these ownerless tributes will belong to me. Dogyeon shouted excitedly. Start the ritual! This event made the atmosphere more lively than ever. Yes, sir. The man slammed his staff onto the ground, shattering the stone and releasing a surging stream of energy. A red magic circle appeared beneath the altar. Jogyung looked at that flow of power and thought happily, with this many magic stones, I'll be able to grant grace a few more times. Excellent. So I will become stronger and stronger by absorbing the demonic energy overflowing from this fissure. A truly magnificent scene appeared. Streams of energy radiated throughout the space, forming a long fissure. Dyokin's face revealed extreme excitement. The ultimate power of demonic energy. I really want to absorb it right here and now. He thought, but absorbing it just like that would be too dangerous. If absorbed without an intermediary, there would only be a path to death. However, when this guy touched Kang Wu, several blue veins immediately bulged clearly on his skin. He thought again, if I let these tributes absorb the demonic energy until they die, and then absorb the blood of those corpses, I can absorb the purest demonic energy, he muttered, just like this. Dyokin channeled the power in his body to sacrifice the person lying there. May the demonic energy swallow you whole, causing you to lose your life. This guy looked at Kang Wu and couldn't help but admire him in his heart. He's enduring it quite well. Is his awakening ability A rank or something? Dyokin's laughter became increasingly ecstatic. The longer they last, the more demonic energy they absorb. Like this, it feels like 5 times, no 10 times, 15 times, this bastard.
He exclaimed, truly an unimaginably powerful tribute. The amount of demonic energy he was absorbing, the amount of demonic energy that I would soon absorb, kept increasing. Dukun witnessed this scene and burst into laughter. Open your eyes and scream miserably. He continued to count silently in his head. 17 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40, 50. Dukun felt that something was wrong. Why does it keep increasing ceaselessly? Dukun started to panic and backed away. Wait a minute, stop, I said stop, please, stop. His actions made the people standing below begin to feel confused and terrified. Dukun screamed in horror, his face changing color. Stop! The source of power was now gradually fading away. He collapsed to the ground, his face pale as a sheet. Dukun trembled, his hands ceaselessly clawing at the ground. No, impossible, this can't be. Kang Wu then slowly sat up, his expression full of emotion. His stats had just increased by 20 points in one go. Dukun could hardly believe what his eyes were seeing. What the he uttered. How did... Kang Wu gave a faint smile. Hey, this ritual thingy, can you do it one more time for me? The smile on his lips became even more radiant as he pointed to his mouth. Just one more time. Dukun sat there, his whole body trembling. No, impossible, no. The scream became increasingly ear-piercing, causing everyone to panic even more. He quickly gathered his energy and rushed towards him. You bastard!
Seeing this, Kang Wu gently leaned sideways to dodge. A battle began with one attacker and one dodger, creating a chaotic scene. He looked at Do-gyun with a provocative gaze. Not bad, huh? The guildmaster, furious, gathered all his power and rushed to attack Kang Wu. A violent collision sound rang out. Do-gyun focused all his energy into one point. The action was repeated, and then a giant energy ball aimed at the same spot again. The guy was utterly astonished to see that Kang Wu had transformed into a different form. Kang Wu had switched to the authority of Iron Wall form. He smirked. Having demonic energy is admittedly convenient. The guildmaster screamed in anger, ordering his subordinates. What are you guys standing there for? Why haven't you attacked him yet? Immediately after, everyone below rushed up simultaneously. Kang Wu began to channel power wrapping around his body. He used his power to condense into a blade in his hand and slashed hard at the person opposite. All those who rushed up fell one by one after Kang Wu's attacks. He dashed swiftly through the crowd. Every strike he dealt made them unable to resist and fall to the ground in pain. A voice rang out, "Move aside, you trash!" Everyone standing around saw a glimmer of opportunity when Do-gyun appeared. Guildmaster, if it's Guildmaster Do-gyun, then... This guy started activating his energy source. His smile grew wider and wider. Look at this, the fire capable of burning even the original vitality, the authority of hellfire. He condensed a massive fireball. Kang Wu stood there stunned for a moment, then covered his mouth and turned away. This action of his made Dyokin even more furious. Even though I don't know how you can use demonic energy, you are far from defeating the authority. Before he could finish his sentence, on Kang Wu's side, an even larger fireball had condensed. Dyokin stared in horror, eyes wide, looking at his fireball. How can this be? Dyokin's whole body trembled, his eyes glared, his voice stuttered. What is that thing? No, this is truly absurd. He stepped back a few paces. Dyokin's eyes revealed extreme panic. Looking at Kang Wu's terrifying smile, he thought, for such a thing to exist, it is truly absurd. It seems impossible to defeat him. Dyokin trembled, slowly extinguishing the fireball in his hand, then knelt in submission under his pressure. Kang Wu spoke up. Why are you suddenly acting up when everything was fine? Dyokin suddenly screamed. It is the incarnation of the great Andras. He was slightly surprised. Hyoki let out a sound. Ah, this guy clasped his hands and bowed repeatedly.
Your servant has been tirelessly waiting for the day of your descent for so long. You are our king, a god, and the incarnation of salvation, the renowned king who will rule this entire realm. Then he looked up joyfully. What are you all doing? Hurry up and bow. Kang Wu pretended that he had truly been sacrificed. He told himself, authority of the sky, should I play along? Dukun looked up excitedly, and Kang Wu burst out laughing. Finally, you recognize that it is I.
I am the great Andress you mentioned, the king of fire, the lord of hell, and the king of 10,000 demons. Dukun bowed his head even more vigorously. King of 10,000 demons, your servant greets the great king of fire. Kang Wu laughed with delight. That's right. Tell your subordinates to get lost. I want to speak with you alone. The conversation between the two began. Kang Wu asked, What is your name? Dukun replied, My name is Cho Dukun. He continued, All right, Cho Dukun, let me ask you a few things. The man's voice became hesitant. Yes, yes, please ask. Then, as if regaining his courage, he said, Great demon Andress. Kang Wu showed clear boredom. Hey, stop it. You already know I'm not Andress. Dukun looked up and asked, Then who are you? He got angry, grabbing the guy by the collar. Shut up. Kang Wu stared at the person opposite him. I don't want to hear a single question, okay? You are only allowed to answer what I ask, understood? Those words made the man tremble uncontrollably. Yes, yes, he growled, his face full of menace. These things, how did you do them? How did you learn to create a fissure using magic from magic stones? Dukun, his limbs trembling, began to explain. I learned how to create a fissure after hearing the sermon. Kang Wu wondered. Sermon?
Sweat poured from the guy's forehead like rain. That's right. One day, a man wearing a demon mask approached me and said that I could achieve eternal life if I followed the demon cult. Kang Wu slapped Dukun straight across the face. You bastard, how could you agree to a stranger's words without knowing what it was? The guy lay sprawled on the ground and explained that it was because he was too strong. He began to recount the whole story. In just an instant, he overwhelmed my guild and told us we had to choose between following his orders or dying. We had no other choice. We had to accept the doctrine and follow his commands. He continued to probe. So where is that masked bastard now? Dukun hurriedly shook his head. I really don't know anything. Since that day, I haven't met him. We receive orders via mail. Kang Wu held his weapon, pointing it at the guy. But why would you risk your life following orders like that? Dukun timidly bowed his head. That is because he is too strong. He sighed, thinking to himself. It's too obvious. They were forced from the start. He continued his train of thought, but under the sweet temptation of demonic energy, he started those rituals on his own early on. Who could that person be? The demon cult. His train of thought continued. It seems it's not a recognized cult yet, but those bastards know how to drive people crazy. I can't underestimate them. Kang Wu gritted his teeth and shouted in order. Open the letter containing the orders. Give it to me. Dukun quickly obeyed his words. Yes, yes. Then he presented the letter. Here. Kang Wu showed a look of suspicion. What? Is there only one? The trembling face of this guy clearly showed sycophancy. That is correct. He nodded. All right, is that so? Kang Wu began to unseal the letter. Let's see. Accept the authority and become a demon, and recruit as many players as possible. At this moment, blue veins on his neck bulged clearly. Kang Wu spoke up. Cho Dukun, are you the only one who was indoctrinated? The person opposite stole a glance and replied, I'm not sure. I haven't met anyone else yet. He propped himself up to stand. Is that so? Then he thought, this bastard can't be the only one. Unless they are idiots, they wouldn't execute this plan and place their trust solely in Cho Dukun, especially since this is their plan to increase their forces. He tightened his grip on Dukun's collar, his voice filled with burning rage. Hey.
These bastards, did they dare to turn this place into hell? I will tell you 3 things. Listen here. First, investigate the demon cult. Second, never perform these rituals again. Grabbed by the collar, Dukun cried while replying, Yes, yes, sir. He continued. Third, keep what happened between us a secret. Remember it well. Kang Wu ground out each word, making Dukun even more terrified, raising his voice. Yes, 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 I understand. Then he chased the guy away. Now get lost. He began to sink into thought. Even if I stop these acts from happening again, the mess caused by the Andress Guild is already exhausting enough. This isn't the first or second time they used these guys as sacrifices. The government forces are paying more attention, and they might catch me right when I start investigating the demon cult's actions. But it is also worth investigating these guys.
He continued his train of thought. I use the power of fear, so I can't let any information leak out. As soon as they achieve their goal, I will withdraw. He let out a sigh. Today was harder than I thought. Then another heavy sigh followed. It's time to rest. At this moment, Kang Wu returned home. He cheerfully called out, Sewa, I'm back! A voice full of surprise rang out. Kang? Kang Wu? He was a bit stunned. What's wrong? Sewa anxiously stepped closer. That's the question I should be asking you. You went into the gate for so long without contacting me at all. You didn't even answer your phone. Kang Wu took out his phone to check. Oh my god. He scratched his head. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Something unexpected happened, but I'm fine. Sewa let out a sigh of relief. I was really worried something bad happened to you. Kang Wu looked at her with eyes full of tenderness.
Thank you for worrying about me. I will definitely contact you next time. Seowa seemed a bit shy. I'll be waiting. Then she turned her back to the kitchen. Now that you're back, I have to go make dinner. Kang-woo, do you want? He replied with an undisguised craving on his face. Kimchi stew, of course. She clearly looked delighted, then gave a gentle smile. Psst, I knew you would want to eat kimchi stew. I'm already stewing kimchi with meat. This made Kang-woo even more excited. He clasped his hands together and laughed loudly. You cook a delicious meal for me every night. Thank you so much. Seowa didn't stand on ceremony. It's nothing. While hunting today, I underwent my second awakening. It's time for me to repay you, Kang-woo. This statement truly astonished him. Huh? He asked. You went through this second awakening? Seowa laughed until her whole body shook. Listen to this, Kang-woo, she proudly declared. It's B rank. I received a special ability called Blessing of Light with this second awakening.
At this moment, he also clapped his hands in response, and a quiet joy rose in her heart. At this rate, if we form a party with Tae-soo, we will be amazing. He thought, a healer with a high-rank special ability and a tanker. If these two combine, we will surely be much stronger than other parties. Kang-woo sat down on the chair and asked, Soa, has any guild invited you yet? Soa turned away, smiling slightly to herself. Quite a lot, actually. He continued asking, So which guild do you plan to join? She lowered her head, looking shy. Actually, I don't intend to join any guild. Instead, I want to help you, Kang-woo. Sitting on the chair, Kang-woo silently exclaimed in his heart, She really is an angel. He spoke up. However, it is true that you have awakened with a high-rank special ability, Soa, but I don't think you should join me. These words made Soa's hands freeze. Kang-woo continued to explain further, speaking more clearly.
Right now, you won't be of any help to me. Pardon? She looked slightly hurt, her face lowering. I understand. Kang-woo looked at her with eyes full of guilt. He shook his head and thought, maybe later, but not now. I am already much stronger than those of the same level. If I form a party now, I won't be able to gather much experience or participate in any major battles. To train myself properly, I need to invite people of the same rank. Kang-woo suddenly spoke up. I know a person with an A-rank special ability. I think you should form a party with that person now and level up while gathering combat experience. This is what's important for you. While cooking and answering, Seowa's face flushed slightly. Okay. He continued.
When you gather enough experience, we can form a party and try entering a higher-ranked gate. This statement surprised Seowa greatly. She smiled happily. Okay, I will form a party with you. Kang-woo continued the conversation. Both of us have high-rank abilities, so we will be able to level up quickly. The smile on Seowa's lips became even more radiant. Yes, I want to level up really fast to join you. Kang-woo comforted her. It won't be long. Until then, I will support you whenever you need. That made Seowa feel incredibly warm, and she replied, Thank you, Kang-woo. He sat there, quietly looking at her and thinking, That's right, this is an investment. Then he continued to ponder, So when should I level up Seowa and Tae-soo? Just then, Seowa brought out a steaming pot of stew. Here, the kimchi stew is ready. Kang-woo's eyes lit up. Kimchi stew. He excitedly admired the attractive, bright red stew in front of him. Then thank you for the meal. Seowa brought out another pot, while using tongs to pick up the food inside. Wait, Kang-woo, today we eat this together too. Kang-woo's eyes were now even brighter than before. This is instant noodles. In his eyes now, the pot of stew was like a sacred halo shining in the middle of the room. Kang-woo's hands started trembling as he reached for the chopsticks. Demon cult, those bastards. I don't know who you are, but I will protect this world along with my noodles and save this world with my kimchi stew. No matter what happened, the next morning, at the Player Support Center, the C-ranked player ID will be sent tomorrow. Kang-woo asked, Can't I get it today? He only received one answer. That's correct. The girl explained. For rank C and above, a magic identification code must be added to the card, so it cannot be issued immediately. She patiently explained until Kang-woo understood. And after leaving the center, he fell into deep thought. Seowa said it would take about a day, but it's still too inconvenient. Kang-woo let out a sigh. Now that I realized, since returning to Earth, I haven't had a single day of rest.
It really is so exhausting. I haven't even been able to do anything about the demon cult yet. I should take this opportunity to rest, but what should I do while resting? He thought, before I was dragged down the hell, I didn't have much money, so I killed time by looking up hot news online and reading comic books. He glanced at his phone and then turned off the screen. Let's not do those things anymore. Then he looked up with eyes full of determination. I'm going to do things differently than 10,000 years ago, so I worked so hard to return to Earth, so I must enjoy it. Let's see. Then he glanced to the side. Kang-woo walked into an internet cafe and found a seat. It looks so strange. Is this a PC game room? The chair is so soft. Then he looked at the screen. Oh, what is this? I can even order food? Is this paradise? He clicked on the image of a bowl of noodles on the screen.
Great, they say eating noodles at an internet cafe is the best. As for the game,
Kang-woo expressed immense joy. I have to play the most popular game. It looks like there's an event going on too. He sank into a stream of endless thoughts. Support, tanker, having to form a 5-person party with different roles. It's almost exactly like real life. So my role will be the one who kills enemies in a flash and the one who causes chaos on the battlefield. Or maybe even a troll. He spoke with a decisive voice. All right, I choose you. The sound from the computer rang out. The game begins. Welcome to League of Legends. Kang-woo's eyes lit up. So this is how you play. I get gold every time I kill a monster. Oh, a newbie? In the game, he was being terribly scolded. Kang-woo thought to himself, I should teach them a lesson. Suddenly, a staff member's voice came from the side. Your egg ramen is ready. His eyes still glued to the chat log insulting him. He replied to the staff member, yes, just leave it here. The staff member placed the bowl of ramen on the table and said cheerfully, yes, enjoy your meal. Kang-woo slurped the noodles while staring intently at the screen. It smells so good. He enjoyed the bowl of ramen happily. It's really delicious. Then he picked up a piece of pickled radish. And there's pickled radish too. Kang-woo's eyes brightened, his face showing clear excitement. It's so good. Pickled radish with ramen is truly the perfect combo. He said, I'll eat this again next time. An energy drink to quench the thirst too. This is truly paradise. A scream from a player rang out from the screen, attracting his attention. What's happening?
I died? Kang-woo was surprised. Behind him, a piercing scream rang out. You son of a bitch, you bastard, appearing right when I was about to reach bronze 4. Wiping a streak of soup from his mouth, Kang-woo turned his head around. Hey, who's screaming like that? A red-haired girl stood looming behind him, her face filled with rage. Who are you? What are you looking at? I'm in a bad mood. Look the other way. Her eyes were glued to his screen. Huh? What is this? What a coincidence. I don't know if this is good luck or bad luck. The girl moved closer to Kang-woo, her tone dripping with sarcasm. You're actually eating instant noodles with egg right in the middle of a match? Seriously? She unleashed a threat. Get lost while I'm still being nice, you bastard. Kang-woo was somewhat confused and asked back, What are you talking about? Who are you? The girl's anger flared up even more intensely. What? What do you mean, you damn game thrower? Then she stepped forward, intending to grab him, but was momentarily startled when her hand grasped nothing but air.
Kang-woo blocked her hand, full of confusion, and asked, Why are you suddenly attacking me? Stop bullying innocent people. Suddenly, the girl's hand lashed out again, forcing him to lean back to dodge. Once again, her arm missed the target. She looked at Kang-woo and thought to herself, What is wrong with this bastard? Then she poured all her strength into attacking one more time. He seriously dodged the lunge from his opponent. Just like that, one attacked, the other defended. The girl's anger seemed to have reached its peak, causing her to unleash a barrage of strikes. Kang-woo observed while dodging. The girl's eyes glared, and then she clenched her fist tightly. A surge of power flowed into her arm. She spoke up, her tone interrogative. You, who are you? Were you sent by the Mir Guild? The red-haired girl standing opposite him asked probingly, her hands maintaining a defensive stance. Kang-woo witnessed this action and thought, The Mir Guild is one of the 5 great guilds. He spoke up. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't belong to any guild. She clenched her hands tight.
You dare lie to me? Someone like you doesn't belong to any guild? Kang-woo was a bit awkward. Was I supposed to be in a guild? So which guild do you belong to? The girl was full of confidence, her lips curling up slightly. Which guild do I belong to? My guild is one of the top 5 guilds, the most notorious guild, Red. Then she suddenly stopped, thinking to herself, Damn it, I was supposed to keep that a secret. I got too excited. Calm down. Kang-woo didn't care at all. He walked straight to the counter to pay. Please give me the bill. The waiter also gave a confused smile. Yes. The girl stood there furious at being ignored and shouted, Where are you going? I'm talking to you. Kang-woo sighed and turned back, his face looking a bit provocative. So you found out. The girl boiled with anger. That disappointed look of yours makes my blood boil. She approached him. Hey, you, stop joking around and answer properly. I've never heard of an A-rank player not joining any guild. He hurriedly held out a card. Here. The girl was stunned. Rank? She stepped back, as if she couldn't believe the truth. Are you really a rookie? Kang-woo nodded slightly, putting the card into his pocket. That's right, so behave yourself, he added. I almost died, you know. She thought to herself, What? If he's really a newbie, I should have been able to beat him. Is that really a D-rank skill? Kang-woo turned his back and left.
He spoke in a somewhat lazy tone. You're none talking, right? I'm leaving. The staff member bowed respectfully. Have a nice day. Only the girl was left standing there forlornly. She intended to call out after him, but the sound was stuck in her throat. She thought, that bastard, could it be that he? By this time, he had walked out of the shop, his face somewhat pensive, seemingly calculating something. I've lost all my powers, so I'm too weak right now, but I still possess the combat reflexes from years of personal experience. He continued his train of thought. However, I didn't think I would meet someone of the same level so soon, especially that last move. In an instant, she disappeared from my field of vision.
Kang Wu's eyes looked as if he had seen through a power beyond his expectations. Who exactly is she? He sighed in relief for having escaped the recent situation. Suddenly, he felt something from below. In a room, a hand gently pulled the door open. That figure kicked off the wall, deftly slipping through the small heli. Her eyes lit up. She opened her phone and thought, all right, there's no one around, and this much white noise should be enough. Her fingers swiped across the phone screen, and a voice rang out from the other end. Yes, Miss Chyanju, this is the Red Rose strategy team. She spoke up.
Connect me to HR. The other end responded respectfully. Yes. A voice rang out. Yes, this is the HR team leader of Red Rose. She spoke up. Uncle Hyunggu. The HR staff on the other end asked in a warm voice. What is it, Guildmaster Chyanju? On this side, her eyes gleamed as she gave the order. Hey, Hyunggu, I need you to investigate something important. Hyunggu wondered. Do you mean the cultists? Yeonju clenched her fist. Maybe, maybe not. He seems to be hiding his identity, looking very suspicious. She continued. I checked the player ID he possesses. His name is Oh Kong-woo, and it states that he is an F-rank player. Hyunggu responded. An F-rank player. That means he wouldn't have recorded mana parameters, which makes forging it much easier, an F-rank card. But if he were a worshipper of the demon cult, he would go around killing players of the same rank. Yeonju hurriedly retorted. No, his level isn't there. He is skilled enough to predict my moves. On the other end of the line, Hyunggu said, about that, even if you weren't going all out, no cultist has enough skill to react in time to your movements.
His words still lingered in her mind. That's right, I investigated the demon cult very deeply, but no one could match my level. Definitely not those bastards. Those reflexes, could he be? While the person on the other end of the line was still rambling on, the memory of the fight with Kang Wu suddenly rushed back into her mind. Based on his skill level, he might be a manager or a leader. Does that mean you think the demon cult is starting to get serious? With a face etched with fury, Yeonju took her anger out on the wall with a thunderous punch. We can't ignore that possibility. Find more information about him immediately. Huigu replied with a very respectful tone. Yes, understood. She abruptly ended the call right after. Yeonju fell silent in her own private thoughts. Whether he was part of the demon cult or not was still unclear, but one thing was certain, the button resting in the palm of her hand. Meanwhile, Kang Wu's eyes were glued to the shirt that was missing a button. My button got torn off. I guess I didn't completely avoid it. Although they were in different places, their minds drifted into thought at the same time. That bastard is stronger than me. Both held the same thought about the other, and a source of power seemed to be rising from deep within them. As for Yeonju, she unconsciously clenched her fist tight.
If he really is rank D and he can fight like that simply due to talent, then I won't be able to. Meanwhile, at Kong Wu's location, glancing at the sign of the internet cafe, he murmured softly, I thought I'd finally get some rest, but I guess I'll have to go to the C-rank gate as soon as I get my player ID tomorrow. Kong Wu thought to himself, as long as that guy exists, there's no guarantee I can maintain my position as a high-ranking player. To prepare for the future, I must become even stronger. Back at the internet cafe, Yeonju's eyes sought out the seat where Kong Wu had been sitting. Her hand clenched tight as her gaze swept across the screen, a thought flashing through her mind. The flame of fury in Yeonju's heart burned more intensely with every passing moment. Oh, Kong Wu, you son of a bitch, I will definitely find you and kill you. The button in her hand was crushed into dust. As for Kong Wu, a sudden shiver ran down his spine. What the hell? I suddenly feel the creeps. Kong Wu was now standing right in front of the warp gate. Let's see, Mok Dong Gate rank C, he thought. There's space in here. Whatever it is, I need to hunt quickly. A sudden sound broke the silence. Wait, it was the staff member on guard duty at the gate. You can only enter if you are rank C and in a party of 5. Kong Wu couldn't help but be a little surprised. Huh? Why? The staff member explained hurriedly. The Buffalo boss has appeared inside the dungeon. Solo players are banned whenever the boss appears. He replied. Ah, I see. He thought to himself.
The boss appeared right as I got the permit. How lucky. Immediately, the people around started whispering and discussing. Today is the day the boss appears? What do you want to do? Are you crazy? How can we defeat the boss? Then I guess we should split into parties today. Kang Wu observed the crowd and silently pondered. A C-rank gate is truly different. The weapons are much better, and the control is tighter too. This is the biggest problem. If I want to monopolize the dungeon, I have to enter alone. What should I do? Amidst the crowd, someone raised their voice excitedly. All right, let's go take the leader's head. We'll scoop up that 1 million won. Standing from the outside, Kang Wu seemed to be drawn in this direction. Oh ho! The others standing nearby also enthusiastically responded. Yeah. He turned his gaze back to the group discussing behind him. What should we do? Honestly, I'm not very confident. Kang Lu quietly observed them and silently imagined. Uneasiness towards the words, just looking at it makes me scared. Recklessness towards that person's words, we're probably done for. Fear towards the words, or should we just go for it? Hesitation mixed with anticipation. As that thought crossed his mind, a cunning smile flashed across Kang Lu's face.
Then adding a bit of madness would be great. The power under his control began to gather in the palm of his hand. I don't need to do it like those hobgoblins last time, usually humans.
Up ahead, the crowd continued their lively discussion. 1 million won is truly a large amount, and it's been quite a while since I reached rank D. Honestly, orcs are too strong for us. Kangmu raised his hand, transmitting an invisible stream of energy into the other person's shoulder. It just needed a little push, just a tiny bit. He utilized the power of frenzy and overwhelming confidence. That alone was enough to spread his influence over them.
The blond man, appearing to be controlled by some unseen force, suddenly spoke up. "Hey, why are we always like this?" Confusion began to spread through the crowd. "What's wrong with you?" Words began to pour from his mouth. Even back in middle school and high school, we were beaten by bullies, and we could only imagine tearing them apart in our heads. It was truly hell. But then the gates opened, and I thought my dream had come true. Finally, I had power. I didn't have to grovel like a bug anymore. That's what I thought. But what is this? Why are we being so cowardly because of those monsters? His voice grew louder and louder, filled with indignant rage. The person standing next to him looked at him with terror. "What is it? What's wrong? You're acting a bit strange today." Then he, too, seemed to gradually lose his self-control. "You're right. Why are we always so afraid? We just need to kill them all." The person standing behind also started screaming. "Yeah, I won't forgive those bastards who killed my younger sibling. Fuck, I'll kill them all. I will destroy them all and claim the reward for everything I've had to endure. That's right, we can't just keep loitering around these low-level dungeons." Those words acted like fuel to the fire, causing their captain to fly into a rage and roar as well. "That's right, I'm sick and tired of living like this."
Monster or not, I will make those who look down on me kneel before me. The rest of them shouted in unison with determination. "I will kill all these monsters. I can't take it anymore. Damn it. So what if we die? Destroy them. Let's behead the boss." The staff member guarding the gate looked visibly confused. What's wrong with them? Why are they screaming all of a sudden? The blonde guy held up his card and shouted, "Hey, open the gate. Hurry up." The entire crowd began to rush towards the teleportation gate. "Let's kill the boss. Open the gate. Let's go." The staff member could only watch in shock as they poured inside. What is wrong with them? I've never seen anything like this. He immediately grabbed his walkie-talkie to report the situation. "This is Rank C Gate. Players are gathering in large numbers here, requesting internal affairs to assess the situation." Engrossed in reporting, the staff member remained unaware of a figure slipping quickly past his back. Kangwu jumped in with amusement. "Good, very good. It truly is a beautiful sight when everyone is united." From outside, the defiant cheers still echoed. "Destroy them! Behead the boss!" He smirked. "Of course, I'll be taking all the rewards." With surging excitement, Kangwu began to head deeper into the gate. As soon as he touched the ground, a desolate desert landscape appeared before his eyes. Kangwu muttered to himself as he walked. Completely different from the swamp terrain before. It's wide, too wide. He looked into the distance and thought, finding the boss will be quite difficult in this vast space. Do I need to use the authority of the sky? His gaze shifted to the notification bar as he spoke. Now that I realize it, it seems I can use this now, right? Let's see. The demonic energy stat is over 50, so it should work. Kangwu glanced at the status window. Strength 23, agility 21, vitality 20, magic 0, demonic energy converted stat 53, intelligence 11. All right.
So should I use it? He began climbing a steep cliff nearby, crossing over a few mountains. Kangwu landed softly at a spot and began deploying his skill. Authority of Azeroth. Observation. Sharp eyes began scanning every corner of the desert. Information overload. It's too much. Let's see. Over there. He focused his observation and noticed the movement of a massive boss monster. Great, there it is. Kangwu hurriedly wiped away the beads of sweat. But beside the boss, there were many minions. His eyes looked excitedly toward the group of people from before. Oh, they are pouring in. Good. Below, the noisy group from earlier was joyfully advancing. "Let's go for the fourth awakening. Let's go behead the boss," the blond man shouted loudly. Standing from high above, Kangwu began to calculate. I can use those guys. He threw himself down from the steep cliff. Next, he quickly moved to a new location. I'll use those players to deal with the minions, and I'll handle the boss. Kangwu looked around in all directions, but first I have to lure them. So now, let the attack begin. The skill started to be deployed from the back of his hand.
From his hand, a stream of pitch-black energy surged out, condensing into the shape of a longsword. Kangwu skillfully twirled the sword with both hands. Immediately after, he swung his arm, delivering a powerful downward slash as a blood-red light flashed in the depths of his eyes. The slash struck straight at the boss monster, just as a system notification bar appeared. Rank C Dungeon Boss Buffalo Leader has been defeated. Experience points will be awarded. You made the greatest contribution to defeating the boss. Your experience reward will be tripled. You have leveled up 4 times. Kangwu was stunned to the point of freezing, his mouth agape. Huh? One hit and it's dead already? He
He looked down at the boss monster's corpse with an expression that couldn't hide his surprise. Is that the boss? Kangwoo looked at the notification bar with a confused expression. The data window said so, but why is the boss of a rank C gate so weak? He thought, no, it's not weak. The information stated it was a suitable boss for a rank C gate. It's just that I am much stronger than I thought. I intended to hunt as carefully as possible. Kangwoo slowly rolled up his sleeves. But with this amount of power. As he approached the mob of monsters, a sharp scythe appeared in his hand and a smirk appeared on his lips. I should change the plan. The mob of monsters roared and rushed toward him in a wave. Kangwoo stood still for a moment, then a faint smile blossomed on his lips. A demonic glint flashed in his eyes. Since it's come to this, I'll slice you all in half in one go. Kangwoo nimbly glided through the monster horde, leaving behind a perfect horizontal slash across their bodies.
He quickly retracted his blade. At that moment, a mysterious black streak appeared on the body of each monster. Their cuts closed up rapidly, but it looked as if a fire was burning fiercely from within. From inside the monsters' bodies, countless long blades began to pierce outwards, causing their bodies to swell up into large bubbles. The scene of slaughter unfolding before his eyes made Kangwoo feel incredibly satisfied as he witnessed pools of blood splashing from the herd of monsters. A radiant smile blossomed on his lips, and joy surged in his heart. A single attack shattering the authority of the blades inside them. With the amount of demonic energy he had right now, it was no problem at all. The system notification board appeared again. You have successfully exterminated a herd of Jarnax. You have leveled up twice. You have obtained the skill, Jarnax Earth Sword.
Skills considered as proper skills are indeed more effective. Kangwoo couldn't help but be stunned witnessing the skill. He thought, skills? I heard players can obtain them when using enough attribute power. Kangwoo suddenly spoke up, drawing the entire attention of the monster horde toward him. All right then, he let a drop of fresh blood fall from his fingertip. Shall we test it out? As soon as the blood touched the ground, it instantly transformed into a barrier. The monsters were momentarily terrified, hurriedly backing away a few steps, no longer daring to charge forward. Beneath their feet, magic circles suddenly appeared, and a sharp blade thrust upward. The scene terrified them into fleeing, but as they tried to escape, countless blades appeared from the air, pursuing them closely. Then, blade after blade slashed down onto the monsters' bodies, tearing them into 100 pieces. Ending the bloody massacre, Kangwoo moved to where the corpses lay scattered. It really is more effective. Well then, time to enjoy the fruits of my labor. He began to use the power of predation on the corpses. Kangwoo walked leisurely past, enjoying the sight of purple entities devouring the monster horde. Suddenly, a system notification rang out. Demonic energy has increased by 2. A feeling of both confusion and boredom washed over him. Only 2? Kangwoo quietly sank into thought. Is it because my demonic energy stat has already reached 50? My demonic energy only went up by 2, even after devouring this whole bunch. So this is what they meant by stats becoming harder to increase over time. My leveling speed is still quite decent. Just 4 more levels until my 4th awakening. I should hunt a bit more before heading back. At the same time, the group from earlier was complaining wearily. Hey, where's the boss? I thought we were going big this time.
Can't see it at all. Are you sure the government didn't calculate it wrong? Forget the boss, we don't even see any minions. That's right, all we've seen so far are a few dogs running away strangely. Can't even find the boss's corpse. Yeah, there are traces, but the body is nowhere to be seen. A sense of weariness began to take over them. Let's go back. Yeah, that's the best option. Let's go just a bit further. Damn it, this isn't working. How could they get the calculation wrong? We should go file a complaint or something. Hiding behind a rocky outcrop, Kangwoo let out a sigh of relief with satisfaction. Thank goodness, it seems the authority of rage is still effective. I should quietly join the group and use them to leave this place. The ones in the lead kept whining incessantly. Why is today so frustrating? Is today some special occasion? Those bastards announced there was a boss, telling us to get ready. In their rage, everyone started streaming out of the gate. They turned to vent their anger on the gatekeeper staff.
How could you guys miscalculate the time like that? If I had known this, I wouldn't have taken time off work. How are you going to compensate us, huh? Standing from the back, he silently observed and pondered. Very good. Just keep it up like this. Suddenly, a loud shout rang out. Silence! The sound made Kangwoo startle and pay attention. He immediately looked straight ahead and saw a group of people blocking the way. The crowd began to whisper again. What is it? The Hwarong Squad? Why is the Hwarong Squad here? Do they have some emergency? No matter how angry you are, don't risk your life like that. Why are there so many of them? What's going on? I just want to go home quickly. This is such a waste of time. Look! The appearance of a white-haired girl heading towards the gate left everyone feeling bewildered. Isn't that the captain of the 3rd Hwarong Squad? Baekwayan? Ah, that's right.
By then, the person had drawn closer. It was none other than Baek Hwa-yan, the captain of the 3rd Hwarang Squad. She stepped forward and slammed her sword sheath hard onto the ground. "Silence! We have something to say to the players." She cast a sharp glare. Recently, we received information about an irregular player at the rank D gate. The term irregular player refers to individuals possessing power far beyond the normal threshold. Therefore, we will be conducting random checks on players who are at or above the 3rd awakening stage. We ask for everyone's active cooperation. The crowd murmured once again, "An irregular player? Ah, I've heard rumors about that too." At that moment, Kang Woo was hiding within the crowd. He pouted and glanced up. Looking for an irregular player? Right then, the staff began inspecting people one by one. "Wait a moment, please. Present your player ID." Kang Woo looked at her and thought to himself. A fleeting sense of panic rose within him. They can't possibly find me, right? Hwa-yan raised her voice, trying to reassure the crowd. "Don't worry, the inspection process won't be complicated. There are a few players on our list, but today we will only conduct a preliminary investigation and then leave." Kang Woo stood still, his heart filled with confusion. "I did deal with some trash today. Surely they aren't talking about me." He cautiously scanned his surroundings. If it really is me, it would be very dangerous to resist them right now. There are too many people here, so I can't escape, especially with that woman named Baek Hwa-yan. One look and I can tell she's difficult to deal with. A cold, killing intent flashed in his eyes. If possible, I want to retreat quietly. How do I get out of here? Suddenly, a voice rang out beside his ear. "Please present your player ID." Hwa-yan extended her hand right in front of him. "Did you lose your card?" Kang Woo was slightly flustered and hurriedly spoke. Wait a moment." He then handed over the card. "Here," he whispered to himself to calm down. "Am I worrying too much?" Seeing her frown slightly, Kang Woo inwardly sighed in relief. It seems I haven't been discovered. He tried to keep his face completely calm. But from now on, I should be more careful. The irregular player has started to move. Should I extract more information from her? Kang Woo spoke up. "Thank you for checking it yourself." Hwa-yan took the card and began examining it meticulously. "I don't feel at ease sitting still and sending others to do it." He thought, "What a cool woman."
The words coming from your mouth are truly admirable. Her eyes gleamed with sternness as she carefully scrutinized the ID card. "It seems there have been many chaotic players lately." "That is correct, which is why we conduct random checks like this." Having finished the inspection, Kyungyan returned the card to Kang Woo. "I have finished verifying." He smiled and reached out to receive it. "Ah yes, thank you for passing me." Hearing her voice, Kang Woo's expression suddenly darkened. Hunting monsters is enough to make a living. It is terrifying that people would kill each other just for money. He exerted force to pull the card back, his mouth still playing along with her words. "I suppose so. Money is very scary."
A look of satisfaction was evident in his eyes. "Exactly, I think so too." However, the calculations in Kang Woo's mind were completely the opposite. Lies. They already know the chaotic players aren't targeting money. The government is targeting the demon cult too. Hwa-yan turned her face to the side. "Then, goodbye." He suddenly raised his voice. "Could you tell me which chaotic players everyone is targeting? If I see them, I'll report them to the organization." Hwa-yan smiled gently and nodded slightly. "Thank you for your offer, but please leave that to us. Protecting players is our duty." Kang Woo also responded with a polite smile. "All right." Hwa-yan offered him some advice. "It seems you haven't been rank C for long. I understand your feeling of wanting to enter higher ranked gates, but it would be safer for you to level up little by little in that rank D gate." Kang Woo nodded in agreement. "Ah, I understand. Thank you." Hwa-yan smiled brightly. "It's rare to find a good person like you these days. I hope to see more players like you in the future." Kang Woo slightly curled his lips and thought to himself, "If there were more people like me, it would be very troublesome." Then he gave a forced smile. "Thank you." He watched her receding figure and pondered. "Is it a secret investigation? I already know the government is investigating those who worship devils, so let's go home." Kang Woo took out his phone and made a call. "Ah, Tae-soo, want to meet up?" A few days later, he arrived at a cafe to meet Tae-soo, who was eagerly approaching him. "Nice to meet you." Then he extended his hand toward Seiya. "Are you the healer he keeps mentioning?" Seiya looked a bit flustered. She instinctively took a step back. Yes." Then she gave a forced smile and shook Tae-soo's hand. "Nice to meet you."
"I am Han Seowa," he laughed heartily. "That's beautiful, Kang Woo." Kang Woo hurriedly interrupted him. "Stop looking." He sat down, forcing a smile, his face clearly showing his awkwardness. "Anyway, Tae-soo, as I said, I want to ask you to take Seowa hunting in the ranked gates." Tae-soo happily nodded in agreement immediately. "Sure, I would usually request that anyway. A healer with a B-ranked attribute. Does my sister-in-law's attribute only have healing?" Seowa's face suddenly flushed red, her voice stammering. "Sister-in-law?" Sitting right next to her, Kang Woo also stole a glance at her, his face looking slightly embarrassed.
Witnessing the awkwardness of them both, Taesu laughed even louder. No need to be shy. Tell me the details of your attribute. Seowa seemed to startle, her body freezing up before she replied. Yes, she explained. My attribute is called Blessing of Light. Besides healing, I can use buffs to increase strength, health, and agility. Taesu couldn't help but be surprised by the power she possessed.
So you can heal and buff at the same time? Seiya replied with a shy smile. Yes, although not strong, I can also use combat skills. Taesu's eyes lit up with surprise as he looked at her. That's amazing! The sudden remark came while Kong-woo was drinking water, making him look at the person opposite him in bewilderment. Taesu turned to him with excitement. A healer who can buff and deal damage is very rare. Even major guilds like Hanel would accept my sister-in-law immediately. Seiya's face was still flushed, her voice slightly timid. Thank you, Brother Taesu. Kong-woo sat silently, a feeling of injustice rising in his heart. Is it to that extent? Seiya flashed a radiant smile. But right now, I don't want to join any guild. Her gentle smile made it impossible for Kong-woo to take his eyes off her. He thought, sister-in-law? I won't deny it. Taesu also laughed along with her. Me neither. He picked up his water glass and downed it in one go, his voice booming. Because from now on, I want to leave a mark on player history together with my brother Kong-woo here.
Kang-woo could only cast a helpless look. That wasn't beer. Draining the glass of water, Taesu's face was filled with satisfaction. Hot Americano really is the best, isn't it, brother? Kang-woo looked at Taesu with his belief. Do you think you're drinking soup or something? He spoke up to probe. So have you thought of anyone else to form a full party? Without hesitation, Taesu replied with an extremely confident tone. Of course, I found 2 people who are very good. I heard they just finished their second awakening. They're so talented that I always wonder why they haven't joined a guild yet. I'm sure you'll like them. I'm a good judge of character. Kang-woo pouted slightly, his eyes gleaming with scrutiny. Good judge of character, huh? Hearing that, Taesu couldn't help but be startled. He stammered, There were times I made mistakes, but generally it's still good. He began a long lecture. I met them when I first started hunting goblins. They are reliable people. If it's okay, I'll introduce them to you tomorrow before the hunt. Kang-woo nodded in agreement. That works. Then he turned to the person sitting next to him and asked, What do you think, Seiya? She was slightly startled before replying. If it's a friend introduced by Mr. Kang-woo, then of course it's fine. Seiya smiled gently. I have to level up quickly so I can go with Mr. Kang-woo too. Kang-woo blushed slightly, his voice somewhat awkward. Take your time. Your safety is the most important thing.
Taesu looked at the two of them with a suggestive gaze. So sweet. How cute, brother. Kong-woo immediately switched to a different tone. Stop staring. Taesu continued. Let's meet in West Achan tomorrow. I'll send you the address later. Taesu's words surprised Kong-woo. Isn't there a D-rank gate nearby? Why go there? Taesu hurriedly explained. Didn't that gate have quite a few accidents recently? So this time I want to switch the target to ogres at the West Achan gate instead of lizardmen. At this, Kong-woo felt extremely surprised. A rookie fighting an ogre? Taesu replied, Yeah, they are stronger, so we'll level up more, and they're easier to hunt too, since we don't have to stay quiet like in the swamp. Taesu's words made Kong-woo feel admiring. Good idea, he thought to himself. He's quite smart. A subordinate like this is just too good. Having said that, Kong-woo stood up from his seat. Yeah, see you tomorrow then. Taesu watched his actions full of curiosity. Are you leaving now? Kong-woo hurriedly replied, Yeah, I have some things to do today. Taesu pouted. Ah, what is it? He glanced at the bulging muscles on his arm and smiled slightly. Leveling up. At the same time, deep inside the gate, Kong-woo was fiercely fighting a mob of monsters. He glanced at the monsters and pondered. My current level is 29, just one step away from the 4th awakening. The power within him activated, his eyes burning as he looked straight ahead, his voice full of excitement. Well then, let's get started. Authority of observation. Countless red lights began to interweave across the space, forming a giant net sweeping through the monsters. First, those 8, moving at godlike speed, the blade in his hand drew a horizontal line across the mob. A spray of fresh blood burst from their necks, creating a clean cut that left them no time to react. After neatly dealing with the monsters there, with a hint of disgust, he flicked the blade hard to remove the remaining blood. How many more do I have to hunt? A strange scent suddenly hit his nose, forcing him to raise his guard. This smell. Blood. It's the smell of human blood. Usually, the smell of human blood was normal in hunting grounds, but a smell this heavy must mean a massacre of 5 or 6 people. A party of C-rank players slaughtered in an instant, even without a boss? Without hesitation, Kong-woo immediately rushed towards the source of the thick, bloody scent. Something like this.
It was most likely caused by irregular players. Found them. His footsteps paused as he witnessed the bodies lying scattered on the ground. Kang-woo immediately jumped down to examine the actual situation. They're all dead. The demon cult wouldn't kill players because they need living sacrifices. Then who is it? Since the scent of blood hasn't spread for long, he pondered. The culprit is still around here. Who caused this?
Suddenly, a glint of horror flashed in his eyes as he glanced to the right. Ah, a set of sharp fangs was sinking deep into a human body. A hellbeast, a hellhound. This unexpected presence left Kang Wu slightly stunned. Why is a hellhound here? Before him now was a monster of superior size, growling ferociously. Why on earth is a hellhound here? The creature quickly attacked, its massive mouth gaping wide towards him. Immediately, Kang Wu entered a combat stance, channeling his power to face it. Tsk! He swung a powerful blade strike at it, knocking its body hard to the side. Kang Wu had to struggle to dodge the attacks while facing such a gigantic creature. It's strong, truly a hellhound. Just then, the monster suddenly opened its mouth wide. A fireball began to condense inside, immediately capturing Kang Wu's attention. The fireball expanded gradually and was shot straight towards him. An earth-shattering explosion rang out, brutally destroying everything in sight. The monster roared and looked up high. From amidst the ruins, Kang Wu suddenly leaped up, a battle plan quickly forming in his mind. If I can't use a sword, how about this? In Kang Wu's palm, a stream of energy began to condense, the authority of Black Spear. A long spear slowly materialized in his hand. He spun it around a few times and got into a ready stance. In the sky, a blue light flashed, and the spear from his hand plunged down like a meteor. The spear plunged deep into the body of the monster below, causing it to howl in pain. Then he gently landed safely from midair. Kang Wu let out a sigh of relief. But before he could finish speaking, he suddenly realized, "Damn it, I accidentally agitated it even more." The monster began to struggle up and frantically charged straight at him. He focused strength into his legs, stomped hard on the ground, and vaulted high into the air. He had to create an opening. Kang Wu aimed his foot straight at the monster, delivering a kick to its mouth before landing. Right now, a stream of dark energy condensed on his hand, the authority of earthquake. Kang Wu pressed his hand onto the ground, triggering a violent tremor. Beneath the monster's feet, the ground began to crack, forming a bottomless abyss. He leaped into the air, his hand once again gathering dark energy as he rushed straight at the confused monster below. In Kang Wu's hand, a sharp sword appeared. Then he thrust the sword straight down into the monster's head, making it scream in horror. Its violent struggling nearly caused him to lose his balance.
The monster clenched its fangs tight, its tail beginning to thrash madly at everything around it. Seizing that opportunity, Kang Wu immediately leaped off its head. Right on the desert floor, a massive crater appeared. Even now, the monster continued to resist, trying to throw him off into the distance. A look of worry began to appear clearly on Kang Wu's face. He looked at it with a determined gaze and muttered to himself, "It's quite tough, indeed. Attacking at this level just isn't enough. It's still just as strong as before. Here it comes." The monster once again took a defensive stance. Suddenly, streams of red energy surged from its body, covering its entire skin. With a roar full of rage, the monster immediately charged straight at him. Seeing its behavior, Kang Wu suddenly smirked.
It's still just an unruly beast. Then he once again gathered strength into his hands. The divine authority of Baphomet, the power he was wielding, belonged to a familiar demon. The monster opposite him seemed to sense something and suddenly froze. Kang Wu unleashed his power and approached. The pressure forced the monster to stomp in place, daring not to advance. Closing his eyes tight, he mobilized all his strength and threw a thunderous punch at the monster's face. The force of the punch sent it flying into the air. Then it free fell to the ground. Only then could Kang Wu breathe a sigh of relief. It's so tough. Seeing the monster trying to get up again made him want to curse. Damn it, if only I could use two authorities at once, it would be great. Luckily, I've defeated these things many times in hell. My current level is more than enough to take it down. Now then. The monster suddenly staggered and collapsed to the ground. This scene made even Kang Wu stunned. It really is a hassle, he pondered while panting. Immediately after, a notification panel appeared. You have successfully destroyed the Rank C Fisher fragment. The content on the notification panel once again astonished him. Your EXP has increased. You have leveled up 5 times. Since you have reached level 30,
The Fourth Awakening is about to commence. Attribute of the Fourth Awakening, Ruler of Demonic Energy, Rank. Effect: you can control demonic energy much more fluently and rapidly. You can completely erase traces of demonic energy on other creatures. A new notification appeared on the system. You have defeated a C-rank fissure fragment. Kang Wu activated the system, casting his gaze over the ruined landscape ahead, where a sharp arrow was deeply embedded in a skeleton. He thought to himself, fissure fragment? A sudden confusion rose in Kang Wu's heart. Now that I think about it, I've never heard of a fissure core either. Does this mean hell is the fissure? He pondered, his eyes glancing over the strange light emitting from the arrowhead. No, wait, how did these guys get over here? Kang Wu felt this was inexplicable. He stroked his chin and thought, hellhounds can't use the weapons of the 7 princes of hell, can they? No, first of all, what exactly is this fissure?
Is it really just hell? Finally, Kangwoo scratched his head helplessly and tapped a few buttons on the system panel. Forget it. Dwelling on something with no clues is just a waste of time. Let's check the remaining notifications first. His eyes suddenly lit up, revealing extreme astonishment. So many! Oh, what's this? The system displayed a message on the screen. Since you have reached level 30, the Fourth Awakening will take place. Characteristic of the Fourth Awakening: Ruler of Demonic Energy, Janika. Effect: you can control demonic energy much more fluidly and efficiently. You can completely erase traces of demonic energy on other living beings. A thought crossed Kangwoo's mind. The Fourth Awakening is also Vankana. He raised his hand. He began to perform the ritual to deploy magic. By this fourth time, he no longer had to worry about such troublesome procedures. Well then, let's eat to my heart's content. A blurry, ghostly black shadow appeared, transforming into a demon with jagged teeth. It opened its gaping mouth, ready to swallow the prey right in front of its eyes. That was the embodiment of the authority of craving. Smiling a spine-chilling smile, Kangwoo skillfully controlled the demon according to his own crazy scheme. If I can recover the stats from before the Maza Demon Hall, I might be even stronger than when I was in hell. Leveling up is the optimal solution. Returning to the city, Kangwoo stretched comfortably after completing the mission and stepped out of the gate. Let's go home. He was truly satisfied with the results he achieved today. He squinted his eyes in delight and thought to himself, today was great. Going home to eat kimchi stew would be excellent. On the way, a loud call suddenly rang out, catching Kangwoo's attention. When he turned his head, he recognized a red-haired woman wearing a baseball cap, leaning against the wall. Cha Yanju slightly pushed up the brim of her hat, revealing cold blue eyes. Long time no see.
Kangwoo did not hide the dissatisfaction on his face. He stood with his hands on his hips with an indifferent attitude, clearly showing he didn't want to bother with her. I don't think we're close enough to greet each other. We don't even know each other's names yet. Cha Yanju took a few more steps closer. She spoke in a calm voice. Didn't you already finish your business at the internet cafe? Cha Yanju. She even intentionally repeated her name once more to emphasize. My name is Cha Yanju. A memory suddenly flooded back into Kangwoo from a moment in the past, when he accidentally overheard a conversation between two people. That's nothing compared to people like Baek Kang-hyun and Cha Yanju. At that time, he didn't care at all, but now that name evoked a strangely familiar feeling. I've definitely heard that name somewhere, Kangwoo silently judged, trying to rummage through his own memories. Isn't that the name of a guild master of one of the 5 great guilds? Mir, Hanu, Sile? Thinking of that, he blurted out, Red Rose? Cha Yanju adjusted the brim of her hat, a confident smile blooming on her lips. That's right, I am the guild master of Red Rose. Cha Yanju, the guild master of the Red Rose Guild. Kangwoo suddenly felt a bit wary, calculating inwardly. So that's why she's so strong. He asked calmly, so what business does the guildmaster have with me? Without hiding anything, Cha Yanju replied frankly, I investigated a bit about you. Name O Kangwoo, born in 1995, currently 28 years old, raised at Jongsong Orphanage, and was never adopted.
After leaving the orphanage, you lived alone. Her gaze swept over him, her entire majestic aura directed straight at him. There is no trace of you for the past 5 years, but this year you suddenly registered as a player. Am I correct? Kangwoo looked at Cha Yanju with eyes full of high alert. I don't know why you investigated me, but yes, what you said is completely accurate. She lowered her head, reading clearly the information displayed on her phone. You registered as a player on March 16th, about 3 weeks ago. Kangwoo's face darkened with every moment, but his deep-seated reason helped him suppress the anger waiting to explode, even as Cha Yanju's voice continued to pour steadily into his ears. The test at the Player Support Center evaluated your first awakening as rank F, but I guess that was wrong. If you were truly a rank F, you wouldn't be able to hunt in a rank C gate after only 3 weeks. Cha Yanju frowned slightly. After 5 years, you suddenly appear, and now you're hunting in a rank C gate. At first, I thought you bought this identity from somewhere because you were a criminal, but everything from your face to your fingerprints matches your past records. Hearing that, Kangwoo showed visible confusion. Fingerprints? How did you get them? Cha Yanju's expression remained calm, betraying no emotion. You had to record your fingerprints when registering, right? Kangwoo thought to himself warily. They have records of the gates I've entered, and even my fingerprints. Major guilds have more power than I thought. Cha Yanju spoke in a casual tone. I have confirmed that you are not using a fake identity. Saying that, she folded the phone shut.
If that's the case, she stared at Kangwoo unblinkingly with a strange gaze. You are a player with outstanding talent. You might even be better than me, or even Baek Kang-hyar. Kangwoo suddenly fell silent. His heart was a mess of chaotic emotions. After a long silence, he spoke politely. Thank you for your compliment, but what exactly do you want?
Subconsciously, Chayanju tightened her grip on the phone in her hand. She made her offer politely. I want to sponsor you. As the guildmaster of Red Rose, I want to sponsor the talented player Oh Kangwoo. Kangwoo suddenly burst out laughing. I didn't expect that. Chayanju couldn't hide her surprise. What did you think I was going to say? He teased her in a relaxed tone. I thought you wanted me to join Red Rose. Chayanju replied in an arrogant tone. How could I let someone hiding under the guise of rank F join my guild right away? She curled her lips into a scornful smile. Besides, if you wanted to join a guild, you wouldn't have hidden your power from the start. In his head, Kangwoo innocently asked himself, I'm not hiding anything. He asked bluntly, so what are you planning to sponsor? Chayanju answered decisively, simply put, financial support. I will help you level up faster. Kangwoo laughed heartily, mocking her. Then what do you get out of it? Do you want me to help with the game from last time? Rage flared up within her, and Chayanju gritted her teeth and shouted in resentment, You bastard! Finally, she held her head with trembling hands.
She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. It's fine. I'm the guildmaster. I'm the guildmaster. She gritted her teeth. I just want to make a deal with you. Witnessing Chayanju trying to suppress her rage, Kangwoo couldn't help but burst out laughing. I'm kidding, just kidding. It was my first time playing that game, so I didn't know what to do at all. She frowned in annoyance. Every time I think about not being able to rank up because of you, Stroking his chin with a pensive look, Kangwoo pretended to calculate. Ah, so are you in bronze rank now? That seems pretty low. Kangwoo's words seemed to hit the mark, causing Chayanju to embarrassedly blurt out, No!
Not at all. I'm totally capable of reaching silver, but every time I form a team, I meet people just like you. With a voice mixed with seriousness and playfulness, Kangwoo asked her, about the main topic, why do you want to sponsor me so much? Letting out a sigh of relief, Chayanju pulled down her hat brim and explained concisely, Because you will become stronger. You are a rookie who just registered 2 weeks ago, yet you leveled up at such a terrifying speed. You hunted alone in rank E and even rank C gates. You will become even stronger, much more of it now. Kangwoo asked again, exactly what will you give me? On Chayanju's side, she also answered frankly. First of all, we will give you a temporary gate pass, allowing you to enter gates from rank A and below without any obstruction. Kangwoo let out an O, sounding satisfied. Sounds good. Chayanju crossed her arms over her chest, decisively making the offer. If you want to form a party, we will match you with guild members according to the level you require. If you want to sell magic stones through us, we will reduce the tax as much as possible for you.
Hearing about tax cuts and support for forming a party, Kangwoo's eyes immediately lit up. Ah, that's great! Chayanju emphasized. We can also lend you equipment. Weapons of special grade or higher require a deposit, but lower ranks are lent for free. If necessary, we will also provide you with a house and a car. That train of thought made Kangwoo freeze. It was so kind it was suspicious. Chayanju's voice suddenly rang out, interrupting his thoughts. What are you thinking about? She shrugged, her eyes looking inviting. This is an investment for the future. An awkward look appeared on his face. Even so, it's still a bit too much. Chayanju spoke with an absolutely serious expression. We won't give you everything for free. The guild will also assign you many missions, and when that time comes, please comply. Resting his chin on his hand, Kangwoo drifted into thought again. It means this guild has a lot of missions. They're probably sponsoring me so I can support in certain missions. Finally, he chose to ask straight to the point. Can you tell me more details about the missions? Looking down at the ground, Chayanju replied in an indifferent voice. No, not right now. Not knowing how to respond, Kangwoo thought awkwardly. It must be very complicated. He spoke in a gentle voice. All right, I won't pry. A thought flashed through Kangwoo's mind. If the mission is too unreasonable, I can probably still refuse. He extended his hand towards her. Deal. An amused smile bloomed on Kangwoo's lips, revealing his sharp canines.
I accept your offer. A smile also briefly blossomed on Chayanju's lips. With his hand hovering in midair, Kangwoo triumphantly thought to himself, this was not only an opportunity to connect with a major guild, but also a chance to receive support from them. Chayanju's hand also reached out towards him. Hope rose higher within him. Kangwoo and Chayanju's hands finally clasped tightly together, their gazes exchanging a look of sincerity. Kangwoo smiled slyly, his heart filled with confidence as he thought, I cannot miss an opportunity like this. With excitement, Kangwoo tightened his grip on Chayanju's hand. All right, I accept your offer. She smiled contentedly. A correct choice. Both let go of each other's hands. The deal was officially established. At this moment, Kangwoo finally asked, So when do you intend to tell me about the mission? Chayanju replied with an indifferent tone, When the time comes. She looked at Kangwoo. What can you even do with your current level? He pondered for a moment before retorting, You shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Cheonju flinched involuntarily. What? Kangmu tilted his face up confidently, pointing his finger straight at himself. I am much stronger than you think. Cheonju was so stunned she couldn't speak. She could only secretly curse inwardly. Arrogant bastard. With no other choice, she reluctantly agreed. Fine. Cheonju turned her face away in another direction.
The reason I didn't tell you isn't because you're weak, Kang-woo asked. Then what is it? Her eyes suddenly turned icy as she glanced at the phone screen. We don't have enough evidence yet. I can't say it until I'm absolutely sure. Resting his chin on his hand, Kang-woo clearly showed a face of confusion. He sank into a train of thought. Whatever, I won't force her either. Suddenly, Cheonju held out her phone in front of Kang-woo. Enter your number. He nodded. Okay. Kang-woo's fingers nimbly pressed the phone number. Anyway, when can I get the equipment? Cheonju crossed her arms over her chest with a calm demeanor. Anytime is fine. She took the phone back from him. Do you want to get it right now? He replied with a relaxed tone. Sounds good. Calculations quickly sprang up in his mind. If I want to absorb more demonic energy, I need equipment. Cheonju turned around, about to leave. Follow me. We're going to the guild headquarters. Kang-woo's eyes lit up with curiosity. Where is it? She just calmly glanced over. To the car. It's somewhere else. The crowd was buzzing with comments, all about a novel presence. Look at that car. A boy called out to his father with excitement. Dad, it looks so cool. Buy it, Dad. In the parking lot, there was the presence of a supercar. A flashy halo surrounded it, making everyone turn their heads. A father raised his voice to answer his son. That is a Porsche 918 Spider. Yeah, Dad'll work really hard. The whispering continued ceaselessly. There's a model like that in Korea? Whose is it? A hand reached out and threw open the door of the supercar. Without a moment's hesitation, Cheonju sat in the driver's seat. Hey, get in. Meanwhile, Kang-woo stood there staring with a face full of astonishment. He cautiously sat in the car, his voice reserved as he asked, How much is this one? The car was started by Cheonju. I just bought it, so I don't remember. A look of extreme craving appeared on Kang-woo's face, making him look like he was about to drool. About 10 million won. Cheonju dropped an indifferent answer. Something like that. He glanced at her, calculating in his mind. Is this the person who wore sloppy clothes and a baseball cap playing games at the internet cafe? Is this why people prefer foreign cars? The wheels began to move, and Kang-woo blurted out a compliment. It's expensive, so it runs smoothly, huh? Cheonju curled her lips into a smile, her tone full of provocation. Why, do you want me to buy you one? Kang-woo asked back with an attitude of half belief, half doubt. Really? Cheonju responded excitedly. I did say we could provide a car for you. A sweet voice suddenly poured into her ears. Big sister. Kang-woo placed his hand on his chest, his eyes looking at Cheonju, sparkling like 1,000 stars.
He tried to look as effeminate as possible. From now on, I'll call you Yeonju Nuna. Her face twisted, lips curling in disgust. What did you say? That's nauseating. Watch out or I'll smash the airbag on your side right now. Kang-moo mumbled something and turned away. Just watch the road. Maybe that was a bit too much. Just drive comfortably like this for me, okay? The flames of rage within Cheonju officially flared up. The fury made her grit her teeth tightly. If you refuse the mission or fail, I'll confiscate it immediately. Kang-moo pouted, his attitude clearly showing disdain. What? Why are you so petty? Cheonju screamed in anger. Shut up. Do you know how many people I have to feed? Fasten your seatbelt. Kang-moo grinned with satisfaction. All right, I'll shut up. Please keep your eyes on the road. The car braked in front of a bright red skyscraper. Cheonju introduced. We're here. This is the guild headquarters. Stepping out of the car, Kang-woo couldn't hide his astonishment. Crazy. She signaled to the valet with an indifferent attitude. The keys are in the car. The splendor of the building captivated Kang-woo. He silently thought. It's as big as the player support center. Is a major guild really this powerful? Cheonju urged him. What are you doing? Come on in. Kang-woo silently cheered in his heart. It really was a wise decision to associate myself with a major guild. The door swung open, and the two walked in confidently. Kwak Hyung-gu and Moon Young-ho were waiting there to welcome them. You've arrived. Kwak Hyung-gu warmly extended his hand in welcome. You must be the person the guildmaster mentioned. He bowed politely and took the initiative to introduce himself. Nice to meet you. I am the Human Resources Manager, Kwak Hyung-gu. Kang-woo returned the handshake, looking a bit awkward. I am Kang-woo. Seeing him glance at the person standing next to him, Kwak Hyung-gu enthusiastically introduced. This is Commander Moon Young-ho. Facing the scary gaze from Moon Young-ho, Kang-woo couldn't help but wonder. Commander? Why is he looking at me like that? Park Hyun-woo suddenly spoke up. You've arrived. A radiant smile bloomed on his lips. Then the agreement must have gone smoothly. Thank you for accepting our offer. Kang-woo also happily replied. Regardless of any schemes, I couldn't refuse such a good offer. Park Hyun-woo laughed loudly. Our guild isn't that evil. He quickly went straight to the main topic. Then I'll take you to the equipment warehouse right away. Cheonju disagreed with that idea. She made a decisive suggestion.
I'll take him there. You're busy with many things, Hyunwoo. Park Hyunwoo bowed elegantly like a nobleman. Thank you. Moon Young-ho, who had a grim expression, spoke in a deep, muddy voice. Then I'll come along. Cha Yeon-ju raised her eyebrows and looked up at him. Why? Even Kang-woo found this situation confusing. Moon Young-ho replied coldly. Let's see. His eyebrows furrowed in annoyance. I want to see for myself what kind of person he is. Since it was inconvenient to refuse, Cha Yeon-ju had to agree. Ah, fine. It's good to get acquainted. You two will see each other often anyway. Come along then, Young-ho. The elevator took the three of them up past the 14th floor before stopping at the 15th.
The system notification voice rang out, door opening. As the three of them stepped out, another notification rang out from the elevator, door closing. Cha Yeon-ju walked ahead. Upon reaching the spot, she pointed her index finger at the room. This is our guild's warehouse. She pressed her palm against the lock to authenticate. Then she gave a very careful warning. But I must tell you in advance, I cannot lend you every piece of equipment. The moment the door opened, Kang-woo's eyes lit up with joy. Cha Yeon-ju spoke in a very calm tone. But you can take items from epic rank and below. She put her hands in her jacket pockets, looking at him calmly. As for the unique rank items over there, you can borrow them if you pay a deposit. Just take your time looking around. Kang-woo excitedly gazed at the model floating in the glass case. Are there no legendary or mythic rank items in the warehouse? Cha Yeon-ju explained. If there were, we would be using them ourselves, not leaving them here. His curiosity hadn't stopped yet. That's true. So do you have any equipment above legendary rank? Cha Yeon-ju nodded in confirmation. Of course I have legendary rank equipment. Kang-woo continued to probe curiously. To borrow something like that, how much deposit do I need to pay?
She didn't hesitate to give a specific figure, 50 million won. Feeling it wasn't convincing enough, she added, that's already a bargain discount. Kang-woo's face visibly dropped. I understand. He screamed internally with regret. He absolutely couldn't afford it. He glanced at the model behind him. Then let me see some rank E equipment. A sudden crashing sound rang out, causing both Cha Yeon-ju and Kang-woo to be drawn towards the noise. Moon Young-ho looked like he had turned into a completely different person, his face darkening. His aggressive gaze was fixed on Kang-woo as if he wanted to eat him alive. He gritted his teeth, his voice growling threateningly. Use honorifics right now. In contrast, Kang-woo didn't seem to care at all. He asked back in a leisurely manner. Say what? Moon Young-ho roared savagely. I said use honorifics when speaking to the guildmaster. Countless blue veins bulged on his face, and his eyes were bloodshot, looking truly terrifying. Kang-woo smirked, revealing a mocking smile. He replied with a defiant and arrogant attitude. I don't like to. Kang-woo clearly demonstrated his arrogance and indifference. What if I don't want to? Moon Young-ho tightened his grip on the sword in his hand. Kang-woo didn't regard him as anything at all. He ignored the sharp blade hovering right in front of his face until Cha Yeon-ju's shouting voice rang out to stop him. Young-ho! She pulled the brim of her cap down, her voice ice cold. Hey, Moon Young-ho! When the blade was only inches away from Kang-woo, she questioned Moon Young-ho with a gritty voice. What do you think you're doing? Cha Yeon-ju's eyes sparked with fire, and she screamed furiously. Look here! Cha Yeon-ju's entire body suddenly erupted in blazing flames, and she snapped irritably. Are you mute or something?
Moon Young-ho trembled all over, replying hesitantly and disjointedly. The fact is that this rookie dared to provoke Yeonjo to the point of boiling rage. Even if he curses me, that is also my business. Don't stick your nose into other people's business. Moon Young-ho slowly lowered his sword, answering obediently. I understand, Guildmaster. Kang-woo let out a soft sigh of relief. Kang Yeonjo pointed straight at Kang-woo's face and scolded him loudly. And Kang-woo, you shouldn't have responded like that either. Provoking Young-ho like that, watch out or you'll get beaten until you're crippled. He turned his body to stretch his muscles, replying nonchalantly. Okay, whatever. In his head, he thought, at least he's loyal. This guild probably isn't weak. Kang Yeonjo's scolding showed no signs of stopping. Are you listening to me? Moon Young-ho cautiously sheathed his sword behind his back. Kang-woo used a sweet voice to coax her. So then, Yeonjo Nuna. Kang Yeonjo continued to spew out a long stream of words.
Good heavens, what now? Kang-woo put on a cunning and scheming expression, letting out a savage laugh. I don't need that car from earlier. Can you lend me a special piece of equipment instead? Trust me, I'll pay back both the principal and interest very soon. Cha Yeon-ju calmly spoke up. Not right now, but after the internal meeting is over, I can lend it to you. A fist suddenly slammed down on Kang-woo's head, cutting off the conversation. Moon Young-ho gritted his teeth and questioned angrily. Sister, huh? Did you just call her sister? Losing his cool once again, he raised his fist while drawing his sword, roaring out with earth-shattering intensity. You, how dare you, how dare you? Moon Young-ho did not hesitate to swing his sword straight at Kang-woo. Suddenly, his entire body froze, his face turned pale. Cha Yeon-ju had used one hand to stop the sword. She glared at him with eyes as sharp as knives. Moon Young-ho, have you forgotten what I said?
Kang Wu smirked with a delighted and provocative expression. Meanwhile, Chai Yanju unleashed a stream of angry scolding. Should I consider this an act of insubordination? Moon Young-ho replied in a timid tone, his grievance evident in every word. But, Guildmaster, this bastard. Chai Yanju didn't let him finish. She immediately struck out as a punishment, knocking him flat onto the floor. Her face showed no emotion whatsoever. It seems I have to teach you a lesson. Kang Wu stood there, indifferently watching the dramatic scene unfold. Unable to endure it any longer, Chai Yanju shouted an order. "Hey, Moon Young-ho, get lost right now." She glanced at Moon Young-ho, who was sitting dazedly on the ground. "If you cause trouble one more time, I will convene a disciplinary meeting. Think about your position as the combat commander." He hurriedly stammered a reply. I'm sorry." Chai Yanju could only helplessly hold her head. "Sorry about that, making you see such an unsightly scene. I will punish him strictly." Kang Wu rested his hands on his hips in a relaxed manner. It's fine." Moon Young-ho quietly put away his weapon and prepared to leave. Chai Yanju asked with concern, "So what kind of special equipment do you need? I will mention it during the meeting." Kang Wu did not hesitate to answer honestly. "I want a set of armor that is comfortable to wear. If it has good basic functions, that would be even better." She stroked her chin, deep in thought. "Armor, huh?" A deep, husky voice suddenly rang out. "Did you say you need armor?" Moon Young-ho had returned, standing tall and imposing opposite Kang Wu. He solemnly issued a challenge. "How about this then? If you can beat me, I will give this set to you. It's unique rank and has many good features." Chai Yanju's hands clenched tightly into fists.
She screamed in frustration. Moon Young-ho, she prepared a stance ready for a life-or-death battle with him. She roared angrily to intimidate him. "I told you to get lost." Moon Young-ho stepped back in fear as if he was about to get a beating, but Kang Wu suddenly spoke up to stop Chai Yanju. "Wait!" She looked surprised. "Huh?" A look of interest appeared on his face. "That sounds good, that fight." She still couldn't believe her ears. "What?" Her eyebrows furrowed tightly. Her mind was full of thoughts. This guy will definitely... Chai Yanju imagined the scenario of Kang Wu fighting. She sank into deep thought. Become as strong as her? No, perhaps even stronger. But Moon Young-ho is currently level 67. He has surpassed the limit where only effort is needed, the 6th awakening, and is about to reach the 7th awakening that only top hunters can attain. No matter how talented this guy is, he is not ready yet. Kang Wu grinned, revealing his teeth. "Moon Young-ho, I quite like that idea of yours." Chai Yanju hurriedly spoke to stop him. "Kang Wu, don't provoke him." He replied with absolute confidence. "Trust me, it's fine." Kang Wu looked at Moon Young-ho with glowing red eyes full of excitement. His lips curled up arrogantly. "He wants to give it, so why shouldn't I take it?" Moon Young-ho faced Kang Wu in a high defensive stance. He thought to himself, he won't be able to disrespect the Guildmaster ever again. Guildmaster Chai Yanju looked like she just wanted to rush in and strangle Kang Wu. She wondered anxiously, "Hey, what are you thinking?" Old memories with Chai Yanju suddenly flooded back into Moon Young-ho's mind. It was the moment she saved his life in a battle where he was on the verge of death. She is the savior and the mentor to whom I swore loyalty, and also the woman to whom I have given my whole heart. Moon Young-ho instinctively touched the scar, a war trophy from that day. The aura within him suddenly burned fiercely. But how dare he, this insignificant guy? Chai Yanju continued to plead incessantly. "Stop it, you're going to die." On the contrary, Kang Wu appeared extremely composed. "Special grade equipment? Very well." Moon Young-ho calculated silently. "I will make you realize that this match is the mistake of your life." The three of them moved together to another room. Chai Yanju spoke up to introduce. "This is the combat room." Kang Wu instinctively uttered an exclamation. "Watch closely," Moon Young-ho declared loudly. "Let's see how long you can stay calm." He stretched, performing a warm-up motion. "Yeah, look carefully." Chai Yanju whispered anxiously, "Hey, Kang Wu, do you know how crazy this is?" Kang Wu continued his warm-up exercises. He burst into loud laughter. "I told you, it's fine." Chai Yanju showed clear unease, crossing her arms over her chest. "You're going to regret this." Moon Young-ho issued an arrogant challenge. "You can start whenever you please." He held up 3 fingers. His face revealed extreme arrogance. "I'll give you a 3-second head start. Attack however you like." Kang Wu, rotating his wrists, retorted wildly. "Oh my, did you pick that up from some martial arts movie?" He continued rotating his ankles, his gaze completely calm. "Stop acting cool. Draw your sword, bro." Kang Wu asked leisurely. Did you not hear what I said?" Moon Young-ho remained smug, his eyes showing clear disdain for Kang Wu. "I have no intention of using my full strength to fight a rookie." He calmly bent down to warm up his knees. Is that so?" The shoes on Kang Wu's feet suddenly emitted light. He took a dangerous step back. Then, in an instant, he utilized the authority of speed, brushing past Chai Yanju like the wind. A thunderous kick was launched by Kang Wu straight into Moon Young-ho's stomach. With terrifying speed, he had vanished before his opponent could even feel the pain. "I have no other choice then." Kang Woo spun and delivered a kick that sent Moon Young-ho flying hundreds of meters before crashing onto the ground. The extreme pain made him gasp, saliva flying everywhere. His chest convulsed violently. Kang Woo landed safely, his eyes looking indifferently at Moon Young-ho, who was lying sprawled amidst the rubble. He roared madly. Nausea overwhelmed him, causing him to retch violently. Cha Yanju still couldn't understand what had just happened, her face full of bewilderment. Moon Young-ho clutched his stomach, breathing with difficulty. Fear rose in his thoughts. What the hell was that? That was too dangerous. A hacking cough tormented him continuously. If it weren't for this armor, I would be dead. With no way to resist otherwise, Moon Young-ho finally drew the sword from his back. Impossible.
He thrust his sword forcefully into the ground. Is he really a hunter who has only been active for 3 weeks? Kang Woo smirked dangerously, tilting his head mockingly. Didn't you say you were giving me a 3-second head start? Moon Young-ho, gasping for breath as he drove his sword into the earth, demanded, What kind of trick did you pull? Hearing those words, Kang Woo wore a face full of mockery. Trick? I'm simply stronger than you. Moon Young-ho was furious. Nonsense.
How can a rookie who became a player only 3 months ago be this strong? Kang Woo continued to provoke, making him so angry that he had to grip his sword tightly. Now you realize that the 3-second head start you gave me was ridiculous, right? You smirked because you thought I was a newbie, just putting on airs. But now that things aren't going your way, you're complaining that I'm playing dirty? That's truly hilarious. The smile on his lips suddenly vanished, and his attitude abruptly turned cold. Enough, you loser. Moon Young-ho was so furious that his whole body trembled. You bastard. Then he glanced at the girl and muttered a curse. Damn it. The frame zoomed in on the girl's face. Cha Yanju was still watching intently, her hand gripping her sword, while his mind raced. I can't be defeated like this. Immediately after, Moon Young-ho swung his sword and shouted loudly, Heaven-destroying sword. The sword in his hand unleashed a terrifying flow of energy, as if wanting to swallow the entire space. A scoff rang out, making Moon Young-ho extremely confused. Kang Woo covered his blossoming smile with his hand and voiced his disdain. Hey, that name sounds disgusting. He continued to speak, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Heaven-destroying sword? What the hell is that? Do you really think that's cool?
Hearing that, he ground his teeth in rage, his entire face bulging with blue veins. Then Moon Young-ho gritted out every word while preparing to swing his sword. You shut up. He spun his sword around his body, creating deadly electric sparks. Moon Young-ho immediately rushed towards Kang Woo and unleashed a powerful slash. In this precarious situation, he remained calm and calculating. Truly the combat commander of one of the 5 great guilds. The frame shifted to him along with the commentary. He's not weak, but I don't need to face him directly. Then Kang Woo shouted, Shall we begin? And he started unleashing his authority of darkness. On the other side, Young-ho was still frantically stomping on the stone floor beneath him. Die! At this very moment, he accidentally stepped into Kang Woo's magic technique. Seeing this, Yanju was startled and called out his name loudly. Hey, Moon Young-ho! She continued to shout to stop him. Stop! Over here, Kang Woo silently mocked. Truly stupid. He gave a faint smile. He's lost his mind. Then he uttered just 2 words. Idiot. Next, Kang Woo gradually merged himself into the authority of darkness. At the same time, Yanju also rushed towards him. Young-ho realized something was wrong and became extremely panicked. Where is he? A hand suddenly landed on his shoulder. Kang Woo appeared from behind, radiating murderous intent with a mocking expression. You lost, idiot. Then he spoke softly, authority of vibration, and he used that very hand to cast the magic. The power of the strike sent Young-ho flying violently into the wall. The surrounding wall segments began to crumble along with his pain. Witnessing the whole incident, Yeonju was stunned into silence. Then she turned back and looked at Kang Woo. While Yeonju still wore an indescribable expression, his steady voice rang out. Didn't I tell you already?
Kang Woo waved his hand and continued. I'm stronger. You were overthinking it. The scene shifted to another corner of the room. A voice filled with remorse rang out. I apologize for what happened today. Parallel to the scene where Young-ho was being attended to by medical staff, the person spoke again. Young-ho will be expelled from the guild immediately. I will certainly discipline the guild members so that today's incident does not recur. That was the voice of Young-ju. She continued following him, clearly showing her regrets. I have no words to justify this. I am sorry. In contrast, his attitude was completely different from hers. It's okay. It's fine. To demonstrate his good mood, Kang Woo immediately took out an item, and its stats appeared. I got this, after all. Equipment information. Name.
Galloway Armor. Unique rank. Basic information. Physical defense 200, magic defense 80. Special skill. Allows you to use the petrification skill, doubling your physical defense stats for 10 seconds. You can only use this skill once every 24 hours. Then he chuckled to himself. It truly is a unique equipment. The special skill is pretty good too. His train of thought suddenly dipped. However, that guy really went too far daring to bet a piece of equipment of this caliber. The image of Moon Young-ho appeared along with his commentary. He even disobeyed the guildmaster's orders, though I got this equipment thanks to him. A tear rolled down the corner of his eye. Kang-woo's thoughts at this moment seemed very fitting for the situation. Love truly does blind people. Only then did he speak up. I will overlook it this time. He turned around to notify Cha Yanju. But if it happens again, I will have to reevaluate our cooperative relationship. She carefully adjusted her hat and replied, I promise you, from today onwards all members of Red Rose will respect you. Kang-woo said while adjusting the armor on his body, Then I will put my trust in the guildmaster. Also, I don't think this equipment fits me. Do you have any way to resolve this? Cha Yanju looked a bit embarrassed. Place it on the podium. I will have it delivered to you after resizing it. Kang-woo immediately did as she said.
Then I'll leave it to you. I'm busy now. Yeonju spoke gently. All right. Then he quickly ran to the door and turned back. See ya. See you later. She stood with her hands on her hips and quickly replied, Yeah, remember to send me your measurements. Kang-woo's voice echoed from afar. Okay. Yeonju stood watching the door slowly closing. She sat down on the chair, looking relieved. Is he even human? Yeonju's head tilted slightly to the right as she spoke to herself. Young-ho isn't a weak ranker either. How could a player who awakened just 3 weeks ago defeat him? Yeonju imagined strange images in her head. For instance, strange-looking figures surrounding the earth, and she pondered, if this keeps up, a world ranker will soon appear in Korea. World rankers, the 8 strongest players, not just of one country, but of all players. Currently, there are no world rankers in Korea, but it is said that Korea's current rank 1 player, Baek Kong-hen, has potential. The next image was of a white-haired man with a firm statement, but he can't become a world ranker either.
She was still immersed in her own thoughts, but if it were Kang-woo, a young man suddenly walked in from outside and spoke up. Guildmaster, has Kang-woo left already? Cha Yanju was a bit surprised. Yes, he just left, and the Galloway armor will belong to him. Is the equipment repairer busy? The young man replied respectfully, They are free right now. I heard about the situation with Moon Young-ho. She announced gently, Yes, we will hold a disciplinary meeting and expel him. Notify everyone to gather tomorrow. The blond young man showed a somewhat gloomy expression. Noticing that, Cha Yanju stood up and said, Don't make that face. Moon Young-ho did wrong. We must ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. The young man had to comply. Yes, I understand. Then the blond young man seemed a bit hesitant. I have to inform you of something. She looked up, her face full of curiosity. What is it? The young man's announcement left Cha Yanju astonished. The government announced that they have successfully planted a spy in the demon cult.
The blond man continued speaking. If everything goes smoothly, we'll have them in our grasp soon. Hearing that, Yeonju took her hand out of her pocket and said, Go on. She emphasized, her tone mixed with irritation and curiosity. More details. The scene shifted to Kang-woo, who was checking his information while thinking. Let's see. Oh, Kang-woo, level 34, 4th stage awakening. First awakening attribute, power of predation, rank S. Second awakening attribute, insatiable hunger, rank C. Third awakening attribute, demonic craving, rank C. Fourth awakening attribute, ruler of demonic energy, rank S. Fifth awakening attribute, unlocks at level 49. Class, talent. Strength 33, agility 21, vitality 20, magic power 0, demonic energy, talented class 53, intelligence 11, wisdom 13. Then, stroking his chin, he began to make assessments. So other stats also increase along with demonic energy. Although demonic energy is the most important, that doesn't mean strength, agility, and vitality are useless. Half of Kang-woo's back appeared with deadly red details. Beside it was the same image but bearing a dangerous purple hue, accompanied by his train of thought. I can reduce demonic energy consumption by strengthening my body with these stats. Kang-woo was still lost in his own thoughts. Intelligence and wisdom stats are useless to me because I have no magic power. Well, they don't really make me smarter anyway. He stretched and continued thinking. It's a pity I can't allocate points to the stats I want. I heard stats usually increase after leveling up, based on the skills used frequently after the second awakening. Kang-woo's head turned slightly to look at the skewed hexagonal chart, but my demonic energy increases slowly, while other stats increase randomly. He looked down at his slightly trembling hand again. The tone of his inner thoughts dropped a little. He didn't know why. Was it because his demonic energy was too high? The moment he cleanly destroyed a monster suddenly rushed back into Kang-woo's mind. His demonic energy was significantly higher than his other stats. Following that was the image of him attacking Young-ho earlier. I can even do things other players can't. Then he thought deeply about his declining chart again. Furthermore, the higher the stat, the harder it is to increase points. Basically, after level 30, I won't be able to increase my magic stat anymore, because it's already too high. Kang-woo suddenly looked up at the sky with satisfaction and continued his calculations.
but it's fine. I've already exceeded the target after taking down the Hellhound, although it is a bit regrettable. If I keep going in this direction, the 5th awakening won't be a problem. His face suddenly turned pensive again. Let's go meet Soa and Taesu. The scene shifted to the east gate of Incheon. From afar, Taesu waved his hand and called out loudly, "Kang-woo, here, over here." He walked over with an embarrassed expression, raising his hand to cover his face. So embarrassing. He asked, "Did you finish your business?" Kang-woo replied gently, "It's done." Hearing Taesu speak, he lowered his hand and opened his eyes wide to look. What a relief.
These are the players I wanted to introduce to you, Kang-woo thought with a somewhat bored expression. Oh my god. He pointed to introduce each person one by one. This handsome guy is Kim Se-hong, and this little girl is named Choi Eunbi. The young man's face seemed to magnify in his eyes as he spoke. "Hello?" And he silently remarked, "He's so handsome." Hearing Taesu introduce her like that, Eunbi immediately looked extremely angry. "Who are you calling a little girl?" He still flashed a bright smile. "If not a little girl, then what?" At this moment, he finally spoke up. "Hello." The girl continued to scream at Taesu in frustration. "You look more like a 40-year-old old Nam." Hearing these words, he just stood there frozen in pain. "What? Me? 40? At this moment, Eunbi ignored him and turned to smile brightly at Kang-woo. "You're the person Brother Taesu is always talking about, right? I've heard a lot about you." The girl continued speaking. "Feel free to talk casually with me, Brother Kang-woo."
Hearing this, he spoke up. So first, before Kang-woo could finish his sentence, the little girl screamed when she saw Soa. "You are that healer, aren't you? You are so pretty." The girl could only reply awkwardly, "Thank you." Umi still showed great enthusiasm. "Let's take a photo together. I'll show it to my friends later." Soa seemed a bit hesitant. "All right." Witnessing this whole scene, Kang-woo could only think to himself, "Is she a different version of Taesu?" Suddenly, a voice spoke up. "Nice to meet you." It was Sihoon's voice. He stepped forward, extending his hand towards Kang-woo. "I've heard a lot about you. My name is Sihoon." His other hand was resting on his sword. "I am currently level 12. Not long ago, I awakened an S-rank attribute, and I am a warrior class." The image of the two girls taking photos together appeared, accompanied by Sihoon's words. "Umi is a mage class with a B-rank attribute. I apologize, she is a bit hyperactive." Kang-woo responded to him, "It's okay," while calculating in his mind. He quickly told me exactly what I wanted to hear. His tone was extremely polite. He reached out to shake Sihoon's hand. And above all, this S-rank awakened energy, isn't it exactly like a comic book protagonist? Over here, Taesu finally woke up and asked, "What do you think? Are they trustworthy?" He replied perfunctorily, with a slightly sly look in his eyes, then told himself. Kang-woo looked at the three of them. They didn't have the greed like those Andrus bastards. Then he answered the previous question. "Probably." Hearing that, Taesu looked extremely smug. "I told you I'm good at judging character." Kang-woo suddenly sighed and asked a question. Who was the one who almost died because of betrayal? He seemed a bit embarrassed. About that, then Taesu suddenly became extremely cheerful. "It's because heaven destined me to meet you. It's truly fate." If Kang-woo was quiet, he was equally lively and enthusiastic.
Then Taesu turned to the other three and asked, "What do you think of the team? Does it look okay?" Kang-woo thought for a moment before replying. "Not bad." Kang-woo pieced together the image of the 4 members and evaluated. A tanker, a long-range damage dealer, a close-range one, and even someone who can buff and heal. This is an optimal 4-person party. Then he isolated the images of Sihoon and Taesu. Not only that, we have 2 people with rank A awakened attributes. Next were the images of the 2 remaining girls, Seiya and Eunbi. The others were also rank B. I'd believe it if you said this team was made for carrying newbies rather than hunting. Kang-woo smiled and continued his thoughts.
Good, this is fine, he raised his voice to announce. I will accompany everyone today. At this, Taesu turned around, looking slightly suspicious. You're going too? He replied gently. Yeah, I'm going to point out everyone's shortcomings and how to fix them. Receiving the answer, he became excited and noisy. Then we're counting on you. Thanks a lot. Eunbi saw this and spoke up. Shut up. Kang-woo also darkened his face and scolded silently. So noisy. His face became serious. Then let's enter the gate right away. If the situation isn't dangerous, I'll only stand back and observe. Don't be negligent. I understand. Kang-woo looked towards the 4 of them again and thought to himself, I don't want to carry them right now. That would only make them stagnant. I have to observe more, but they are worth the investment. The scene shifted to a forest where monsters were rampaging and roaring. Those creatures were rushing en masse towards this direction. The pack of monsters was getting closer and closer. Each one held a giant mace in its hand. They simultaneously raised their weapons, preparing to attack. Taesu used his shield with extraordinary strength to knock away the rushing monsters. They were pushed back and simultaneously rolled onto the ground. Seeing his achievement, he laughed heartily and teased them. How about that, you brat? Those creatures could only lie trembling and groaning without the ability to resist. To the side, Eunbi shouted, Lightning!
Following those words, a terrifying bolt of lightning struck down from above. The girl seemed to see something behind her and shouted, Brother Taesu!
The monsters surged forward, causing Eunbi to scream a warning as she ran, "There are 5 behind you!" Meanwhile, he charged straight toward them. "I see them!" With powerful steps that kicked up a cloud of dust, Tae-soo shouted at the swarm of monsters, "Over here!" Heeding the call, the creatures turned toward his shield, which was emitting a blinding blue light. Realizing his plan had succeeded, Tae-soo grinned and shouted, "Now do it!" So-ah immediately thrust both hands forward, casting her magic, light energy. Then she placed her hand on his bicep. Upon receiving the power boost, his arm instantly swelled up, causing Tae-soo to let out a shout of pure delight. "Thanks, sister-in-law." As for So-ah, she also hurriedly readied herself for battle, firing a golden energy arrow at the humanoid monsters. The arrow pierced the eyes of the monsters, making them scream in agony. Seeing this, Tae-soo smiled with satisfaction and continued to swing his shield, knocking them away in various directions. Si-hoon suddenly appeared amidst the monsters, calmly slaughtering them one by one. After his sword strike, the bodies of the humanoid monsters sprayed out a red liquid and collapsed. He glanced at the other side and panted, while Tae-soo approached with his shield and praised him. "You're really strong, Si-hoon. Did you learn swordsmanship before?"
He replied somewhat shyly, "Yes, I just practice because I like it." Tae-soo's ceaseless praise left Si-hoon with nothing but a sheepish smile. "But your skill level isn't that of someone who just practices for fun." All 4 of them then turned to look at Kang-woo, who was resting on a tree branch. Tae-soo asked, "What do you think, Kang-woo? Everyone is pretty strong, right?" He put his hand to his chin, deep in silent thought. Kang-woo's attitude made Tae-soo a bit uneasy. "What's wrong?" At this moment, Kang-woo finally spoke up while jumping down to the ground. "First, I will mention a few things everyone needs to fix." Kang-woo's gaze became much sharper as he told himself, "No, this raises questions in everyone's mind. It's a whole heap of things, not just a few." Kang-woo spoke decisively. "First is Tae-soo." Kang Tae-soo nodded confusedly. "Yeah, brother?" Kang-woo began to give thorough comments about him. "You have keen senses and even know how to distract monsters." Kang Tae-soo replied bashfully. "Thank you." Kang-woo continued with more reminders. "But the problem is that you use strength to solve everything. You are wasting too much energy. A tanker shouldn't have flaws like that. You charged at them right from the start." His voice turned serious. "What if the boss monster rushed out after that? You are a tanker. You just need to take hits and dodge them." Kang Tae-soo replied seriously. "I understand." Kang-woo shifted his gaze to Sewa. As for Sewa, she flinched.
"Yeah," Kang-woo praised her with a satisfied expression. "You did a great job buffing Tae-soo and made the right call in boosting the tanker's strength." Kang-woo continued to point out the weaknesses Sewa needed to fix, noting that the decision to use the light arrow to protect herself afterward was not good. Enemies always pay attention to the healer. If the healer attacks, the tanker won't be able to distract the monsters effectively. Sewa lowered her head in embarrassment. I'm sorry." Seeing her on the verge of tears, Kang-woo quickly laughed to comfort her. "We just need to make adjustments slowly." He quickly shifted his attention to Choi and B. As for Eun-bi, the girl obediently raised her hand. "Yes?" Kang-woo began his evaluation. "You seem to want to finish off the fallen monsters and used a powerful spell with massive firepower," he asked with concern. "Were you startled just now because 5 monsters appeared while you were attacking the 3 that had already fallen?" Choi and B awkwardly replied. "Yes, that's right," Kang-woo gently advised. "You can easily take them down with just a simple lightning magic spell, so save your energy. The main dealer will always be Si-hoon, and you will be the sub-dealer." The girl replied clearly. "Understood." Kang-woo turned to Kim Si-hoon. "And Si-hoon?" He hesitated before speaking. "Yeah." Kang-woo involuntarily sank into thought for a long time, but in the end he patted Kim Si-hoon on the shoulder and gently encouraged. "You have no shortcomings. You fulfilled your duty perfectly." He happily replied. "Ah, thank you." Kang-woo silently calculated. "He's really good, even without 10,000 years of experience like me. Is he a genius?" Kang Tae-soo praised enthusiastically. "Si-hoon is really good." Choi and B couldn't hide her admiration. "You're cooler than I thought." Kang-woo discreetly glanced at Kim Si-hoon and thought, "Truly a rough diamond. I don't know how strong he will become." He suggested to the group, "Let's keep going inside, shall we?" Kang Tae-soo raised his hand eagerly. "This time we will do even better." Kang-woo turned back, instructing gently. "Yeah, try to fix the points I just mentioned." This time Kang Tae-soo resisted every attack fiercely. Choi and B and So-ah showed incredible coordination, casting skills together to counter the enemy, causing them to suffer a sudden and violent burst of power. It caused the monsters to struggle madly in distortion. At the same time, with support from the rear, Kim Si-hoon proudly swung his sword, sweeping them away one by one. Just like that, they were blown away thousands of meters. Meanwhile, Kang-woo sat quietly on a tree, observing every move of the group and evaluating. "Everyone is doing very well." Kang Tae-soo placed the iron shield on the ground with a weary look, then let out a sigh of relief. Kang-woo thought to himself that if things continued like this, they might be able to clear the gate within a month. Kang Tae-soo leaned on his shield and asked excitedly, "What do you think, brother? We've improved, right?" Kang-woo gave a faint smile. "Not bad." Kang Tae-soo teased, "Would it kill you to give a compliment?" Then he lowered his voice sincerely, "But thanks to you, I've improved visibly." Suddenly a voice rang out. Wait, what is that? It doesn't look like a troll. Kang Wu's eyes instinctively turned blood red as he glared in that direction. That was... A bloodthirsty and ferocious demon suddenly appeared. It frantically charged straight at the team, baring its razor-sharp jaws. The demon hungered to devour them one by one. Kang Wu looked fully alert. Werewolf. Kang Tae-soo also quickly realized the critical situation. He hurriedly used his shield to block its path, but the cruel beast still rushed in at high speed. It let out a threatening roar. From the tree, Kang Wu activated his weapon. He got into a combat stance and silently cursed. Damn it, another demonic beast? He suddenly froze at the scene unfolding, as Kim Si-hoon unexpectedly performed a mid-air flip. He swung his sword straight at the monster, then urgently ordered Kang Tae-soo, "Brother, fall back." Kim Si-hoon did not hesitate for a moment to dodge the beast's attack, then seized the opportunity to counterattack. Next, he gripped the glowing sword in his hand tightly. Channeling a powerful stream of energy into it, he lunged forward and slashed through its belly, causing fresh blood to splatter. Kim Si-hoon gritted his teeth tightly and repeated the move once more.
Unfortunately, the beast detected him just before he could act. It mercilessly knocked him to the ground, then shrieked and flew over to attack Kim Si-hoon. He panicked and swore, "Damn it!" Fortunately, Kang Wu appeared just in time to save the day with immense strength. He easily took down the ferocious giant monster with a single strike, leaving Kim Si-hoon standing there, staring in bewilderment. A sudden system notification appeared. "You have defeated a D-rank fissure fragment. You have leveled up." Even though his hand was injured to the point of bleeding, Kang Wu solicitously helped Kim Si-hoon up and asked, "Can you stand?" He gave a forced smile. "I'm fine, thanks, Kang Wu." The other three members ran over simultaneously. Kang Tae-soo asked worriedly, "Are you okay?" Soa looked anxious. "Are you all right?" Cho Yun-bi trotted behind. "Are you hurt?" Kang Tae-soo couldn't hide his admiration. "You're so strong, Kang Wu. You blew it away in just one hit." He supported Kim Si-hoon and praised excitedly. "You're strong too, Si-hoon. Are you sure you're only at the second awakening? Your sword was glowing." He forced a smile and replied, "It's true, I've only reached the second stage." Kang Wu silently sank into thought. He can even fight against demonic beasts.
Even though he awakened as an A rank in his second awakening, this level of strength is abnormally high. This goes beyond mere talent. Kim Si-hoon awkwardly made a request to Kang Tae-soo. "Can you put me down?" Kang Wu paused for a beat and thought to himself, "I understand the feeling of that bastard who wanted to steal someone's girlfriend." He frankly offered to help Kim Si-hoon. "Let me support you." He looked shy. "Thank you." Kang Tae-soo scratched his head awkwardly. "I'm not exactly gentle." Kang Wu used his power by placing his hand on Kim Si-hoon's shoulder and began to activate his ability, the power of omniscience. A notification panel appeared. You can hide your demonic energy when utilizing the power of the ruler of demonic energy. Very quickly, Kang Wu grasped all the information about Kim Si-hoon. He thought to himself, "I just wanted to check if he had any hidden power, but I can even see his skills in the status window?" He smiled mischievously. "All right, let's see." His face suddenly went blank. What? What the hell is this? Information about Kim Si-hoon began to appear. Kim Si-hoon, Second Awakening, First Awakening ability, Descendant of the Martial Saint, rank SS. Since the power of the Martial Saint has not been fully absorbed, the ability is not yet activated. Second Awakening ability, Sword Energy Recovery, rank.
Third Awakening ability, unlocked at level 20. Successor class, The Chosen One. The spirit of Martial Saint Chan Tae-gwang is accompanying you. You are a hero born to protect the world. Strength 15, Agility 16, Vitality 13, Magic 10, Internal Energy, Inherited Stats 25, Intelligence 8, Wisdom 9. Kang Wu was stunned. Rank SSS, Martial Saint, a hero born to protect the world. Kang Tae-soo cared for Kim Si-hoon with all his heart, speaking kindly. "If you feel uncomfortable, just say so. I'll support you." He timidly replied, "I'm fine." Kang Wu looked at him with eyes full of astonishment. What is with this guy? He involuntarily fell into deep thought. Is he really the protagonist? The system displays information right before Kang Wu's eyes. Innate class, The Chosen One. The spirit of war god Chan Tae-gwang is dwelling within you. You are a hero born with the mission to become the protector of the world. A thought suddenly flashed through his mind. War god, protector of the world? Is this why his swordsmanship is so superior? A tall man appeared in Si-hoon's vicinity, flames blazing around him. He exclaimed in delight, "This guy really is a main character." Hearing that, Kang Wu glanced at Si-hoon with a puzzled look. Then he thought to himself, "In the future, he might become a threat to me, but I can't miss out on such a gem." At this moment, Si-hoon spoke softly to Kang Lu. "I'm really fine now, thank you." He awkwardly replied, "Ah, yes." Kang Lu silently resumed his unfinished train of thought. "I can build a good relationship with him by supporting him fully, just like Cha Yenju did with me." He now had his own calculations in mind. But just as I am ready to discard things I don't like, one day he might also point his sword back at me.
I cannot place my entire trust in this relationship. Kang Woo silently recalled the actions that Si-hoon had taken.
It seems Kim Si-hoon isn't the type to do things like that. He even sacrificed himself to save Tae-soo from the werewolf. Watching the group chatting happily, he came to a conclusion. If looked at positively, as Tae-soo said, he has a very praiseworthy spirit of chivalry, but one could also say he looks too easy to deceive. Soa stared at Eunbi's staff and asked, Si-hoon, do you want a massage with electric waves? He awkwardly replied, I think I could probably handle that. Tae-soo, standing next to them, excitedly chimed in, I want to try it too. Suddenly, Kang-woo flashed a bizarre smile. His eyes widened as he thought to himself, God only knows how things will turn out. He raised his hand to cover his treacherous smile. If that's the case, suddenly a voice interrupted Kang-woo's train of thought. Kang-woo. It was Soa's voice. She gently asked him, Is something wrong? Are you hurt somewhere? Kang-woo pointed at himself in bewilderment and asked back, Me? I'm fine. I'm not injured anywhere. Looking at the injured monster lying on the ground, he continued, It's just, the reason why this type of monster appeared in a D-rank gate? She immediately replied, I think so too. I've never seen or heard of this monster before. If Kang-woo hadn't been here, a disaster would surely have occurred.
Kang-woo gave a faint smile and replied, Si-hoon did very well too. How is he doing now? Soa quickly responded, He is getting much better. She looked towards him, who was clutching his wound while chatting happily with others. If he avoids strenuous movements, he will recover quickly. Kang-woo approached and gently asked Si-hoon, Are you all right? Si-hoon replied in a friendly manner, Yes, thanks to Miss Soa, I feel much better. He smiled with satisfaction. That's a relief. Si-hoon continued, If it weren't for you, I would have been injured even more severely.
His eyes suddenly sparkled, and a halo seemed to surround Si-hoon, his voice filled with gratitude. Once again, thank you. I heard from Brother Tae-soo, but you really are strong. Tae-soo, with glowing eyes and a jubilant expression, spoke up. Of course, in my whole life I've never seen a player as strong as Big Brother Kang-woo here. Not only that, but he also has an incredibly chivalrous spirit. Si-hoon spoke with an emotional voice. You really found a good big brother, Brother Tae-soo. He shyly replied. You're exaggerating. You're pretty amazing yourself, Si-hoon. He shouted excitedly. Exactly. I've also never seen a player like you, Si-hoon, among the Second Awakeners. He just laughed it off in response. I'm getting flattered here. Tae-soo smiled and asked, But why haven't you joined any major guilds, Si-hoon? I think you're more than capable of joining any guild. Si-hoon's whole body suddenly trembled. A voice suddenly rang out. It seems the Mir Guild is recruiting new members. Aren't you interested? Tae-soo approached Si-hoon and spoke gently. I heard the Vice Guildmaster of Mir is putting a lot of effort into recruiting talent. Si-hoon quickly replied, I don't intend to join any guild, not just Mir. Hearing Si-hoon's answer, he looked quite bewildered and said hesitantly, I see. Tae-soo asked him with a puzzled tone, Do you have a problem with the Mir Guild? Si-hoon grabbed his sword back. It's not worth mentioning. Tae-soo bowed slightly. It seems there's a difficult story behind that, huh? I apologize for bringing up such unnecessary things. Si-hoon paused. It's okay. He looked quite awkward. It's just a bit complicated. I'm the one who should apologize for being so sensitive about it. Kang-woo waved his hand and said, Then let's continue. The hunt ends here for today. Let's come back tomorrow. Si-hoon needs to rest too. Si-hoon looked at him with a confused gaze. It's fine. I can easily handle monsters at this level. He walked closer, placed his hand on Si-hoon's shoulder and advised gently, No need to overexert yourself. We can just meet again tomorrow and hunt, right? Si-hoon replied, Yes, I understand. Tae-soo excitedly raised his fist to the sky and shouted, Big brother, are you planning to go with us tomorrow too? Kang-woo replied coldly, No, tomorrow you guys go hunt by yourselves. His eyes welled up, lips pouting. I can't look after everyone forever. If you still remember what I taught you today, everyone will surely improve in just a short time. Tae-soo's expression shifted for a moment before becoming enthusiastic again. I understand, big brother. He raised his arms steadfastly. This man, Kang Tae-soo, will try his best to level up and be able to stand side by side with big brother. Kang-woo's back drifted further away. He raised his hand in response. I'm counting on you. In the evening, on a crowded street, Kang-woo called out, Miss Soa. Soa looked puzzled. Yes, Mr. Kang-woo. He stared intently at the phone in his hand with a pensive look. I think you'll have to go back alone. I suddenly have something to do. She expressed doubt. Is it urgent? The phone screen showed an incoming call, and he hurriedly answered. That's right, I have an emergency call. I think I have to go. Soa's eyes widened in surprise. I understand. What about dinner then? Kang-woo put his phone in his pocket. You should probably eat first. I might be late. She turned away with a slightly sad look on her face, but then gave a faint smile and agreed. All right, be careful. See you later. No matter how late it is, I'll warm up the food for you. Kang-woo blushed and thought to himself, Okay, I'll definitely return safely. She really is an angel. He waved, smiling brightly, and continued his train of thought. I really want to have dinner with Soa as usual, but I probably can't. Kang-woo watched Soa's receding figure. All right, now then, his eyes sharpened, accompanied by a mysterious smile. Shall we begin? Scene change. Si-hoon was waiting at a bus stop, looking at his phone. He sighed while the screen displayed bus information, muttering, Guild, Mir Guild. At that moment, a voice rang out, causing him to look up. Si-hoon.
He replied, Ah, Kang-woo.
He was standing right in front of him. I have something to discuss with you. Si-hoon responded. Ah, okay, what is it? He spoke with a serious expression. This is quite important, so let's go somewhere more private. The announcement from the bus stop rang out. Bus number 700 is arriving. He hesitated for a moment. All right. Si-hoon followed Kang Lu into a small alley and looked around. He asked, Kang Lu, what did you want to talk about? Before he could finish his sentence, Kang Lu suddenly threw a punch at his stomach. Si-hoon suffered a violent shock, his eyes widening in astonishment. His body bent reflexively, saliva spewing from his mouth amidst choking coughs. He grabbed his collar and threw him hard onto the ground. Ugh! Si-hoon painfully tried to sit up, not understanding what had just happened. Why did you... Once again, his sentence was cut short by a ruthless kick to his stomach from him.
He said, I just want to ensure a little something. Si-hoon screamed as he was pinned down by Kang-woo's knee pressing tightly against his stomach, rendering him helpless, only able to scream in bursts. Cuff, cuff. He leaned his head down close and said, In the future, Si-hoon, you will become very strong, overwhelmingly stronger than other players. That is why I want to build a truly good relationship with someone like you. Kang-woo smiled a grotesque smile, his voice becoming terrifying. Or, in other words, I want to become your true teammate. Si-hoon grimaced at him, saliva drooling from both corners of his mouth. Why are you saying these words? While performing these crazy actions, however, he was completely unaware that Kang-woo's hand was emitting purple rays of light at his side. He forcefully pressed that flow of magic into Si-hoon's chest, causing him to let out a horrified scream. His whole body trembled violently, convulsing repeatedly, eyes rolling back and mouth gaping open. Cuff, cuff. Kang-woo remained sitting on top of him, red veins bulging like blood on his arm. This is the assurance for that.
Kang-woo gripped his chest tightly while streams of purple magic enveloped his hand. Authority of subordination. Si-hoon's heart pounded violently, and bright red streaks appeared on his neck. Si-hoon shouted, Stop! Kang-woo spoke reassuringly. Don't worry. Si-hoon's heart began to gradually shift from red to purple. Bright red rays of light were also surrounding it. Kang-woo's voice continued steadily. You will forget everything that happened here. By now, his heart had completely transformed into a grotesque shape, featuring bright red eyes and a mouth filled with sharp demon-like teeth. He continued, Once you wake up, you will continue living normally, hunting monsters like today and becoming stronger. Kang-woo smirked, leaning close to the boy's twitching face. You can also form a party with Tae-soo and Soa and become a team stronger than anyone else. He withdrew his hand. You will also be able to use a portion of my power, because now you have become my familiar. This is very beneficial for your growth. Si-hoon gasped for breath, his body trembling and his eyes gradually blurring. You are... A purple seal appeared on his chest. He pulled his hand back. You don't need to worry about anything. Kang-woo smiled mysteriously with a cunning look in his eyes. We will become very close comrades. Si-hoon startled awake, his eyes wide open. Then he sprang up, his breathing becoming rapid. Si-hoon reached out to touch his chest, realizing everything was still intact. He rubbed his forehead and sat up. Why am I here? I was definitely waiting for the bus. Si-hoon looked at his phone. 8 in the evening? He frowned, trying to search his memories. I was waiting for the bus about an hour ago. What happened after that? Suddenly a sharp pain shot through his brain, causing Si-hoon to shudder involuntarily. Rubbing his head, he thought, I don't remember anything. I must have passed out. The recent battle was indeed fierce. Si-hoon continued with his train of thought. No matter how great the impact was, I didn't expect to faint like that. He gritted his teeth, biting his lip tightly. I really am weak. Si-hoon propped his hand against the nearby wall, trying to force himself up. Right now, I'm too weak, still far from it. I must become... His hand clenched into a fist as the image of those he hated appeared, stronger than my current self. The name of the enemy echoed in his mind. Mere guild, mere guild.
He called out the name of their vice guildmaster, Kim Young-hoon, clenching his fist tight and punching the wall hard, causing it to crack and debris to fall started about. He gritted his teeth in fury, wishing for his sword to reach the necks of those bastards. Si-hoon walked unsteadily on the sidewalk, having to lean against the wall to stay standing. Kang-woo whispered, It worked. A notification from the system suddenly appeared. Soul enslavement complete. Kim Si-hoon has been recognized as your subordinate. From high above, Kang-woo was observing everything. The system displayed another notification line. Do you wish to issue any commands? He curled his lips, waving his hand slightly. Leave it for later. I have insurance now. The system once again confirmed that the soul had been bound. The young man smiled maliciously. The corners of his eyes crinkled up. Now I just need Kim Si-hoon to get stronger. Si-hoon was still looking at his phone, not understanding what was happening. Kang-woo thought to himself, I don't want to give him any orders yet. The other guy was looking confusedly towards the bus stop ahead. The voice in his heart continued to echo. I turned him into a subordinate just because I wanted insurance. There's no need to overdo it. A moment later, Si-hoon hurriedly boarded a bus. Kang-woo quietly stood high up to observe. After his abilities are enhanced, Si-hoon's power will become equivalent to Balak. He smiled, imagining the scenario of having to face an army of demons. Si-hoon's existence is very important to him, because his demonic energy is still partially sealed.
And I still have to face the mysterious demon legion. Kang-woo stood in a secluded spot, contemplating. I'm not sure when they will appear at the gate again. Now then, Si-hoon. He smiled a gruesome smile, his eyes glowing with a cold, blood-red light. I will help you as much as possible, so train hard and get stronger. His phone suddenly vibrated. He glanced at the screen. What's this? The caller's name appeared. Yeun. Kang-woo sat down and answered the phone. A voice from the other end spoke up. I'm calling because I want to tell you some information. He replied, Yeah, what is it? About the Demon Legion? Yeun seemed hesitant. I'm not sure. I did see traces of demonic energy. The tone of the person on the other end sounded extremely panicked. But it doesn't seem intentional. Kang-woo immediately guessed the main point. It wasn't created by humans. Yeun continued. Yeah, it seems to have been created by a monster. Not humans. He looked tense. Where did you find it? A cold thought flashed through his mind. Is it a demon? The other end replied. A low-rank gate near a jungbu. He immediately stood up. All right, he thought. After the hellhound and werewolf, here comes another one. He opened the system window to search for information.
It is called a fissure fragment. Hellhounds appear in rank C gates, while weaker werewolves appear in rank D gates. Then, regarding this rank B gate, the young man licked his lips in a perverted manner and sneered. A monster even stronger than a hellhound might appear. It had already helped him level up significantly. Kang-woo clicked on his status window and began to calculate. Perhaps I will undergo the fifth awakening sooner than I thought. The next morning, at Uijeongbu Station, the announcement broadcast steadily rang out. The train will so arrive at Uijeongbu Station. The exit is on the right. The crowded stream of people stepped out, sweeping Kang-woo along with them. He frowned, looking around dazedly amidst the crowd. Feeling overwhelmed, he quickly waved his hand and thought to himself, Oh my, I need to buy a car soon. After finishing this job, I definitely have to tell Yeonju to get me a car. While walking down the stairs, he checked his phone. Let's see, what kind of monsters are supposed to appear in a rank B gate? People were buzzing with discussion. Hey, what's going on? Another person shrugged and replied, Yeah, they said there's something strange inside, so they wouldn't let me in. Kang-woo looked towards them and muttered to himself, Strange? One person said, Yeah, a mutant monster or something.
Ahead, the gate had been blockaded by soldiers, causing confusion for the mages, knights, and other players who would come to perform their duties. Whispers and complaints echoed everywhere. Hey, can't the party go in? Damn it, I came from far away. Do you know how far I had to travel? Anyway, the government doesn't even compensate us when we die. A person was arguing with a soldier, looking extremely irritable. Why aren't you letting anyone in? Everyone is stuck here. The soldier maintained a firm attitude. An unnamed monster has mutated, so the gate is temporarily closed. The person tried to protest. It's not like it's a boss monster. Just then, the sound of a loudspeaker suddenly rang out. A monster inside the gate has mutated. We haven't been able to identify the monster yet, but 10 players have already lost their lives. The speaker continued the announcement. For the safety of the players, we will restrict access to the gate until further information is available. As the loudspeaker repeated the announcement, the crowd began to murmur. Let me get this straight. 1 monster, 10 people in a B-rank gate, that many? Another person spoke up. 10 people is indeed a lot. The casualty count shouldn't be that high even for a B-rank gate. Kang-woo stood at the very back, observing. Mutant monster. He crossed his arms and thought deeply. That's what they call it, but it's clearly something else. A demon must be wreaking havoc in the dungeon. Above the gate, a black hole was swirling violently. That drew his attention even more. They even banned players from entering. I wonder what it is this time. Reporters crowded in to work. Can you explain more? The event had attracted the press for live coverage, and the public was very anxious.